when putting stockings on my girlfriend. We agreed to take the Peking University exam together, but I had to deliberately score 0 on the Chinese exam and the college entrance exam. In the end, I only scored 600 points, missing out on Peking University, and she went straight to study abroad. Actually, he doesn't know. I didn't even end up going to college. I was forced to drop out and deliver food. That night, dragging my tired body, on my way to deliver the last order, I was accidentally knocked down by a Range Rover. Then, a woman in red high heels came over, crouched down, and said, "Are you okay?" I didn't mean to. Saying that, she opened her Gucci handbag, took out a stack of cash, about 2 or 3,000 yuan. "Take this money first. Go to the nearby hospital and get checked for injuries. I have something very urgent to deal with right now." After saying that, she stuffed the money into my hand, got up to leave, but she immediately crouched down again, took a pen out of her bag, jotted down a phone number on a sticky note, then handed me her ID card along with the note, said to me, "Call me anytime if anything comes up. My name is Li Xia." When I looked down at her ID card, she had already gotten up and left. It probably didn't even take a minute. We didn't even exchange much conversation. The white Range Rover drove away. I struggled to get up from the ground. Afterward, I pushed my electric scooter home alone. I held the female Range Rover driver's ID card in my hand. It was already midnight. After a brief hesitation, I still picked up the phone and dialed. The first call went unanswered. After a minute, I dialed a second time. This time, it was directly rejected. I was a bit unwilling to give up, so I dialed a third time. This time, it finally went through. Her impatient voice came through the phone. "Who is it? Speak up, quick," I said very politely. "You hit me with your car earlier." Sorry. Her attitude suddenly changed completely. She repeatedly apologized, saying it was her fault. "I'm really sorry. Which hospital are you at now? Have you been checked? What did the doctor say?" Hearing her tone made me feel a bit better. I calmly said, "I'm fine, but my electric scooter got cracked." "Glad you're okay. How much for the scooter?" "I'll pay you. The money you gave me is enough to fix the scooter. Your ID card is still with me. When is convenient for you to pick it up?" "Is now okay?" she asked in a slightly consultative tone. "I can't get away. Can I have a friend come pick it up?" Then I told her my address. After hanging up the phone, I sat on a wooden stool and applied Yunnan Baiyao to myself. About half an hour later, I heard someone knocking on the door. I opened the door and saw 4 men outside. The one in front was about my age. The 3 behind were very burly. The man in front looked at me and asked, "Did you make the call?" "Who are you?" I didn't have time to speak. The man asked impatiently, "Is Li Xia's ID card with you?" Before I could get the words out, the man punched me in the face, then kicked me in the stomach. Before I knew what was happening, I was knocked to the ground. I tried to get up from the ground. The man's foot came straight at my face. I immediately tasted blood in my mouth. My neighbor Liu Chang, who often drinks with me, opened his bedroom door, took a look, then quickly closed it again. The man came over to me, stepped on my arm with his leather shoe, asked coldly, "Where's the ID card?" I wanted to speak, but half my face felt numb. I couldn't say a word. The man turned to the 3 behind him and said, "Go inside and look for it." That ID card and note were on the desk in the bedroom. The ones who went and found it quickly took it out and handed it to the man. The man glanced at the ID card. Satisfied, he put it in his pocket. He pressed harder on my arm with his foot and said coldly, "You blind bastard. You picked the wrong person to scam. I'm telling you now, if you ever bother that woman again, I'll kill you." After saying that, he gave me another hard kick, turned around to leave. Before he reached the door, he seemed to remember something, turned and walked into my bedroom, took out my phone, smashed it on the ground in front of me, made sure the phone was completely destroyed, then swaggered away. After they left, I sat alone by the bed. A cheap cigarette smoked between my fingers. I couldn't understand. Why is this world always so unfair? I couldn't understand even more. Why does everyone wear a mask? Why did she leave her ID card, then send people to beat me up? I had to ask her what she was trying to do. The rain outside the window grew heavier, as if it wouldn't stop all night. When the sun rises tomorrow, this city will have one more lost soul like me. The first ray of morning sunlight slanted into the room through the window. I had packed all my belongings into my suitcase. Today, I'm moving out of this rental room. Because of those guys last night, the landlord thought I was hanging out with shady people, so she refused to rent the room to me anymore. My suitcase sat on the old electric scooter. I only had the money left. The 2,600 yuan that woman threw at me in the rain yesterday. Last month, when I got paid, I sent all the money home for my father's medical treatment, only keeping a little for living expenses. Out of that 2,600, I took 800, bought a smartphone for delivering food. I still had to keep this job. The remaining 1,000 plus was for renting a place. If I couldn't find a suitable place before dark, I'd have to sleep under a bridge. I put the SIM card into my new phone. As soon as it turned on, I got a call from my uncle. "Qin Fen, what are you doing?" My uncle Qin Xiaojie is a character. He was picked up by my grandfather on the roadside. He's 6 years older than me. He's done plenty of shady things over the years. In 4 words, he's notorious. I squatted on the curb and asked, "I'm Fry right now. Why are you calling me?" "I came to Kunming to get medicine for your dad. I heard there's an old Chinese medicine doctor here who treats kidney disease. He's really good at it. After I got the doctor's contact info, I came straight here. I'll crash at your place tonight. I'll take the train back tomorrow morning." Hearing what my uncle said, I immediately got nervous. If my uncle found out that I was doing so badly I didn't even have a place to lie, what would he think? If he told my parents, they'd start worrying again. Plus, my face was bruised. My uncle would definitely ask questions if he saw it. That would be a huge problem. I stammered, "Uncle, don't come find me. Just get the medicine and go back early. I'm really busy with work." But he insisted. "Your mom sent you a basket of eggs. She insisted I give them to you. Anyway, I'll call you when I get there." After saying that, my uncle hung up, finding a random place to rent and move in. That wasn't realistic, but I only had 2 hours left before my uncle arrived. This was a big problem. After a brief hesitation, I decided to find a cheap hotel near the train station, settle my uncle there. Make him give up the idea of staying with me. As long as I got my uncle settled, I didn't care where I stayed myself. I could just rough it. 2 hours later, I picked up my uncle at the train station. He was the same as always, wearing a fake Nike t-shirt. His muscles were showing. He had a new tattoo on his arm. The moment he saw me, he froze. He asked with concern, "Chen Fen, what happened? Did you get into a fight?" I lied. "I fell down by accident." My uncle didn't believe me at all. "Are you trying to fool me? Lie, you fool your parents? Who falls down and ends up like that? What's wrong? Got beaten up and can't even say it?" I knew my uncle was battle-hardened. It would be hard to fool him, but I didn't want to talk about it. I brushed it off and said, "Come on, let's go. Let me take you to where you're staying. I'll go with you to get the Chinese medicine this afternoon." My uncle didn't say anything. He just walked beside me. In the small hotel I had booked earlier, I said to my uncle, "You're staying here tonight. After we get the medicine this afternoon, I'll go to work. Don't tell my parents about me getting beaten up. They'll worry about me." My uncle pressed on. "What really happened? Who beat you like this? Chen Fen, are you hiding something from the family? First, tell me who hit you, and why." I muttered in frustration. "I don't even know why they hit me." Then I told him everything that happened last night. Finally, I reminded my uncle, "Don't tell my parents about this. They'll just worry. Here's a few hundred yuan. Take it back to my dad when you go." Chen Xiaojia was silent for a few minutes, then said to me, "Fine, I won't tell your parents." Then my uncle took out another 2,000 yuan and gave it to me. "Don't give your money to your parents. I'll give you another 2,000. Find a nice neighborhood. Rent a decent apartment. Take care of yourself." "Uncle, don't give me money. I don't want it," my uncle said in a commanding tone. "Take it when I give it to you. No more nonsense. This afternoon, I'll go get the Chinese medicine for your dad. You go find a place. Get your living situation sorted first. We'll have dinner together tonight. I'll take the train back tomorrow morning." I took a deep breath. I could feel how much my uncle really cared about me. I didn't want him to worry too much, so I agreed to his suggestion. In the afternoon, I'd look for a place, and my uncle would get the medicine. My dad's kidney disease has been going on for years. All these years of treating him have drained all our family's savings. Although my grandfather left a few thousand before he died, my uncle didn't take a single cent. He gave it all to my dad for treatment. My uncle may be a drifter, but his character is beyond reproach. In the afternoon, I found a listing through an agent. A 3-bedroom apartment to SA. 700 yuan a month. Living room, bathroom, and kitchen are shared. The other 2 rooms are occupied by a couple and a girl. After seeing the place, I thought the conditions were okay, so I rented it. By the time I finished, it was past 4 in the afternoon. My uncle texted me. He was waiting at the small hotel near the station. We'd have dinner together. He had to catch the train home early the next morning. As I was leaving, I ran into the single girl I was sharing the apartment with. She was just getting off work, wearing a professional short suit. She looked very elegant. When she bent down to change her shoes, I caught a glimpse through her collar. I swear I didn't mean to, but I admit, it was very attractive. Once you saw it, you couldn't look away. When she finished changing and stood up, I was still staring at her chest. She glared at me, muttered pervert with disgust, then covered her collar and walked to her room. After dinner with my uncle, I didn't feel like going back to the Paris Spring apartment, so I rented another room at the small hotel. The next morning, after seeing my uncle off, I started delivering food again. No work, no money, and for now, all I could do was deliver food. I worked until 11:30 at night. The last order surprised me. It was from someone I lived with. The order name was Linny Fei. I brought the food home. The couple in the master bedroom wasn't home. The door was closed, and the light was off, but the light in the second bedroom was on. I could hear keyboard clicking from time to time. I took off my coat and tossed it into my room, carried the food to her door, knocked lightly. She opened the door in her loungewear. When she saw it was me, her face immediately turned sour. Instinctively, she covered her chest with her left hand, asked in a disgusted tone, "What do you want?" I held up the food and said, "Your delivery." Linny Fei got angry. She demanded, "Who told you to touch my food?" Before I could finish, she snatched the food from my hand, then threw it straight into the trash can by the door, because there was a bowl of soup in the order. When she grabbed it, the soup spilled on my jeans. It was very hot, but she ignored me completely, stepped back, and slammed the door shut. I stood there, a bit lost, shook my head helplessly, went back to my room. I got an order feedback on my phone, a bad review, with the reason, "Why did you give my food to someone else? How irresponsible can you be?" I stared at the screen, finding it absurd. A bad review deducts 300 from my salary, working day and night. I might not even make 300 in a day. Today, I worked like a dog, and this one bad review set me back to square one. Wednesday at noon, I suddenly got a call from my uncle. I thought he was calling about home. I pulled my scooter over and asked, "Uncle, what's up? I'm in the middle of a delivery. Can you call back later? I'm at the intersection of Lianghua Road and Ranmin Road. After you finish this delivery, don't take any more orders. Come here first." I thought I misheard. "Where are you?" "Zaiweiwen, the place where you said you got hit. Come over. Tell me exactly where you are." This Range Rover hit. I had a feeling Chen Xiaojia was up to something. "Didn't you go home? Why are you back in Kunming? I'm here to get justice for you. If you don't come, I'll just have to trek a few more camera feeds." I was completely speechless. I knew my uncle Chen Xiaojia too well. After finishing the delivery, I went over. Sure enough, I saw my uncle squatting by the roadside at the Zaiweiwen intersection. His eyes were fixed on the cameras at the intersection. I had no idea what he was thinking. When my uncle saw me, he asked, "Where did you get hit?" I corrected him. "I wasn't hit. I hit the Range Rover when it turned." He cursed. "Everyone knows you have to yield to straight traffic when turning. Just tell me which direction." I pointed across the street and said to Chen Xiaojie, "Over there." "Uncle, let it go. We don't know anyone in Kunming. Better to avoid trouble." But he said, "I know about this. Once I find the Range Rover's license plate, I'll find the guy who hit you. You go do your thing." With that, Chen Xiaojia walked off. I shouted from where I stood, "Uncle, I'm staying at Paris Spring. Are you coming over tonight?" Chen Xiaojia threw back 2 words without turning around. "Don't worry about me." I watched his figure disappear into the crowd. My heart started to feel uneasy. Those guys were clearly not good people. They drove a Range Rover. The bag she carried was a Gucci worth over 10,000. Chen Xiaojia didn't know anyone in Kunming. Going off to investigate like that was just asking for trouble. But I knew I couldn't talk him out of it. Besides, Besides worrying, I didn't know what to do. 3 nights later, Chen Xiaojie called me again, told me to get to Century City Chelifong within half an hour. He was waiting for me in the outdoor parking lot. When I found Chen Xiaojie in the parking lot, he was squatting by a flower bed in an inconspicuous corner, and diagonally across from him was the white Range Rover from that night. The scratches on the side were still there. I was amazed at Chen Xiaojie's ability. I wondered how he found it. I was a bit worried and tried to persuade him. Uncle, let it go. Don't make a big deal out of this. He said flatly, no, we're getting justice today. I looked around. Although it was past 8 in the evening, the place was bustling. Not a good place for a confrontation. Have a smoke. Chen Xiaojie handed me a pack. It was a cheap Bren. He pointed to a black Santana. Get in the car and wait for them to show up. Whose car is it? Don't ask. Just get in. Once I got in, I started to get nervous. The Santana was at least 10 years old and beat up. On the right side of the driver's seat, there was a steel pipe wrapped in bandage standing upright. It was clearly the tool for tonight. I couldn't calm down, even though I hated them for bullying me. The thought of fighting back made me nervous and scared. I tried to talk my uncle out of causing more trouble, but he completely ignored me. I was just talking to myself. Around 9:15, the target appeared. That night, the man who hit me and Li Xia, who had the close encounter with my scooter, both showed up. They walked side by side to the Range Rover. The man went to the driver's side, opened the door. Chen Xiaojie asked coldly, is it them? Uncle, let it go. Chen Xiaojie was getting impatient. No more nonsense. Just dead or no. I took a deep breath, quietly said, Det. Chen Xiaojie didn't say anything. His eyes were fixed on the Range Rover. The Range Rover started, slowly pulled out of the parking space. Chen Xiaojie started the Santana, followed the Range Rover out. I was extremely nervous the whole way. I knew too well what Chen Xiaojie was capable of. I knew exactly what he might do. The Range Rover drove ahead. After several turns, it left the second ring road onto a relatively secluded road. Chen Xiaojie saw his chance. After overtaking the Range Rover, he quickly turned the wheel and cut it off, then slammed on the brakes. The car angled to block the white Range Rover. I have to admit, the Range Rover's brakes were excellent. Any other car would have crashed into us. After stopping, Chen Xiaojie didn't rush to get out. The Range Rover driver, the man who hit me that day, got out, came angrily to the Santana's driver's door, kicked the door, cursed. How do you drive? Do you even know how to drive? Chen Xiaojie grabbed the steel pipe he had prepared. With his left hand, he unlocked the Santana's door, pushed it open hard. The man standing outside was hit squarely, stumbled back several steps. Chen Xiaojie got out with the steel pipe. Without a word, swung the pipe at his head. The man instinctively raised his left arm to block. Chen Xiaojie kicked him. The man stumbled back 2 steps, tripped on the curb. Completely intimidated by Chen Xiaojie's aggression, lay on the ground, looking up. Chen Xiaojie's face was pale. He didn't say a word, completely lacking his earlier arrogance. Li Xia got out from the passenger side, hurried over to the man, crouched down and asked with concern, Jiahao, are you okay? Are you hurt? After those 2 questions, he looked up at second uncle and asked, why did you hit him? But second uncle turned around and said to me, Chen Fan, come here. How do you want to handle him? I nervously walked over to second uncle and whispered, second uncle, forget it. You've already hit him. Let's just go. Who are you? Li Xia didn't recognize him. I guess that's not surprising. She was in a hurry that day. I was still wearing my delivery uniform, riding an e-bike with a helmet on. It's normal she doesn't remember me. But right now, she was staring seriously at me and Chen Xiaojie, and asked, extremely scared, what do you want? Chen Xiaojie ignored Li Xia. He held a steel pipe in his right hand, slowly crouched down. The bottom of that steel pipe pressed against Chen Xiaojie's thigh. I could tell he was applying pressure. The man's face was already starting to twist in pain, but he was pretty tough too. He held back and didn't scream. Chen Xiaojie saw his twisted face, couldn't help but smirk and said to the man, you beat up Chen Fen and smashed his phone. I'll give you a discount. 5,000 yuan. Transfer it now. Transfer it, and this is over. Chen Xiaojie sneered twice. Not transferring? Then don't expect to leave here in one piece today. I think Li Xia probably knew what this guy was usually like. Plus, my uncle had this fierce vibe. It scared her. She opened her bag and begged, don't hurt him. I'll give it to you. As she spoke, she pulled cash from her bag. Without even counting, she handed it to second uncle. I don't know how much money that was. I'm giving it all to you. Chen Xiaojie glanced at it and said, that's about right. This matter is settled for now. Don't bully people just because you have money. You remember this. If you're not satisfied, come find me again. My phone number is easy to remember. 135-6677 ***. Call me anytime if you're not het pie. After saying that, Chen Xiaojie put away the steel pipe and said to me, Chen Fan, let's go. If he dares to bully you again, I'll cripple him. I was a bit stunned. That's just how Chen Xiaojie handles things. As we were leaving, I couldn't help but glance at Li Xia a few more times. She was really beautiful. Her features were so delicate, words couldn't describe them. When I looked at her, she was looking at me too. The moment our eyes met, I felt a bit ashamed. I quickly looked away, turned around and got in the car. Chen Xiaojie could tell I was worried. He asked, with a tone of disappointment, are you scared? Are you backing down? Everyone's just 2 shoulders holding up one head. Why are you afraid of them? If they're tough, you fight back. Honestly, I was a bit annoyed. After all these years in Kunming, I've always played the role of a low-key outsider. I don't lie arguing with people, and I definitely don't lie fighting. I figured it's better to avoid trouble. Just work hard, earn money, and send it home. Hoping to save enough for my dad's kidney transplant. Seeing I wasn't talking, Chen Xiaojie comforted me and said, come on, don't look so down. It's no big deal. If he dares to bother you again, I'll go deal with him until he's had enough. Get off at the intersection ahead. Take this money and spend it wisely. I'll be in Kunming for a while. Call me if anything comes up. He didn't even ask if I wanted the money. Just shoved it all into my hands. I knew my dad's treatment would cost a lot, so I didn't argue with him. It was about 6,000 yuan, and I took it all. I asked, aren't you going home? What are you doing in Kunming? Don't worry about it. It's not delivering food. Anyway, remember, if he bothers you again, you handle him. Don't be a coward. My uncle and I always had very different life philosophies. After getting off at the intersection, I wandered alone through the city streets late at night, with a few thousand yuan in cash in my pocket. It felt like this money came too easily. So easily it made me uneasy. I even thought about contacting Li Xia to give the money back to her and explain that it was all a misunderstanding. I admit I had that thought, because I'm just a poor commoner. I can't afford all this trouble. There was another reason too. I fantasized about getting to know Li Xia, at least so she wouldn't have a bad impression of me. Then I realized how scary that thought was. How could I hope for a goddess's attention and dream of knowing someone as beautiful as Li Xia? I couldn't help but laugh at myself. The next day, I slept in for once. I opened the EP to start taking orders. The first order was a big one. 40 boxed lunches to be delivered to Katy International Hotel. The security guard told me to take the elevator to the 29th floor conference room. The first time, I only carried 20 boxed lunches up. Only the girl who ordered the food was in the conference room. She told me to just put the boxed lunches on the table. Then I went downstairs to get the rest. When I came back up with the boxed lunches into the conference room, I was stunned by what I saw. Li Xia was in the crowd. The moment our eyes met, I couldn't believe my eyes. But Li Xia was right there in the conference room, looking at me. A man opened a boxed lunch and handed it to her. Respectfully, he said, "Director Li, you've been working hard at the meeting. Please eat first." My scalp went numb. Just yesterday, Qin Xiaojia and I beat up her boyfriend, and now I'm delivering food to her turf. Isn't this walking right into a trap? I quickly put down the boxed lunches and headed out. I practically ran to the elevator. When the elevator doors opened, I was dumbfounded. There were at least 4 security guards outside. I tried to act calm and walked out with my head down. 2 guards immediately blocked me, telling me to come with them. I pretended not to know what was going on and said to the guard, "You've got the wrong person." "No more talk," a leader said to the other 3. "Take him away first," I shouted. "Why? You're just security guards. You don't have the right to detain me." At my shout, many people in the hotel lobby looked over. The lobby manager was quick to adapt. With a smile, he explained to the onlookers, "Sorry to disturb everyone. A hotel guest just reported a missing valuable item. We suspect the delivery guy took it. We've already detained the suspect. We'll take him to the police station shortly. Our apologies. Is this delivery guy a thief? These delivery people have no standards. Who would dare order delivery now?" I shouted with a fierce expression. I'm being framed. But no one believed me. No one paid attention to my shouts. All I saw were cold faces. People taking photos with their phones. The 4 guards didn't do what the lobby manager said. They didn't take me to the police station. They just locked me in a room, took my phone, and tied me to a chair. I kept shouting, "Let me go. This is illegal detention. It's against the law." The fat guard threatened me. "I don't know what illegal detention is. I just follow orders. If you keep yelling and annoying me, I'll shove these week-old unwashed socks in your mouth." I have to admit, that threat was really effective. So effective I didn't dare speak, because I really thought he'd do it. I waited nervously, not knowing what would happen next, or who I'd face. Not long after, 2 guards actually fell asleep on the bed. I tried to escape, but my hands and feet were tied to the chair. All my efforts were useless. Maybe 3 hours passed. The door that was locked finally opened. Hearing the door open, the 2 guards quickly got up from the bed. Li Xia walked in with 5 people. The girl behind her was the one who ordered the food today. Next to the girl was the lobby manager, and the last 2 were security guards. Seeing Li Xia come in, the 2 sleeping guards quickly stood up, respectfully said, "Hello, Director Li." Li Xia frowned and asked, "Why is he tied up? It wasn't you." The lobby manager glared at the fat guard and immediately said sternly, "Who told you to tie him up? Untie him quickly." After being untied, Li Xia said to the people around her, "You all go out first. No one comes in without my order." Seeing how firm Li Xia's tone was, these people didn't dare say anything. They all slinked out of the room. Li Xia looked at me coldly and asked, "What's your issue with Jiahao? Why'd you hit him so hard yesterday?" "His name is Jiahao." Now I finally knew what that guy's name was. "Do you have to play dumb? Don't you know why I hit him?" Li Xia said in a tone that suggested she saw through people like us. "Is it fun for you to fight all the time? Can't you just sit down and talk things out? Does this solve anything?" So Li Xia thought I was some thug. I looked at Li Xia and asked, "Can you listen to my explanation?" "No, Li Xia didn't say." "I kept you here just to tell you one thing. Don't block Jiahao late at night anymore. If you need money, just tell me directly. Don't bother him." I was immediately annoyed. I looked at Li Xia and asked, "You had me tied up here for 3 or 4 hours, wasting my whole afternoon of work, just to say that crap to me?" Li Xia retorted, "What else? What do you think I could say to you?" My anger flared up instantly. "Since you have something to say to me, I have something to tell you too." "Did you eat the first box lunch I delivered in?" "Let me tell you. I ate several bites of that boxed lunch. You ate my leftovers, and I even spat in it." Li Xia's eyes suddenly went wide. The next second, she covered her mouth and ran to the bathroom. That felt so good. I grabbed my phone and strutted out of the room. Outside, the lobby manager and several guards were there. They looked at me strangely. I walked out, feeling all high and mighty. The more I thought about it, the better I felt. As I left the hotel lobby, it was just dinner time. I planned to keep taking delivery orders, but I found my oatsow was suspended. I asked customer service what was going on. They said I might be involved in a theft case, and temporarily revoked my rider status. In other words, I was fired. What the hell did I do to deserve this? Is it that hard just to deliver food? I really didn't know how I got tangled up with them. I glared angrily at Katy International Hotel and spat on the ground. Just then, a group of security guards rushed out of the hotel. Don't look at me. No way. I get caught for spitting? I took off running, but the guard at the gate tripped me and I fell. The others rushed over and grabbed me again. This time, they didn't take me back to the hotel. Instead, they pushed me into a Buick GL8 van. Then Li Xia sat in the second row, left seat. I was tied up and placed in the right seat. They were worried I'd move around, so they wrapped a rope around me twice. 2 guards sat in the third row, and 1 more in the front. I suddenly felt nervous. I turned to look at Li Xia beside me and said, "What do you want?" I just ate a couple bites of your food. You're not going to kill me, are you? Li Xia glared at me with disgust. If you mention lunch again, I'll have them throw you out of the car right now. But you have to tell me. Where are you taking me? You've already ruined my life. I lost my job, Li Xia said coldly. I don't care about your job at all. But if Jia Hao gets hurt, I'll make sure you end up in court. Wait, who is Jia Hao to you? What does he have to do with me? Li Jia Hao is my brother. I don't want him to get hurt. Your brother. Hearing Li Xia say that, I actually felt a little excited. Whether your brother is hurt or not. What does that have to do with me? Your friend kidnapped my brother. Now I'm taking you to exchange for him. I looked at Li Xia and asked, how would I know I have such a badass friend? It's that Qin Shaojie from last night. Damn, what did my uncle do? I felt like my head was going to explode. Didn't we agree yesterday that this was over? Why did he go after Li Jiahao again? Do you think Li Jiahao is easy to bully because he's rich? My uncle could do something like that. I wasn't sure anymore, and I didn't dare ask more. The rest of the ride was mostly silent. From the city all the way to the outskirts on East 3rd Ring Road. Finally, we arrived at a rundown warehouse. Next to 2 cars, there was a table set up. On the table were a few cans and some braised dishes. Next to the table were a dozen empty beer bottles. Qin Shaojie sat alone on one side of the square table. Li Jiahao and a few others sat on the other 3 sides. Those guys looked rough. All of them had bruised faces. Even Li Jiahao was no exception. Seeing this, Li Xia couldn't take it. She got out of the car and ran to Li Jiahao. Jiahao, how did you get beaten up like this? Who did this? As she asked. Her eyes landed on second uncle. Second uncle completely ignored Li Xia. The fat guard kicked me out of the car. 2 other guards dragged me up from the ground and shouted loudly, let our young master go now, or we'll kill the hostage. When second uncle saw this, he looked surprised. He frowned but didn't say anything. Second uncle put down his glass and stood up. What's going on? Li Xia looked at Qin Shaojie and asked, did you beat my brother like this? Didn't we agree last night it was over? What do you really want? Sis, don't say anything. Li Jiahao stood up and said with his head down, this isn't their fault. It's mine. The 5 of us couldn't beat him. I deserve it. If I hadn't heard it with my own ears, I wouldn't have believed it. Li Jiahao and his 4 guys clearly had the size advantage, but they were all taken down by Qin Shaojie, and he beat them so thoroughly they were convinced. Li Xia gently reached out to touch Li Jiahao's swollen face and asked softly, does it hurt? Li Jiahao nodded first, then shook his head and said, it's fine. It's not the first time I've been beaten, but he's the first one to make me admit defeat. This isn't their fault. Stop. Second uncle interrupted Li Jiahao and said, your sister is really something. She actually captured my nephew. Let's call it even today. You let my nephew go, and I'll let you go. Consider today's lesson free of charge. But don't let there be a next time. The fat guard tried to act tough in front of Li Xia, rolled up his sleeves and said, Director Li, they're too arrogant. Let me teach him a lesson. Li Xia glared at the fat guard, then looked at Li Jiahao and said, what exactly is your problem with them? Can we settle this once and for all today? Stop this nonsense, Oku. You're not a kid anymore. When will you grow up? Dad asked me to take care of you before he left. Can you just try to be better? I have to take care of you. And run company. Do you think it's easy? As she spoke, Li Xia's eyes welled up with tears of frustration. Seeing Li Xia cry, Li Jiahao panicked and begged, sis, I know I was wrong. Please don't cry. This is my fault. I was upset about getting beaten last night, so today I called some guys to teach him a lesson. But I wasn't good enough. 5 of us couldn't beat him. I won't cause you any more trouble. Please don't cry. I called out on the side. While you're catching up, can you untie me first? I'm still tied up here. We're supposed to exchange prisoners. My uncle didn't even tie up your brother. Can you keep your word? Let me go first. Li Xia glanced at the fat guard. The fat guard quickly untied me. She was very concerned about her brother and asked, why did you block him last night? Stop pretending, I shouted loudly. You hit me with your car, then sent him to beat me at my place, and smashed my phone. Don't tell me you didn't know about this. Hearing me say this, Li Xia was completely stunned. She stared at me for a full 3 seconds, then turned to look at Li Jiahao. Li Jiahao lowered his head and said, sis, let me explain. Li Jiahao seemed afraid to meet Li Xia's eyes. He whispered, that night, you told me you hit someone with your car and asked me to get your ID card. I thought you were being scammed, and that they took your ID to blackmail you. So I took some guys to his place and got the ID back. I was also worried they had your number and would keep bothering you. So I smashed his phone when I left. Then Li Jiahao's voice got quieter, and that led to what happened last night. Li Xia was completely shocked. She looked at me, then at Li Jiahao. The latter was almost hiding his head in his collar, looking very scared. Got it now? I looked at Li Xia and asked, no time to listen to my explanation? Then listen to your brothers. Is it clear now? You hit me with your car and sent someone to beat me. Today, your lobby Ma Na Gio slandered me as a thief. Now the delivery platform has suspended my rider status. I even lost my job. This is all you're doing. Did I provoke you? Why did you ruin my life? I'm sorry. Li Xia's face turned red. Her tone softened as she apologized. I'll compensate you. No thanks. Don't think you can do whatever you want just because you have money. After saying that, I walked proudly over to second uncle, picked up a beer bottle and chugged it, then tossed the bottle aside, and said to second uncle, I didn't know you could fight like that. Second uncle said dismissively, not bad. Then he stood up and said to Li Xia, Miss, you seem reasonable. It's more comfortable talking to reasonable people. You were the ones who hit him with the car. You were the ones who came to his place to beat him and smash his phone. And now you're the ones who got my nephew fired. You need to come up with a solution. Such a big injustice can't just be brushed aside, right? Li Xia blushed and asked, so how much money do you want? Second uncle thought for a moment and said, forget it. Give him a sum of money. He'll just send it home for his dad's medical treatment. Or better yet, give him a job. Li Xia said, no, I don't want that. We both spoke at almost the same time. Li Xia glanced at me and said quietly, our company doesn't hire people with bad character. What? Qin Shaojie asked, displeased. How is my nephew's character bad? He. Li Xia was flustered. Blushing, she said, he ate my food and gave me his leftovers. I couldn't help but burst out laughing. I said to second uncle, let's go. Don't worry about my job. If I can't deliver food, I can do something else. By the way, I looked at Li Xia and Li Jiahao and said, is this settled? You won't bother me anymore, right? No more locking me up? Li Xia's face turned red from what I said. Li Jiahao said loudly, don't worry, I'm convinced. I truly admire Brother Jia. If you ever need anything, just say the word. Second uncle ignored Li Jiahao and said to me, I'll drive you back. I got into that beat-up Santana. I asked curiously, did you really take down that whole group? Qin Xiaojie asked back, what's so hard about that? I suddenly didn't know what to say. Second uncle was awesome. He drove me back to the city. Second uncle asked what my plans were. Still delivering food? I said my rider Oatsao was banned. Might as well quit delivering. I can find another job to support myself. Before leaving, he said the same thing again. Call him if I need anything. After getting out of the car, I felt a strange sense of confusion. I used to deliver food from dawn till dusk, hoping one day I wouldn't be so busy. Now that I finally have that day, I don't know what to do next. I squatted by the curb at the back gate of Dianxi Spring Community, watching the city, lonely and cold. Then a stray dog slowly walked over, circled around me once, then squatted down beside me. Two souls who didn't know each other, sharing the same loneliness. Coincidentally, Lin Fei fed that stray dog every day. Because of him, Lin Fei and I finally let bygones be bygones. After chatting, we got much closer. Woke up at 7:30 the next day, looked for my delivery uniform as usual. When I found it, I realized my rider Oatsao was already banned. I'm not qualified to take orders today to deliver food. My car. I suddenly remembered my car was still at Katy International Hotel. When I was being arrested, my e-bike was still there. I quickly threw on my clothes, hailed a motorcycle TAC 11 at the community gate, headed straight for Katy International Hotel. Inside the guard booth at Katy International Hotel, I saw that fat security guard from yesterday. He was on duty. When I spotted him, he saw me too. He asked, holding his rubber baton, what are you here for again, kid? Looking for a beating? Get lost. I asked angrily. Where's my bike? What bike? The fat security guard threatened me, waving his rubber baton. There's no bike here for you. Get lost now. My e-bike. Where's my e-bike? I parked it right here yesterday. Who stole it? Let me check the surveillance. The fat security guard laughed, asked in a very contemptuous tone. Do you think you can just demand to see our international hotel's surveillance? Lie it's your own home? I really wanted to slap him. The fat security guard was especially smug. Continued to mock me. Go report that piece of junk bike to the police station. They won't even file a case for you. And you treat it like a treasure. Before he finished speaking, this fat guy suddenly stood at attention and saluted, looking very professional. Who's coming? I turned around and saw Li Xia's white Range Rover driving over. The car stopped beside me. He sat in the car and asked me, what are you here for again? I asked very annoyed. Do you think I want to come to this dump of yours? I'm here to find my bike. It was here yesterday. Now it's gone. The fat security guard came over and said, General Manajio Li, don't mind him for his crappy bike. He even wants to track our hotel's surveillance. He thinks too highly of himself. You go ahead, your work, General Manajio Li. I'll handle this bike thing. Li Xia looked at the fat security guard and asked, how will you handle it? Where's his bike? The fat security guard said with a sly grin. According to Xiao Zhang on duty yesterday, they saw the e-bike being violently thrown onto a truck by city management and taken away. I got really upset. You saw my bike being thrown onto a truck by city management and taken away. Why didn't you say anything? I was here delivering food for you, and I lost my job because of it. Even if you didn't say anything, couldn't you have kept an eye on my bike? Don't you have any human decency? The fat security guard grinned and glared, putting on a gloating expression, and even sang out, why should we help you? All right. Li Xia was a bit annoyed. She said to the fat security guard, swipe the elevator for him. Bring him to my office. After saying that, she drove to the parking lot. No way. The fat security guard was a bit confused. Said with a puzzled look, did I just hear that right? General Manajio Li told me to take you to her office. Li Xia's office was on the 29th floor. Her door had the words General Manajio on it. I didn't expect Li Xia to be the General Manajio, to climb to such a position at such a young age. That's really impressive. Li Xia's office was the most luxurious workplace I'd ever seen. Li Xia personally brewed a cup of coffee for me. As she handed me the coffee, she asked, how much was your e-bike? For some reason, I suddenly felt like teasing Li Xia. I looked at her disdainfully and asked, is money everything in your eyes? Let me tell you, I've ridden that e-bike for 3 years. Ever since I started delivering food. That e-bike has been with me through all kinds of storms. And after just one delivery to your company, it's done for. Can you lie with your conscience? Li Xia held a cup of coffee, leaning against her desk, looked at me and asked, you say all that so righteously. Lie, you have a deep bond with that e-bike. But no matter how deep, it's useless. I can't ask the city management to get your e-bike back. Let's be direct. How much compensation do you want? Can you talk about something other than money? Li Xia said to me very arrogantly, with someone of questionable character lie you. I can only talk about money. Do I have questionable character? If your character were fine, would you steal and eat other people's food deliveries? I was speechless, really didn't know what to say. Li Xia raised her wrist, looked at her watch, and said to me, don't waste time. I have a meeting soon. Just name your price. I'll pay you whatever it costs. I don't know where this stubbornness came from. I just wanted to argue with Li Xia. I said loudly, I don't want money. I want my bike. Is 5,000 enough? I didn't say anything. 8,000. That's good enough, right? I still didn't speak. I'll pay you 10,000. Li Xia raised her voice. Is this enough now? I looked at Li Xia and asked, do you think I came here to blackmail you? Do you really think my character is that bad? Enough. 20,000. If you don't want it, then get the hell out of my office. And don't show up again. I raised my hand and pointed at Li Xia, pointing at her as I backed away. I dropped a see you line. You lie such a pathetic life. All you see is money. How can you understand the pain of losing a companion? Talking about feelings with you is a waste of my emotions. Just hold on to your money and lie your life. Goodbye. I turned and walked out. Wait. Li Xia called out from behind me. She threatened, don't regret this. I'll give you one more chance. I'll give you 20,000 in compensation. No need. I said and walked out. Li Xia said behind me, fine, then I owe you a favor. If you need any help, as long as it doesn't violate my principles, I'll definitely repay what I owe you. Remember my phone number, outside Katy International Hotel. I really wanted to slap myself. That was a bit too much showing off. 20,000 bucks. Why didn't I take it? Had to show off to that rich woman. Yeah, the show off was perfect. The price of perfection was losing 20,000 bucks. How do I comfort myself? I got Li Xia's phone number again. Alright, that's the only way to comfort myself. Walking back, scrolling through my social feed casually, I unexpectedly saw a pot from Lu Jun. So today is her birthday. Lu Jun was my high school classmate. Back in high school, Lu Jun and I were very close. There were few boys in the liberal arts class, and seats were arranged by grades. We were both in the front row. Every exam, Lu Jun and I were at the top. The class's first place was either me or Lu Jun. After high school graduation, Lu Jun scored 590 and got into Yunnan University. I scored over 600 but chose to give up. up. My family couldn't afford the extra money for my tuition. Plus, my father's kidney disease needed expensive treatment. I also wanted to start working early to help support the family. 4 years ago, Lu Jun came to Kunming for university. I came to Kunming to work. In the beginning, we hung out a lot. Later, because our social circles differed, we didn't stay as close as before, but the bond was still there. Seeing Lu Jun's pot, I replied below. Happy birthday, buddy. Lu Jun quickly replied to me on WeChat. Chin-fen, are you free tonight? Can you come to my birthday party? We haven't seen each other in almost half a year, right? I replied, over half a year. You're about to graduate too, right? She said she could leave campus now, looking for an internship. I asked if she had any good leads. She replied, I majored in business administration in college. I've already turned down some job offers. I want to find a hotel management job. Come over tonight if you're free. Let's catch up. It's on Yanchi Road. Remember to bring your girlfriend. Let your buddies see if you're doing well. If I could have gone to college 4 years ago, then today I could also chat with friends and say casually, I want to find a hotel management job. Some people can choose their own path, while others are destined to be chosen. A girlfriend? Where do I find a girlfriend? Then I suddenly thought of Li Xia. Didn't she promise me one thing? Can I bring Li Xia to dinner today? And also introduce Li Xia to Lu Jun. Doesn't Lu Jun want to do hotel management? Li Xia is the general manager of Katy International Hotel. Even if I can't get Lu Jun into Katy International Hotel, at least I can make an introduction. Hopefully, I can provide some resources for Lu Jun. I quickly called Li Xia. When Li Xia answered, she immediately asked, are you regretting it and calling to ask for that 20,000? Can you be normal? I teased her. In your eyes, do I only call you for money? Li Xia laughed out loud without holding back. Then what are you calling for? Didn't you promise me one thing today? As long as it doesn't violate your principles, you'll do it. Did you say that or not? Right, I said it. What do you want me to do? Come with me tonight to a friend's birthday dinner. Just have a meal. This request doesn't violate your principles, does it? It's not too much, right? A meal. Li Xia exclaimed on the phone. You want me to go to dinner with you? Do you think I have that much time? If you don't come, I won't force you. At least it'll show me what kind of person you really are, Li Xia. Besides being all about money, you don't keep your word. Come or not, it's up to you. Li Xia was probably pissed off by me. She said angrily, fine, I'll have this meal with you tonight. After that, don't bother me anymore. We're even. You have to promise not to embarrass me during the meal. Of course, I won't do anything inappropriate either. Just show up as a friend, Li Xia said readily. Okay, I get it. See you tonight. I was a bit secretly pleased to have convinced Li Xia. Haven't seen him in half a year. And today is Lu Jun's birthday. Before leaving, I bought a red envelope at the convenience store and put $500 in it. $500 is really not a small amount for me. Thinking Lu Jun's friends might all be college students. College students these days are pretty generous. My red envelope might be too small. It might embarrass Lu Jun. At 6:10, I arrived at the restaurant entrance. Li Xia's white Range Rover was already parked there. Seeing me arrive, she got out of the car and walked over to me. She was even wearing a business suit. I stood at the door, looking Li Xia up and down. Li Xia glared at me and asked, what are you looking at? You didn't specify what to wear. Besides, I really didn't have time to change. I got the address you sent and came straight from the office. I laughed. I didn't expect you in a business suit. It makes you look quite elegant. This remark earned me another big eye roll from Li Xia. I led Li Xia into the restaurant's private room, pushed open the door and saw Lu Jun sitting at the head of the table, chatting with a guy on his left. There were about a dozen people in the room. Lu Jun saw me and quickly stood up, greeted me. Chin-fen, you're finally here. We've been waiting for you. Come sit over here. After saying that, he signaled the guy next to him to switch seats. I went to the seat the guy had just vacated, pulled out a cigarette for the guy who gave up his seat. He glanced at my Hongtishan cigarette and didn't accept it politely, pointed at the donghua on the table, said he had his own. Lu Jun introduced me to the others. Let me introduce everyone to Chen Fen, my best buddy from high school in our county, a former top student, scored over 600 on the college entrance exam. I smiled bitterly and said to Lu Jun, forget it, let's not talk about the past. Happy birthday. As I said that, I handed over the red envelope. Lu Jun lightly pinched the red envelope with his fingers, waved his hand and said to me, Chen Fen, you're too kind. I invited you today. Really wasn't for a red envelope or anything. Just thought we could get together since we haven't seen each other in half a year. Let's order food first and chat over drinks. And this is your sister-in-law, right? What's her name? Li Xia didn't react to the term sister-in-law, smiled and said, my name is Li Xia. Lu Jun looked at Li Xia and said proudly, my name is Lu Jun, business administration major at Yunnan University. Chen Fen and I grew up together. Lu Jun spoke very loudly when mentioning his school and major, showing off his pride. Another guy said, let's order food first. The room started getting noisy again. Lu Jun took out his own cigarette, handed it to me, and said, Chen Fen, if you had insisted on going to school back then, you wouldn't be delivering food now. A food delivery guy. The girl sitting next to Lu Jun asked with barely suppressed curiosity, are you from Meituan or ELE.me? The internet often reports delivery guys stealing food. Is it true? Before I could answer, another guy jumped in and said, Wang Hui, you're making a big deal out of it. What's so bad about stealing food? Haven't you seen that 60O in the elevator, using a customer's soup as mouthwash, and then spitting it back in? That's even more disgusting. This industry is too chaotic now. The platforms don't know how to regulate it. It's all done by unemployed drifters. Who would deliver food if they had a good job? For a moment, my face was burning. I didn't dare look at these chatting people, even less at Li Xia beside me, as everyone was discussing this topic. Suddenly, a girl looked at Li Xia and asked, are you a food delivery person too? Li Xia looked at the girl and smiled. Chen Fen and I are both food delivery workers. We're colleagues. The girl said with great envy, delivering food every day in the sun and wind must be really tough, right? Working in that environment, and still keeping your skin so nigh. I'm so jealous of you. Li Xia smiled and didn't explain anything. Let these inexperienced girls discuss you. Lu Jun felt quite awkward, whispered to comfort me, Chen Fen, don't take it to heart. They don't mean any harm. They're just chatting casually. I smiled bitterly and said to Lu Jun, it's okay, I understand. I wasn't just humoring Lu Jun. I really do understand. In these years of struggling in Kunming, I've met all kinds of people. College students are the most unruly group. They haven't left campus yet. You know how to read the room. And few truly care about others' feelings. They all act like they're the chosen ones. After a few rounds of drinks, the topics increased. Lu Jun asked me, how's your dad's condition now? Can he get a kidney transplant? Bringing up this topic, I became very heavy-hearted, picked up the glass in front of me, and downed the full glass of liquor. Said quietly, there's no hope. A kidney transplant costs hundreds of thousands. It's not something my family can afford. Plus, even with money, you can't just get a transplant. You need to find a met. He's been on conservative treatment all these years, going to the hospital for dialysis every week. He's been reduced to skin and bones. Lu Jun let out a long sigh. Recalling the past, he said, back then, you scored over 600 on the exam. Why didn't you insist on going to college? I remember the whole school held a donation for you. That money was meant for your education. I interrupted Lu Jun and said, I used the money for my dad's treatment. Do I regret it? If you had gone to school back then, you'd have much better options now. I shook my head and lit the cigarette Lu Jun handed me. Said dejectedly, if I had to choose 100 times again, I'd still use the money for my dad's treatment. Why are you so unreasonable? The girl on the other side of Lu Jun said in a lecturing tone. You should have used the money for school. Lias, get into a prestigious university first. Then get your diploma and degree. That way, you'd have many more job options. Not end up like this. Besides delivering food, what else can you do? Li Xia, who had been mostly quiet, spoke up. Never judge people or things you don't understand. What you said might be right, but it's not the correct answer under all circumstances. That girl rolled her eyes dismissively. Lu Jun stopped her. Lu Ruyan, stop it. Qin Fen's father got sick many years ago. His mother stays home to care for his sick father. Now the whole family relies on him alone? Lu Ruyan muttered disdainfully. Short-sighted. What can I say? I felt my hand holding the glass trembling. Suddenly felt a very soft, very warm hand rest on the back of mine. I turned my head and saw Li Xia looking at me. Her eyes were very gentle. Lu Ruyan glanced at us contemptuously, then asked Lu Jun, did you submit the resumes I asked you to last week? Did you send them all? I've already received an interview notice. What about you? Did you get one? Lu Jun mysteriously opened his phone and showed it to Lu Ruyan, said with slight excitement, look, the interview notification. It came in at noon today, tomorrow morning. That's awesome. Lu Ruyan was especially happy, hugged Lu Jun and gave him a kiss, said with anticipation, I believe we'll both be hired by this hotel. A girl sitting across asked, what's going on with you two? You're so happy. Lu Ruyan said very proudly, Lu Jun and I submitted our resumes together to our favorite hotel. They notified us to go for an interview tomorrow. Congratulations. Let's all raise a glass to celebrate. A high education is really great. You can choose the industry you like. Lu Jun turned down so many good companies for you. Lu Ruyan, you need to work hard. After dinner, the next stop was KTV. The KTV was about 2 kilometers away. As we left the restaurant's private room, his college classmates walked ahead. Li Xia and I were at the back. I whispered to Li Xia, the meal is over. You've done what you promised. Don't worry about me. You can go. Thank you for keeping your word. Li Xia asked softly, are you going to join them for the next part? I shook my head. I'll find an excuse to slip away. We have nothing in common to talk about. Li Xia pouted and said to me, where are you going? Let me give you a ride. Walking to the restaurant entrance, Lu Jun had already hailed 3 taxis. The first TAC 11 already had 4 people. The second had 2 people. Another couple was about to get in. That left 5 people. Me, Li Xia, Lu Jun, and Lu Ruyan. And a guy I didn't know. Lu Ruyan said to Li Xia, let's squeeze in together, the 5 of us. Just tell the driver. We'll be there soon. Li Xia said with a smile. Thanks, but Qin Fen and I have things to do. Let's catch up another day. Lu Jun said, a bit disappointed. Come on. Come hang out for a bit. It's rare we all get together. Lu Ruyan secretly pinched him. Lu Jun said to Lu Jun, all right. Don't push them. This is prime time for late night snacks. You can make more deliveries tonight. Don't waste their time. I said to Lu Jun, next time, we're all in Kunming anyway. We'll keep in touch and hang out. We'll head back now. All right then. Lu Jun said reluctantly. Let me call a cab for you. Take it slow. No need for a cab. I didn't drink. With that, Li Xia pressed a remote. The white Range Rover parked next to us. Its lights flashed. Then he waved to Lu Jun and said, goodbye. Lu Jun and Lu Ruyan's expressions stiffened. Li Xia and I walked side by side to the Range Rover. As I opened the door, I heard Lu Ruyan behind me say in a jealous tone, your childhood friend is really something. He must have borrowed that car to show off. I didn't catch what they said after that, because I was already in Li Xia's car. I leaned back in my seat, closed my eyes, couldn't see my future, but felt tears streaming down my face. When life's pressure suffocates me, I can only lick my wounds in the dark. I didn't want Li Xia to see my tears. Rolled down the window, let the wind dry them, evaporate into the air. The car stopped outside Paris Spring Community. I got out and said goodbye to Li Xia. As I was leaving, Li Xia called me back and asked, Qin Fen, do I still owe you something? I stopped, turned around, shook my head, and said, no, you don't. Good. Li Xia's lips curled into a relieved smile. She calmly said goodbye, slept straight through to the next day. Woke up by a phone call well past noon. I didn't even check who was calling. Out of habit, I answered. First said hello. Li Xia's voice came through the phone. She asked, are you still sleeping? Can you be any lazier? I asked groggily. What's it to you if I'm lazy? Can you do me a favor? What is it? Come to my office and meet me. I'll tell you. If you want to refuse, I won't force you. I hesitated for a few seconds, then said to Li Xia, wait for me. I'll be there in half an hour. Keep your guard dogs in check. Don't let them bite me. Li Xia laughed. As if you've ever been bitten. Inside Li Xia's office, she was at her desk, working on the computer. I walked up to her desk, leaned on it with both hands and asked, what's so important that you called me in? Li Xia put down the mouse, leaned back in her chair, crossed her arms and looked at me. HR has a few interviews today. I want your help. Today, you'll be our HR director. See if these people are suitable. I looked at Li Xia and asked, are you kidding me? You want me to be the interviewer? Det. Li Xia said calmly. I'm not joking. The candidates are already here. If you're willing to help, you can start the interviews now. My assistant Xiao Ru will assist you. Being an interviewer isn't that hard. Just take a look at these candidates. If they seem good, let them in for a trial. If not, you can send them away. All based on feeling. I looked at Li Xia, completely confused. I really can't figure it out. Why do you want me to do the interviews? Do you have some special motive? Li Xia's lips curled into a puzzling smile. She stood up and said, go ahead. I'll have Xiao Ru take you to the HR office. You'll see why I asked you to do this soon. Curious, I followed Xiao Ru to the interview office. There were 4 files on the desk. Xiao Ru introduced them. Only these 4 passed the initial screening, but we can only keep 2 in the end. Take a look at their files first. I'll go arrange things. Call them in one by one for the interview. You decide which 2 to keep. That's what General Ma Najio Li wants. I opened the first candidate's resume. 26 years old. 2 years of hotel management experience. Graduated from Southwest University of Political Science and Law. The second resume. A girl with a degree in business administration. Nothing special. But her personal statement was very modest. A very low-key girl. When I opened the third resume, I was shocked. It was Lu Jun. Suddenly, I realized something. Quickly opened the fourth resume. Sure enough, it had Lu Ruyan's photo. Last night, they excitedly said at dinner. They got an interview invitation from a hotel. They were over the moon. Turns out it was Peking International Hotel. And Li Xia asked me to interview him. What does this mean? I thought for a moment. Seemed to understand Li Xia's good intentions. After a moment, Assistant Xiao Ru returned and said to me, everything is arranged. Can I call them in for the interview? I nodded and said to Xiao Ru, have all 4 come in together. Xiao Ru was a bit surprised. A hint of distrust flashed in her eyes, as if questioning. Do you even know how to interview? I insisted. Det. Have all 4 come in at once. Since I said so. Xiao Ru didn't question further. Opened the door and walked out. When she came back in, all 4 candidates were brought in front of all 4. Xiao Ru introduced. This is Director Chen from our HR department. Which 2 stay today? Depends entirely on Director Chen's decision. After the introduction, she returned to her desk. Sat to my left. Operated the computer to take notes. Chin Fen. Lu Jun blurted out my name. He asked in surprise, am I seeing things? I smiled and nodded. My eyes swept over them. I saw Lu Ruyan's barely contained excitement, as if she was sure to get in. I pretended to be serious and said, please have a seat. I've seen all your resumes. Passing through layers of interviews to get here shows you're the best among the candidates, even if you don't get the position. It proves you're excellent. We only have 2 spots. Lu Ruyan said proudly. Looks like it'll be me and Lu Jun. That drew a dissatisfied look from the other guy. Lu Jun quickly pulled Lu Ruyan and whispered, don't talk nonsense. Then apologized to the guy. The other girl didn't react at all, as if she hadn't heard Lu Ruyan. I picked up my water glass, took a sip and continued. The final interview question is simple. If your monthly salary is 5,000, you have 3 housing options. First, a single room in a village, rent 500. Second, a shared apartment in a complex, rent 1,000. Third, rent your own apartment in a complex, rent 2,500. Which would you choose? Lu Ruyan spoke first. I'll take the 2,500 apartment. Good environment, private space. Lu Jun, what about you? Lu Jun scratched his head and said, I'll see an apartment in a complex. I turned to the third girl. Her name was easy to remember, Bai Pei Pei. It was the first time I heard her. Her voice was soft and gentle. She said cautiously, I'd choose to see an apartment in a complex. Living environment is important. My roommate would be someone with similar income and values. We'd get along well. It could expand my social circle. Sharing an apartment is good. The last guy said firmly, I'd choose the village room. With a 5,000 salary, it's not much. Spending money on housing is better spent on socializing. All 4 shared their thoughts. I said to Xiao Ru beside me, let's end the interview here. Xiao Ru looked at me and asked, so which 2 are staying? Announce it tomorrow morning. Everyone, wait for the call. Xiao Ru stood up and said, thank you all. Director Chen means, the interview ends here. Which 2 are hired? We'll be notified by phone tomorrow morning. Your fate depends on Director Chen's choice. Thank you. I'll see you out. Please follow me. With that, Xiao Ru walked out first. The guy followed her. Then Bai Pei Pei, seeing the first 2 leave, Lu Ruyan rushed to my desk, said excitedly, Chin Fen, aren't you a delivery guy? What are you doing here? This interview is perfect. Can Lu Jun and I start next week? I smirked slightly, didn't know what to say. Lu Jun pulled Lu Ruyan and said, Ruyan, let's go. Hey, Chin Fen, are you fried tonight? You left too early yesterday. We didn't get to drink properly. What time do you get off? I'll come find you. We'll drink more tonight. I said to Lu Jun. I'll contact you when I'm off. As they were leaving, Lu Ruyan hooked Lu Jun's arm, said confidently, your friend is the HR director at Katie Hotel? Why didn't you tell me earlier? Chen Fen is really capable. We need to stay in touch. Oko? All 4 left the interview office. I sat in my chair, thinking for a moment, then walked to Li Xia's office. When I entered, Li Xia was staring at her computer. I even heard my own voice. Seeing me come in, Li Xia smiled. Not bad. Chin Fen, your final question was unique. I frowned and asked, you saw everything? Li Xia turned her screen toward me. I was watching a live feed. Now I'm watching it again. So that office has cameras. I was speechless. Is this a lack of trust in me? I was about to speak. Li Xia explained first. Don't misunderstand. Our interview office always has cameras. Sometimes there are many candidates. It's unavoidable. HR needs to review the footage multiple times before making a final decision. I acknowledged. Li Xia smiled and asked, who do you think should stay? Bai Pei Pei and Lu Jun. Li Xia asked, why? You're not keeping Lu Ruyan? Aren't you afraid your friend Lu Jun will fall out with you? I habitually took out a cigarette and put it in my mouth. Then realized it might be inappropriate. Since it's her office, I put the lighter away. Li Xia said, it's fine. I don't mind people smoking around me. Thanks. I lit the cigarette and said to Li Xia, I understand why you called me today. Thank you for your thoughtfulness. You're good to me. I won't be irresponsible to you. Lu Ruyan thinks too highly of herself and lacks good upbringing. She's not worth training. Bai Pei is a good person, both in her resume and her words. She's very humble. And she has a good image. Very approachable. Lu Jun may lack experience, but his outlook and values are solid. Setting aside personal bias, I recommend keeping him. As for your question about not keeping Lu Ruyan upsetting Lu Jun, I can only say I won't use your kindness for something that harms your company. That's why I didn't announce the decision earlier. The final call is yours to make. Li Xia leaned back and looked at me. I was surprised when I saw the resumes this morning. What a coincidence. So I called you over. From the interview, you saw, from being a delivery guy yesterday to being HR director today. Just a simple change. Some people's attitudes toward you shift completely. This society is very realistic, and the people in it are very hypocritical. I understand your good intentions to help me regain some dignity and confidence with friends, but you've also put me in a bind. Lu Jun and Lu Ruyan think I decide their fate. Now it's awkward. Li Xia said nonchalantly. If it's too hard for you, just keep Lu Jun and Lu Ruyan. I don't care. Katie Hotel has over 100 employees. One more Lu Ruyan won't matter. It's up to you. I glanced at Li Xia, didn't know what to say, turned and walked toward the door, said with my back to her, you handle it. I'm leaving. Don't drag me into this. I'm done playing. Wait, Li Xia called me from behind. If you think your best friend, Lu Jun, can't understand why you didn't hire Lu Ruyan and falls out with you over it, then this friendship isn't worth keeping. You must know what Lu Ruyan is like. Besides, do you think Lu Jun will be hep pie with a fake girl like Lu Ruyan? Of course, we outsiders can't judge Lop. But when it comes to character, shouldn't you say something to your friend? I stood there, listening to Li Xia. Didn't want to say more. Opened the office door and walked out. Li Xia's voice came from behind. Since you took this on, see it through. I don't want you to quit halfway. Lie yesterday. I stayed through that dinner. Even though I hated it. Tomorrow, you announce the results. If you don't come, I'll hire Lu Jun and Lu Ruyan to save face for you with your friends. Li Xia's kindness handed me a hot potato. I didn't know how to face Lu Jun and Lu Ruyan. I could ignore Lu Ruyan's feelings. But I didn't want to make Lu Jun uncomfortable. Tonight's dinner might be awkward, even knowing it would be. I couldn't avoid it. At 4:30 p.m., Lu Jun called me, asked what time I got off work. I told him I was fry. He was really hep pie. Asked where to meet for a good drink. I told him to come to a small restaurant outside Paris Spring. Tonight's on me. Lu Jun said he'd be right over. See you soon. Then hung up. I didn't know what would happen tonight. Would our decade-long friendship end here? Or grow stronger? I had no idea. We've all changed over the years. Our circles have drifted apart. I didn't know how to say it. All I could do was hope. At 5:30, Lu Jun and Lu Ruyan showed up at the restaurant. I suddenly felt nervous. I wanted to preserve this friendship, but didn't want to betray Li Xia's kindness. Stuck in a dilemma. After a few dishes were served, they kept talking about Katy International Hotel, asking about the environment, the salary, and the company structure. I didn't know many answers. Couldn't respond. Just smiled awkwardly and changed the subject. Lu Jun and Lu Ruyan noticed I was avoiding. The dinner atmosphere was half awkward. Everyone felt tense. Lu Ruyan couldn't take it first. She picked up her chopsticks and said in a strange tone, Lu Jun, Chin Fen doesn't seem to want you at Katy. Don't think that, I said. Whether you get in or not isn't up to me. Lu Ruyan insisted. You interviewed us today, and that Xiao Yu is the GM's assistant. She said you decide. How is it not up to you? I can't clear this up no matter what. Lu Jun looked at me sincerely. Chin Fen, this job is important to me and Ruyan. There are several 5-star hotels in Kunming, but after comparing, we think Katy is the best for us. Why? I looked at Lu Jun, confused. You said it yourself. There are many 5-star hotels in Kunming. Why must it be Katy? Lu Jun said mysteriously. You work at Katy. You must have heard. He didn't survive. Now, the one running Katy Hotel is Li Dezhong's illegitimate daughter. She's making big personnel changes, building her own team, establishing her authority. At this time, she needs fresh blood. We chose Katy because of that. Chaos creates heroes. Ruyan and I want to take a chance. Rather than work in a stable company, we'd rather enter a competitive environment to prove our worth. I understood Lu Jun's thinking. It was indeed a chance to shine, but I really couldn't hire Lu Ruyan against my conscience. I advised gently. A stable work environment is also good. Less scheming. Chen Fen, Lu Jun said seriously. If you can, please keep me and Ruyan. Please. I didn't give Lu Jun a clear answer during dinner. Just told him to wait for the call. Remembering that day at the abandoned warehouse, Li Xia said to Li Jiahao, I promise to take good care of you. If I'm right. The illegitimate daughter Lu Jun mentioned is probably Li Xia. Back home, I went to the balcony. Called Li Xia. Li Xia answered. What's up so late? Still about the hiring. Lu Jun and Lu Ruyan treated me to dinner tonight. You can guess what they said. I think this joke should end here. It's gone too far. You saw the interview footage. I'm sure you know who to keep. Lu Jun and Bai Pei are the best choices. At least, that's what I think. Please clear up this misunderstanding, Li Xia said in a dissatisfied tone. Chin Fen, did I do what I promised? You asked me to have dinner with you. I skipped an important meeting to go. I hated that dinner, but I stayed until the end, even when you were treated like a delivery guy. I really don't like dinner parties. I stayed with you until the end, treated like a delivery guy handing out flyers. I held it in two, because I promised you I'd do it well. Now you promised to help me with one thing, and you're going to give up halfway? Don't be like this, Oku. I'm begging you. Li Xia said. I know you just wanted to vent for me. I truly appreciate your kindness. But this matter has taken a real turn. It's about to hurt my friendship, Li Xia said firmly. You can choose not to hurt it. Hire Lu Jun and Lu Ruyan at the same time. I'm giving you that authority. Can you stop being so stubborn? The company is yours. Are you joking with yourself? No, I'm not. On the other end, Li Xia was either angry or trying to provoke me. I spoke up. This is revenge for what you did to my food. Come to my office tomorrow morning. Make the hiring calls yourself. Tell 2 of them to report to HR on Monday. Then your promise to me is done. If you admit you're a man, don't do things halfway. After saying that, Li Xia hung up. I suddenly felt like I was on a pirate ship, and I couldn't get off. I lay in bed thinking about what to do. A tough problem was in front of me. No matter what I did, it was wrong. The next day, in Li Xia's office, I really don't lie him. He looks at me with a mocking gaze. A landline phone sat on the desk. Li Xia sat across from me, separated by the coffee table, holding a cup of coffee, looking very pleased. I stared at the phone, conflicted. Make the call, Li Xia said calmly. Even if you told Lu Jun and Lu Ruyan now that you're not the HR director, they wouldn't believe you, right? I looked at Li Xia and asked angrily. You didn't want to help me save face in front of others. You just wanted to trap me, didn't you? Li Xia opened her mouth. A hint of disappointment flashed in her eyes. She said dismissively, think whatever you want. With that, she got up from the sofa and returned to her desk. Indeed, even if I told Lu Jun and Lu Ruyan now that I'm not the HR director, they wouldn't believe me. So why hesitate? I picked up the phone and dialed the internal line. This call was directly to Xiao Lu. I held the phone and said to Xiao Lu, notify Lu Jun that he's hired. Report to the company on Monday. Oh, cool. Xiao Lu asked on the other end. And who's the second one? Who's the second one? I felt my hand holding the phone tremble. On the other side, Li Xia, your eyes never left me. Hey, Xiao Lu asked on the phone, Director Chen, who should we keep for the other one? The second name, Lu Ruyan. I couldn't say it out loud several times. Xiao Lu's voice came through the phone again, reminding me, Director Chen, I'm listening. When I said Bai Peipei's name, I felt a huge relief. I realized my whole back was soaked with sweat. I understand. I'll call Lu Jun and Bai Peipei now. Report to HR on Monday. Oh cool, I'll hang up now. I was the first to put down the phone. I leaned back on the sofa, staring at the ceiling. I heard Li Xia's footsteps approaching. She sat down on the sofa in front of me again, and said to me, Chen Fen, thank you. Actually, this was a tete for you. I chuckled dryly. A tete for what? Don't make up unrealistic excuses to comfort me. I'm not a 3-year-old. You did this just to get back at me for teasing you. If I could, I'd go back a few days. I wouldn't have lied about eating your food. I didn't actually do it. Li Xia said nonchalantly. It doesn't matter. There aren't that many what-ifs in the world. Actually, I'm glad you told that lie. It gave us more chances to interact. Anyway, let me apologize first. I shouldn't have given you such a hard tete. Before Li Xia could finish, my phone rang, just as I expected. It was Lu Jun calling. I answered and heard Lu Jun ask, Chen Fen, can you tell me why? Li Xia was sitting across from me. I couldn't explain much, so I just said to Lu Jun, I'll call you later. I'll wait. After taking that call, my mood became even heavier. Li Xia said to me, let me apologize first. Then I'll explain why I did it. Whether you forgive me or not, I'll be grateful for everything you did for me today. I stared at Li Xia. A faint guilt was on her face, along with some helplessness. She said softly, I gave you such a big problem, but you still thought of me at the critical moment. The company has been having some issues lately. We're restructuring staff across departments. I want people around me who truly care. To build my own team. Actually, asking you to help with the interview yesterday. I just wanted you to save face in front of your friends. Even if you hired both Lu Jun and Lu Ruyan, it wouldn't have mattered much to the company. It would just be adding one intern. At worst, we could let them go after a month. Li Xia paused here. She cautiously looked at my expression, then continued. During your interview yesterday, I watched the whole thing. I was surprised. You didn't announce keeping Lu Ruyan on the spot. You came to my office and said she wasn't suitable. Actually, I also thought she wasn't right for my company. Let's not go into the reasons. When you told me that, I suddenly had an idea. I had to let you handle this hiring to see what choice you'd make. And you didn't disappoint me. You stuck with the right choice in the end. That choice was very hard for you. It might even cost you your childhood friend. I want to know why you insisted on doing it. Was it for me? I smirked disdainfully. Don't overthink it. I have my own principles. I just didn't want to betray my conscience. Great, Li Xia said happily. That's exactly what I need. Let's talk properly. About what? I took out a cigarette and put it in my mouth. Li Xia couldn't help but frown. I said loudly, don't frown. I'm not your employee right now. I can smoke if I want. You can't control me. Even if I were your employee, you can't restrict my freedom to smoke. That's fine, Li Xia said calmly. You smoked in my office yesterday too. It seems smoking helps you think better. The company is overhauling all positions. Which department do you want to join? Which one interests you? What industry have you worked in before? What experience do you have delivering food and the kind that sneaks fights? Li Xia glared at me and said, I'm serious. Stop joking. Oku? Delivering food. Working as a waiter in a KTV. Carrying bricks on construction sites. The more I talked, the less confident I felt. Anyway, I've done all the low-level jobs. If you really want to offer me a job, go ahead. Li Xia encouraged me. Just say what you want to do. I'll give you a salary you'll be het pie with. It won't be less than what you made delivering food. Don't look down on food delivery. I made 6 or 7,000 a month. I'll give you 8,000. Then I'll be a security guard. Li Xia's expression was indescribable. She stared at me for a long time and asked, are you serious? Of course. I pressed. Does being a security guard include fry room and board? Is there an attendance bonus? How are the shifts arranged? How many hours work? How many hours rest? I can read more during breaks. Being a security guard is fine. Come to work on Monday. I'll have Xiao Lu arrange your security job personally. The company provides meals and accommodation, but the room is a shared dormitory. Just a bed. You can rest there sometimes. I'm not sure about the exact shift schedule for the security department. Those are handled by the staff below. With that, Li Xia looked at her watch and said, let's have lunch together. Let me ask first, am I treating you or are you treating me? That earned me a big eye roll from Li Xia. After lunch at the hotel, as I was leaving, Li Xia had Xiao Lu bring me a security uniform, telling me to wear it and find Xiao Lu on Monday. She would arrange my position. I also asked Li Xia, does being a security guard really pay 8,000? Li Xia calmly said det. Back home, I changed into the security uniform in my room. Looking in the mirror, I felt really sharp. While I was admiring myself, Lu Jun called again. After I explained Li Xia's background to him, he understood everything. Monday morning at 8, I wore the uniform and found Xiao Lu. She looked me over and even complimented me, but I said it was great. If I were in charge of uniforms, I'd have all guards wear military combat gear. That would be CU, but she laughed and said I could change the department's uniforms after taking charge. Then she took me to the security office on the second floor. She knocked directly on the deputy director's door. The person inside didn't even look up and yelled at us to go out and knock again. Xiao Lu said calmly, Director Chao, I hope I'm not interrupting your game. That made her hurriedly put away her phone and stand up. Xiao Lu introduced us to each other, telling her to cooperate with me, the new director. After we got acquainted, Xiao Lu took me to another office. It was spacious and tidy. I never dreamed that just days ago I was a delivery guy, and now I had my own office. Xiao Lu handed me the keys. The security department is yours. Contact me directly if you have any work issues. Have Director Chao send over some documents later. There's a lot of trivial work. Do your best. I won't let you and Li Xia down. Good luck with your work. But before I could even settle in, there was a knock on the door. The guard at the door spoke arrogantly. Director, there's a guest causing trouble outside. Please come handle it. Shouldn't a guest causing trouble be handled by the lobby managio at Dekai International Hotel? Guest issues are the security department's responsibility. The guard, smoking impatiently, said they'd locked the parking lot gate with their car. Director Chao is waiting there. He sent me to ask for your solution. When I got there, I found out a BMW was blocking the exit. The owner was cursing, saying his car was scratched. The key point was there was no surveillance, and the camera for his spot was broken. Director Chao pointed at me. This is our new director. Don't worry, he'll give you a reasonable explanation. The owner raged. Are you responsible? Give me an answer. How will you compensate? Wow. A tete within an hour of starting. Just as I was at a loss, a beautiful woman appeared, saying she caused the scratch. She mistook the BMW for her ex-husband's car. My first crisis was resolved, leaving Director Chao dumbfounded. But soon after I returned to my office, the company's general managio, Li Mingquan, arrived with Director Chao and a director. Li Mingquan glanced at me and said flatly, remove him. Appoint Chao Yue as security director. I was stunned. I just started. Luckily, Xiao Lu and Li Xia walked in then. Xiao Lu smiled. The general managio personally arranged this. You just pull out lie that. Is that Oku? The man in the suit looked slightly surprised. Xia, was this person arranged by you? Li Xia says calmly. Recently, there have been many hotel security complaints, so I removed him. Minister Yuan didn't solve the problem either, so I personally arranged for someone to take charge. Brother, any issues? Li Kuanming immediately forces a laugh. Of course not. But shouldn't changing a department head go through the board? Li Xia is neither humble nor arrogant. Arranging an internship also needs board approval? No need. It's fine to hold a meeting when the formal appointment comes. I think the disobedient deputy minister is dispensable. Should we remove him too? What do you think, brother? Tao Yue is startled and looks at Li Kuanming. Xiaoru uses her eyes to encourage me. Don't speak. The man quickly says, let's not remove him for now. The new minister isn't familiar with the business yet. He needs old Chao's help. Let old Chao support him for a while. Li Xia says to him, then I'll listen to you. Give Chao Yue one more chance. After speaking, Li Xia leaves with Xiaolu. When Li Kuanming leaves, he gives me a cold, deep look. Later, I found out he is Li Xia's half-brother, Li Kuanming. After Li Dezhong passed away, he left the company to his illegitimate daughter, Li Xia. Li Kuanming outwardly assists, but actually uses Li Xia to replace people, stirring up shareholder dissatisfaction and boosting his own popularity. Li Xia's position is precarious. When I get home at night, exhaustion hits me. I lie down on the sofa and fall asleep. Lin Fei wakes me up. I also mooch a meal off him. Ever since we cleared up the misunderstanding about the stray dog, our relationship has grown closer. After dinner, a sudden call from second uncle wakes me up. He asks me to come to the bar for a drink. I happen to want to relax too. I casually invite Lin Fei to join me. Unexpectedly, he agrees. Second uncle leads me into a bar booth. Inside, there are 3 men and 1 woman, all around 30 years old. The woman has a good figure. Qin Xiaojie introduces. Call these guys brother, and this is Sister Hua. I raise my glass to toast the 3 brothers. Sister Hua, and my second uncle, your second uncle. Ini Hua asks, confused, who's your second uncle? Chen Xiaojie. He told me to call you all brother. I won't let you take advantage of me for fry. I'll drink a few more rounds with you. Everyone laughs. Ini Hua says to Qin Xiaojie, you're such a jerk. Your nephew is more interesting than you. Little brother, let me drink a toast with you. During the chat, I learn they are all fitness club coaches. Qin Xiaojie teaches Sanso. Everyone drinks casually. No one forces it. I really lie this atmosphere. Just as we're chatting happily, Li Jiahao suddenly appears. He grabs a bottle of beer from the table and downs it. Panting, he says to Qin Xiaojie, brother Jia, I finished 300 push-ups. I'm stunned. Li Jiahao picks up another bottle of beer and says to me, buddy, I apologize to you. No fight, no friendship. I'll finish this bottle. You do as you please. He tilts his head back and drinks. I look at second uncle. He smiles faintly. He's my member, learning Sanso from me. Li Jiahao finishes another bottle. I've never admired anyone, but I admire brother Jia. It was all a misunderstanding before. Don't take it to heart. Let bygones be bygones. We're all men. I move closer to Lin Fei. Raising my glass, I toast you. Li Jiahao generously finishes his 3rd bottle. During the chat, I ask her which department she works in at Dekai. She shakes her head. I don't lie Dekai. My sister won't let me go either. Why? Isn't Dekai your family's company? Your sister is the chairman and general managio. Li Jiahao sighs lightly. Don't look down on me. I've been a failure my whole life. I dropped out of high school, hung out on the streets, and even cursed my mom. Later, when my mom passed away, she told us that our father was Li Dezhong. He was good to us and gave us a lot of money. Earlier this year, she died unexpectedly. She split Dekai's shares into 3 parts. My sister, me, and our half-brother Li Kuanming each got SA. But she made my sister the chairman. She asked me to help out. But after a week of work, I found everyone in the company was unfriendly. I'm used to being lazy. I became a reason for others to attack my sister. So I quit. She gets more agitated. Picking up the beer bottle. Do you think I'm useless? I clink glasses with her. Don't think that. You can't stand the scheming, which means you have a pure personality. I'd rather be friends with someone like you. I have no other strengths, but I value loyalty. Li Jiahao pats his chest. We didn't know each other until we fought. From now on, if you need anything, just say the word. If I hesitate, I'm not a man. Cheers. After drinking, I tell her, your sister arranged for me to work in Dekai security department. Security department? As a guard? My sister is too stingy. I'll talk to her tonight and get you transferred to another department. I chose it myself. You chose it yourself? With so many Hoteo departments, why did you pick security? I light a cigarette, helpless. I don't know how to do anything else. I'll start from the bottom. Your sister is already good to me. She made me the head of the security department. I'm very satisfied. Li Jiahao laughs dryly. To be honest, did someone give you a hard time on your first day? If not, I'll drink 3 more bottles. Everyone's eyes are on me. I smile bitterly. The deputy minister set me up. What happened? Qin Xiaojia, who's usually quiet, asks. I recount today's events. Finally, I add, don't just resort to violence. This can't be solved with force. I want to do a good job and treat it as a challenge. If I can't handle this, I'd look down on myself. Yinihua nods. Chen Fen, Sister Hua supports you. To survive in an environment, you have to adapt to the unspoken rules. Violence doesn't solve problems. Qin Xiaojia, who's been silent, suddenly speaks. Undermine his authority and break up his team. Solve the problem at its root. I repeat it, thinking about the specifics. Easier said than done. The man to Qin Xiaojia's right laughs. Not everyone in the security department is on his side. Some are forced by power. Show your strength and attitude, and naturally, some will switch sides. As a leader, personal charisma is more important than power. Give them a chance to erupt. The more I think about it, the more it makes sense. This drink wasn't wasted. I can't sleep that night. I keep mulling over the next plan. I don't fall asleep until 2 a.m. In the morning, I immediately text Li Xia. I want to lead Dekai security department well for what I'm about to do. I hope you'll support me. I send the message. I don't get a reply until I arrive at the company. I can't help but feel a bit nervous, but there's no turning back now. After a simple meeting, as expected, not everyone is on Minister Chao's side. The guy who messed up the surveillance is fired by me directly. Chao Yue has a big fight with me over this. Soon, HR comes to find me. Li Quanming doesn't agree with firing that guard. Luckily, Lu Xiaoru shows up in time. She says to HR, General Manajio Li asked me to tell you to follow the security department's orders. HR looks troubled. I'll go back and talk to the director after he leaves. Lu Xiaoru smiles. You see, this isn't just about firing a guard. It's a power struggle behind the scenes. I take a deep breath. I understand. As soon as I take office, I'm eliminating incidents. Moving too fast can cause resentment, but I support you. Lu Xiaoru's phone suddenly rings. She answers, says a few words, and hangs up. This has blown up. The board wants to use this to make trouble for Xia. She wants you to be ready. She needs you. What's going on? I ask Lu Xiaoru. Did I cause trouble for Xia? What does she need me to do? Lu Xiaoru explains. Li Quanming is unhappy that you fired a veteran on your first day. He's calling an emergency board meeting. What does he want? Xia has a meeting at 2 p.m. This started with you, so you have to be there. Whether you can turn things around is up to you. I'm a bit nervous. The shareholders only care about the company's profits. If you can convince the majority to support you, Xia will be fine. Lu Xiaoru said. If you fail, Li Mingquan will take the chance to elect a new General Managio, or even chairman. Xia can't lose control of Dekai. I understand. I took a deep breath. I'm ready to wait for the notice anytime now. After Lu Xiaoru left, I went to Guofeng Road to buy combat uniforms. I chose a lightweight, readable style for over 1,000 yuan. It makes you look like a special forces soldier. As soon as I entered the 29th floor meeting room, a shareholder asked Li Xia discontentedly, is this guy so young reliable? An older shareholder spoke up. Being late needs a reason. Since the meeting is about him, we'd lie to hear what you've actually done. Li Mingquan sighed and said, it's nothing much. Just on his second day, he fired a veteran employee. Xia's hiring is flawed, and she's pushing massive layoffs. I'm worried about Dekai's future, so I want to discuss the company's development and re-elect the General Managio. That was obvious enough. He was trying to impeach Li Xia. As soon as Li Mingquan finished, a shareholder spoke up. I invest to make money. Whoever has the ability, I'll support. Well said. Another shareholder chimed in. Dekai isn't exclusive to the Li family. We respect the old chairman's word, but we support the capable even more. Whether it's Li Xia, Li Mingquan, or anyone else. If they can win everyone over, I'll support them. Thank you all, Li Xia said. I replaced the head of the security department because of the recent surge in complaints. Director Chen, see your thoughts with everyone. I walked to the empty seat next to Li Xia and looked around. At noon, I bought this gear on my own dime at Guofeng Road. I believe the security guard's image represents the Hoteo's image. Right now, the guards wear shirts and trousers, looking lazy and not fitting Dekai's brand. I plan to have all guards switch to combat uniforms and participate in daily training. I'll lead by example, guiding everyone to exercise and build a good image. As for firing the veteran employee, here's what happened. I briefly explained yesterday's situation. Someone who can't even monitor properly doesn't need to stay in the security department. I want to build an elite team and eliminate those just coasting along. I hope you'll all support me. I'm confident I can lead the security department well. Thank you all. As soon as I finished, an elderly man started clapping first. Li Jiahao followed suit, and then everyone else joined in. Then I said to everyone, I'm so I need to excuse myself for a moment. Then I left the meeting room. Back in the office, I found 6 or 7 self-recommendation letters on the floor, all from guards wanting to be team leaders. As I was looking at the letters, Li Xia walked in, looking exhausted. Is the board meeting okay today? Li Xia forced a bitter smile and interrupted me. The board meeting is fine. Everyone approved of your ideas and supports what you're doing in the security department, but they only gave you a 1-month probation period. Whether you can seize it is up to you. I said softly, thank you for giving me this chance. If I ever deliver food to you again, I promise I won't sneak a bite. That earned me a big eye roll from Li Xia. Li Xia stayed in the office for about 10 minutes, chatted a bit, and then left. I organized the letters, locked the door, feeling full of passion, but also knowing the road ahead won't be easy. Back home, my second uncle called to ask about today's situation. After I told him the truth, he suggested I immediately sideline Chao Yue and cultivate the 3 team leaders as my own people. Give them enough authority so they can even counter Chao Yue. He explained that since I'm new and unfamiliar with the situation, giving the team leaders real power would make them value their jobs more. Qin Xiaojia's words woke me up. That night, I formulated a management plan. The next day at the company, I selected 3 team leaders. One team leader was Hida Zhuang. He's a veteran, and I was quite satisfied with him. In the afternoon, I held a full meeting. I announced the appointment of the 3 team leaders in front of Chao Yue, emphasizing that team members must unconditionally obey their leaders, and that team leaders would face double punishment for mistakes. Chao Yue immediately challenged me. Director Chen, do you even respect me at all? Such a big matter. Why didn't you discuss it with me? All the guards' eyes were on me. I smiled faintly. You're the deputy director. You should have discussed it with me first. If anyone has difficulties at work or in life, you can report directly to your team leader or to Director Chow. If they can't solve it, the team leader can also report it to me for resolution. This meeting is adjourned. Dismissed. Xiao Youwei's face turned green with anger. Afterwards, I went to Lu Xiaoru to apply for the uniform order costs. He told me it needed to go through the finance process. Once approved, I went to Guofeng Road to negotiate with the shop owner. The next day, the military supply store owner personally delivered the items with his staff. After checking the goods, I casually invited him to my office. He didn't stand on ceremony and followed me in, then actually locked the door. Two men locking the door in broad daylight? Is he gay? I was just wondering if he was gay when he pulled an envelope from his pocket and placed it on the table. Smiling sheepishly, Director Chen, please take this. What's this? The military supply store owner smiled and said, Director Chen, this is how it works. Small shop, thin profits. Please take care of us in the future. Next time, just inflate the invoice a bit and I can give you a bigger cut. I opened the envelope. Inside was a stack of 100 yuan bills. I couldn't help but be tempted. My father needs money for weekly dialysis. I used to deliver food from dawn to dusk. Never thought making money could be this easy. But inside, I was struggling. One voice told me to take it. It's an industry norm. Another voice warned me. Li Xia would be disappointed if she found out. After a long internal conflict, I decided to turn the money over to finance. Gaining trust is far more valuable than this 10,000 yuan. Just as I was about to leave, team leader He Dazhuang came and said the first team had gathered in the open space behind the hotel, ready to start the first training session. I had promised to participate, so I casually put the envelope in my drawer, put on my combat uniform, and rushed over. After training with them for half an hour, I dragged my tired body back to the office, lit a Hongtishan cigarette, and took a puff, but something felt off. I opened the drawer. The envelope with the money was gone. I checked repeatedly, but neither drawer had any trace of the envelope. The office door lock wasn't broken, and there were security bars on the windows. The only possibility was that someone else had an office key. A chill ran down my spine. I immediately contacted He Dazhuang and asked him to track the surveillance to see who had entered the office in the last half hour. But the camera in the meeting room had been covered with bubble gum by a guard months ago. In that half hour, 6 or 7 people had entered the meeting room. They were all suspects. Just then, Li Xia sent me a WeChat 60. I opened it and my scalp went numb. The 60 clearly showed the military supply store owner handing me the envelope, with the conversation crystal clear. My office had been bugged with a hidden camera, and I had no idea. Even more terrifying was Lu Xiaoru's call. She said angrily, you've gone too far. Taking kickbacks just 3 days into the job? Even if you're going to take them, can't you be more careful? Are you out of your mind? The 60 of you taking kickbacks has spread through all the company's department groups. What does Xia think? Do you have anything to say for yourself? I stood there stunned with a phone in hand, and quickly explained, Xiaoru, listen to me. I was planning to turn the money over to finance. Lu Xiaoru sneered. Do you really think I'd believe that? Suddenly, I felt how ridiculous my explanation was. If I were in her shoes, I wouldn't believe it either. Putting the money in the drawer and claiming you were going to turn it in? The call was angrily hung up. After seeing the 60 in the work group, I instantly understood everything. The office was left in awkward silence. I lit a cigarette, not wanting to explain anymore. Explaining was useless. Then the HR director walked into the office and directly informed me that I was fired. Kai reserved the right to pursue other legal actions. Fired on my 3rd day on the job. How ridiculous. Later, I sat dejectedly on the steps by the ancient town's pond, gulping down beer. Li Xia appeared behind me without me noticing. She sat down quietly beside me. You're not here to ask for that 10,000 yuan, are you? No, Li Xia explained. Work has been stressful lately. I used to lie near the ancient town with my mom. I often came here for walks with her. Today, I came to reminisce. I let you down, didn't I? I looked into the distance and said, I was planning to turn the money over to finance. Would you believe me? I laughed bitterly. Forget it. Who would believe that? Did you get the notice from HR? Li Xia asked softly. Det, I got it. I drank my beer. I also know it was Xiao Youwei who secretly filmed it. He also took the 10,000 yuan from the drawer. She answered very calmly. I also know he turned it over to the legal department. I laughed. So he's going to sue me for bribery? Chin Fen, Li Xia comforted me. I understand. You should try to look on the bright side. I laughed bitterly. How dramatic. I came in as the head of the security department, full of ambition to do a good job. And on the 3rd day, I'm fired for taking bribes. I know Xiao Youwei set me up. Who told me I was in his way? I thought I could make a difference, but I ended up screwing myself. Maybe, Li Xia said softly. You're too young. I wanted to give you a good job, but I never expected this. I stood up and said, this isn't your fault. It's mine for being too naive. Thank you for helping me out tonight. With that, I picked up my half-empty beer bottle and staggered toward the exit. I suddenly wanted to escape the city, but I didn't know where to go. As I walked outside, a little girl of about 6 or 7 came up to me, seeing how cute she was, and with nothing else to do, I bought her flowers and started chatting with her. She was with her grandmother. After talking with the old lady, I learned that her daughter and son-in-law had come to Kunming to work years ago and then lost contact. She had brought 3-year-old Nyo here to find them, and it had been 3 years now. They had slept on the streets until a flower field owner took them in, letting them lie in a mud hut to watch the fields, surviving by selling leftover flowers from a stall. The little girl was very well behaved and sensible. I talked with the grandmother and granddaughter until late. I felt so sorry for them. Compared to them, what reason did I have to be so pessimistic? I left them my contact information, planning to help them as much as I could. When I got home, Linny Fei was sitting on the sofa, dejected. It turned out she had quit her job. She couldn't stand the workplace harassment from her bot. I showed her a photo of Nyo and told her there she to read. She was touched and wanted to help Nyo and her grandmother with me. Then Li Jiahao called. Chin Fen, are you there? Come to Jinghua Fitness Center right now. Your second uncle and I are here. We need to talk. Come quickly. He joked, calling me his little brother, and Chen Xiaojia tried to take advantage of me. The call ended with laughter. I changed clothes and rushed to the fitness center. In the lounge, Chen Xiaojia was smoking silently. The guys from the last bar were chatting. Chen Xiaojia put out his cigarette and scolded me. Why didn't you tell me you were being set up? How many times have I told you? Call me if there's a problem. I didn't dare argue. I felt a bit embarrassed. Inihua tried to smooth things over. Xiaoj, go easy on him. Chen Fen didn't want to bother you. Chen Xiaojia stopped scolding and made a call. Come on up. Soon, a man walked in. Li Jiahao cursed. You bastard. You're here? Don't be mad. I didn't expect it to blow up like this. The man smiled apologetically. I looked up, and it was the owner of the Guofeng Road military supply store. When he saw me, he quickly said, Director Chen, I'm really sorry. That 10,000 yuan caused you so much trouble. Stop apologizing. Solving the problem is what matters, Qin Xiaojie said coldly. Let's lay out the plan. The owner pulled out a UET drive and placed it on the coffee table. WeChat chat logs and videos are all ready. Li Jiahao came up with a laptop. I was curious about what was on the UET drive. When I opened it, I was completely shocked. You can do it live this? The first file on the drive was a 2-minute 60-0. The military supply store owner spoke to the camera. A day ago, someone added me on WeChat and told me to give a 10,000 yuan kickback to Director Qin, or they'd return the goods. I thought it was Director Qin using a secondary Oatsao to ask for a kickback, so I did it. Later, when he was fired, I realized I had been set up. That WeChat Oatsao has blocked me. I have chat screenshots as proof. The screen switched to WeChat screenshots. The last one showed that I had been blocked. Li Jiahao explained. The profile picture on that WeChat Oatsao is Chao Yue's. The 60-0 in screenshots are meant to frame him. Chen Fen, you can go back to Dekai anytime. Chao Yue can't clear his name this time. You're really something, second uncle. I looked at him, knowing this was all his doing, but I had lost interest. Forget it, don't bother framing Chao Yue. I don't want to go back to Dekai either. That kind of backstabbing environment. My personality isn't suited for that job. You can find a job anywhere. What, are you scared? Chen Xiaojie demanded. In this society, no one sympathizes with the weak. If your name is Chen, you have to get back up where you fell. Our life philosophies are different. Don't force your ideas on me, I said bitterly. I just want to lie an ordinary life. I don't need great achievements. Chen Xiaojie was so angry he grabbed an ashtray to hit me. In Yihua and the other trainers quickly held him back. Chen Fen, stop talking. Your second uncle is furious. In Yihua pulled me aside. Let me take you to lunch. You haven't eaten, have you? Hurry, or I won't be able to hold second uncle back. Li Jiahao urged. In Yihua dragged me to a small restaurant. Lunch is very quiet. When we parted, In Yihua asked if I really wasn't going back to Dekai. I answered bluntly, not for now. Then Li Jiahao called. He said all the evidence was ready. What are you afraid of? I'm not afraid. I just don't like that kind of environment. Are you willing to be misunderstood? My sister has always doubted you, she said seriously. The fact is you took the 10,000 yuan. Who would believe you were going to turn it in? My sister didn't argue. She just thought 10,000 yuan was no big deal. You have no idea what she's really thinking. I was stunned. I had never considered that. My sister has it tough. There are too many shareholders. She's in a power struggle with my brother. She needs people she can trust around her. Li Jiahao continued. Think it over. I'm waiting for your word anytime. Chao Yue has to go. He's a threat to my sister. I didn't respond. I just said I needed a few days to think, to figure out what kind of life I wanted. In the evening, Lin Fei and I took flyers with Nyonyo and her grandmother's pictures, and found Nyonyo and her grandmother. Our plan was, helping them sell flowers is only temporary. The main goal is to help them find their family. Lin Fei crouched down and handed Nyonyo a flyer. Nyonyo, tonight we're giving away flowers. Tell people the flowers are free. We just want them to look at the flyer, take a photo and pot it on their moments, and take a picture of you. Got it? Nyonyo nodded firmly. After a night of effort, the results were obvious. Kind passersby spontaneously shared the pot on their moments, and posted videos of Nyonyo and her grandmother online. Many kind-hearted people also spontaneously offered to donate to Nyonyo. Since the old woman didn't have a smartphone, Lin Fei collected 3,000 yuan on her behalf. Afterward, she took out the money and gave it to the grandmother. We dreamed of the moment Nyonyo would be reunited with her parents, but instead, we received devastating news. A local lifestyle self-media Oatsao published an article, firmly claiming that Lin Fei had bribed Nyonyo and the old woman to scam money. Since Lin Fei was the one collecting the money, and her face was captured in the 60-0, while I was on the edge, only a blurry figure was visible. She became the target of public criticism. Not only was she doxxed, but her identity and job were also exposed. All I could do was keep comforting Lin Fei. Lin Fei sobbed in my arms and asked, Qin Fen, what is wrong with this society? Why is it so hard to do good deeds without expecting anything in return? It's okay. I comforted Lin Fei and said, let's go find Nyonyo and her grandmother. I wonder how they're doing. The truth will come out eventually. But as soon as we stepped out, we were treated like pariahs. Not only were we cursed at, some people even got physical. To protect Lin Fei, I was beaten until my mouth was bleeding. Lin Fei broke down crying. Lin Fei said she was tired. Can we go home? In the end, we didn't go find Nyonyo and them. So we both turned off our phones, as if that would make us disappear from the world. We tried everything. We posted clarification articles, and tried to place ads in the evening newspaper, but nothing worked. We sat on the sofa in despair. One day, several self-media journalists with cameras came to visit. After an interview and some questions, Lin Fei and I hoped they could help us clarify things. But what came was an even bigger nightmare. Around 3 in the afternoon, another public Oatsao published an article. That was even harder for us to accept. The article included a 60-0. The 60-0 was of the woman interviewing us, but it was entirely dubbed over. The footage was slightly pixelated. Viewers could only see that our mouths were moving under the pixelation, but the words were all dubbed. The dubbed content was actually that Lin Fei and I admitted to using Nyonyo's situation to scam money. We admitted that we knew the old woman didn't have WeChat, so we deliberately put on an act, using our own WeChat QR codes to collect payments. At the end of the 60-0, we were even apologizing to the public and begging for forgiveness. Even worse, in the second part of the article, there was another 60-0. It was an interview with the old woman and Nyonyo. They had no idea what was going on. Facing the camera, they kept saying words of thanks to Lin Fei and me. I could see through the screen that the old woman and Nyonyo were genuinely happy, speaking from the heart, thanking Lin Fei and me. These two videos formed a stark contrast, stirring up public emotions. The number of shares kept rising, but the content of the article was that Lin Fei and I had hidden the truth from Nyonyo and her grandmother, using their shittery for our own profit. What I found hardest to accept was that this public Oatsao, with over 30,000 followers, spread the news instantly. In just over an hour, the clicks had exceeded 100,000, and shares had also exceeded 100,000. The comments below were even more unbearable. Lin Fei's tears kept falling. She asked me quietly, Qin Fen, can you tell me what's wrong with this world? Why are they treating us like this? What did we do wrong? I was speechless. I held Lin Fei tightly in my arms, and comforted her, saying, wait, just wait. Things will get better. Lin Fei said softly, I'm a little tired. I want to go sleep for a while. I watched Lin Fei walk into the bedroom. Her back looked so lonely. In Iwa also called to comfort me, saying, your second uncle is already looking into it for me. This local public Oatsao is run by people from Kunming. They're just using this incident to stir up hype, to boost their own visibility. But what no one expected was that Lin Fei would end her pain in the simplest and most decisive way. When the police broke into the scene, I was in Lin Fei's room. That's when I found a suicide note left by Lin Fei. I wanted to take a look, but the police put it in a plastic bag. I was also taken away as a suspect. In the interrogation room, I told them everything I knew about Lin Fei and why he committed suicide. I told them everything. 2 hours passed without me realizing it. During those 2 hours, the police officer gave me his pack of cigarettes, and all also brought me a bottle of water. When I talked about why Lin Fei jumped, I choked up several times and couldn't continue. The female officer taking notes was also in tears. I don't want to sound overly dramatic, but this is the truth. Officer Qin Mu, who had been silent, handed me the finished statement. She choked up and said, "Take a look. If there's no problem, sign here at the bottom." I didn't carefully read what she wrote. I just signed my name at the bottom. Then I looked at the officer and said, "It's this local city public Oatsao that drove Lin Fei to suicide. The operator of this public Oatsao has an undeniable responsibility. Please, I beg you, clear his name." The female officer nodded. Then she took out her phone and handed it to me. She said to me, "I can't give you the original suicide note yet. I can only show you a photo of it." I took the officer's phone. I saw a letter on the screen. It was the suicide note Lin Fei left before jumping. After reading it, I learned how pitiful Lin Fei's background was. His father had an affair and abandoned the family. His mother couldn't bear it and passed away. At 16, he became a homeless child. After reading it, I was sobbing uncontrollably. I lay on the desk and cried uncontrollably. The phone in my hand fell to the ground. I didn't even notice. Officer Qin Mu bent down to pick up the phone and comforted me, saying, "Don't worry, I'll help you find them. The operators of those two public accounts. Give him justice." Justice, I roared. What's the point of talking about justice now? He's already dead. Why talk about justice? Where were you all earlier? After I realized I had lost my composure, I didn't say anything more. I looked into Qin Mu's eyes and said, "I want to go see Lin Fei, where he is. Trust me, you definitely don't want to see him lie that. Let the best memory of him stay in your heart. Why don't we do something else together? Didn't you say a self-media person came to your place today to interview you? I can help you find the operator of the public Oatsao." After some operations, he quickly found that the public Oatsao was registered under the name Zhu Dalong. The person who interviewed me and Lin Fei was him. Qin Mu continued operating the computer. Soon, he found that this local public Oatsao belonged to an advertising company, and the legal representative of this company was Tian Ifan. We continued searching for Tian Ifan in the police network. This time, the woman on the screen was the same woman who came to interview us today. If I hadn't controlled my emotions, I would have punched a hole in his screen. Then Qin Mu made a phone call. After confirming the location of their BMW X5 and the car's specific position, I shared the information I found with second uncle. Then I went with Qin Mu to their location. I didn't expect Qin Mu to help. She said Lin Fei was a kind girl. A girl lie that is heartbreaking. Qin Mu didn't want him to die with a tarnished name. On the way, Qin Mu said to me, "Hold me back. I'm worried I might do something extreme." This answer surprised me. Half an hour later, we found Tian Ifan's BMW X at the Star Bar. Qin Mu and I were looking for a parking spot, staring at the BMW, when Tian Ifan and Zhu Dalong appeared. My first reaction upon seeing them was to say to Qin Mu beside me, "Stop the car, they're right there." Qin Mu was calmer than me and said, "Why stop here? Just drive and block the front of his BMW. Are you afraid he'll run away?" Qin Mu drove straight towards the BMW. Suddenly, two beams of white light appeared directly in front, high beams that made it impossible to keep your eyes open. Then came the roar of an engine, and a sharp screech of brakes. The next second, I heard a scream. Then the car with the high beams flashed past us. The whole process took only 10 seconds. When that car left, and our vision returned to normal, we found that Tian Ifan and Zhu Dalong were both gone. Qin Mu and I were stunned. Two living people just vanished like that. Qin Mu quickly put the car in reverse, wanting to chase the car that had just sped past us. But after turning around, we couldn't even see its taillights. When we got out of the car, we saw two people lying on the ground. Zhu Dalong was lying by the roadside. He was still somewhat conscious. Tian Ifan was completely unconscious. This was a car accident witnessed by many people, and the driver had fled the scene. I didn't expect second uncle to take revenge for me in this way. I was shocked, but I felt this didn't equate to Lin Fei's death. Just then, Qin Mu asked to track my phone. She suspected I had arranged all this. I held my phone tightly and said, "You don't have the right to track my personal belongings. Besides, a phone is a person's privacy." As we argued, a familiar voice sounded in my ear. Qin Mu and I turned around at the same time. Li Xia appeared beside us with several people. She said very politely to Qin Mu, "I'm Li Xia, General Managio of Dekai International Hotel. Qin Fen is one of our Dekai people. I want to take him back to the company. There's something I need to handle." Qin Mu looked a bit foolish, stubbornly raising her head. She emphasized to Li Xia, "He is currently a suspect. He must come back to the police station with me." Li Xia's lips curled slightly. She exuded a strong aura and asked, "Can a suspect be taken out of the police station at will? And who are you? What is your identity?" Qin Mu immediately realized Li Xia was deliberately provoking her. She changed her tone and said, "I am following orders to take the suspect on a mission. You can track my identity. I am a police officer. What right does a police officer have to detain a citizen arbitrarily? Citizens have personal freedom. I suggest you first communicate with our company's legal counsel. Do you think that's necessary?" Qin Mu was so angry she couldn't speak. This was also the first time I saw Li Xia speak to someone in that tone. I had heard from Li Jiahao before that his sister was someone who never showed her emotions. She was very deep. Today, I finally saw it for myself. Qin Mu seemed a bit naive. Besides having a bold and straightforward personality, she really had no depth. Li Xia looked at me and said, "Qin Fen, come back with me first. Let the company's lawyers handle any issues with them." Qin Mu shouted from behind, "Qin Fen, I know I can't stop you, but can you promise me, if I need you in the next couple of days, can you come to the police station immediately to cooperate? We won't take up too much of your time. Keeping you at the guest house is also to protect you." Indeed, from the police station until now, Qin Mu had been good to me, including using her own methods to find Zhu Dalong and the others. I looked at Qin Mu and nodded. "Don't worry. Call me when you need my cooperation. I'll come anytime." After getting in the car, I realized Li Jiahao was driving. Lu Xiaoru was sitting in the passenger seat. Li Xia and I sat in the back. Seeing me get in, Li Jiahao leaned his head over. He said excitedly, "Qin Fen, didn't expect that, huh? It was second brother who did it, of course. I didn't expect second brother to be so clean and efficient. I was thinking about how to beat him up. Didn't expect that. Drive." Li Xia said to Li Jiahao, "Drop us off. Qin Fen and I need to talk alone in the hotel suite." Only Li Xia and I were left in the huge room. Li Xia placed a glass of water in front of me. "Drink some water first. I've heard about what happened these past few days. I'll use all my connections to help clear your name. The truth doesn't matter anymore." I looked out the window and said to Li Xia, "Even if everyone realizes they were wrong, for Lin Fei, There's no way to save him. I smiled bitterly. I've come to see many things differently. What does it matter if others misunderstand me? Li Xia listened to me and said, Qinfen, don't be like this. I know you're in pain right now. If it were me, I would be very sad too. Cheer up. I don't know how to comfort you, but no matter what, I will do my best to help you. I looked at Li Xia and asked, why are you helping me? We're just acquaintances. Li Xia shook her head and looked at me. I don't know. Maybe it's a feeling of familiarity. Rest here tonight. I have a meeting early tomorrow morning. Get some sleep. Watching Li Xia leave the room, I took out my phone. I deleted a few messages between me and second uncle on WeChat. I lay in bed, wanting to fall asleep early, but I couldn't sleep at all, so I decided to go home. When I got back, I found Lin Yifei's room was sealed. I found a bag of rice in the kitchen and put it in a pot. I stuck 3 cigarettes in front of his door. Late at night, Qinmu called. Zhu Dalong filed a report. He suspects the car accident was caused by you. I need you to come back for investigation. I sneered. When the accident happened, I was in your car, and you were driving. And you still need to investigate. Qinmu shouted angrily. I even suspect you're involved. You said you'd come anytime. Are you coming yourself, or should we come to your place and take you back to the station? Qinmu was drinking coffee in the duty room. 2 officers from the North City Police Station were with him. These 2 want to ask you some questions. No need for a statement, one officer said. Zhu Dalong said you threatened him. I denied it, saying, heaven is watching. Why weren't you hit by a car and killed? That's not illegal, is it? Then I told them everything about Zhu Dalong and Tian Ifen's malicious interview. That led to Lin Yifei's suicide. Finally, I joked, maybe it's Lin Yifei's ghost seeking revenge. Qinmu interjected, I can testify. At the time of the incident, he was in my car. I was moved by their shitari. I took him to North City for fish without authorization. We happened to run into Zhu Dalong and the others. Ghost revenge is nonsense. It was just a coincidence. The officer said, you have a motive. We can't rule out that you instructed someone else. We'll need your continued cooperation. Contact me anytime. After that, I invited Qinmu for a late night snack. We talked a lot. He was really a good person. He had suspected me, but he still helped me. After the meal, Qinmu arranged for me to stay at the guest house. The next day, Qinmu's urgent knocking woke me up. Last night, we posted Lin Yifei's suicide note online. Today, the Times also reported it. Provincial and city TV stations are paying attention. Get ready to face the reporters. Nonyo and Grandma are also here. Nonyo and Grandma are very sad. They kept crying when they saw me. Then Grandma knelt in front of the media with her ID card. She told the whole shitari of how I and Lin Yifei helped them. The truth finally came out. Since we couldn't contact Lin Yifei's father or relatives, the police department helped organize his funeral. I wanted to store his ashes at the crematorium, but I really couldn't afford a grave. In the end, Nonyo's grandmother buried him in the family ancestral grave. She adopted him as her grandson. 3 days later, Qinmu asked to meet me. He told me Tian Ifen didn't survive and died. He asked me again if I had anything to do with it. I pretended to be calm and retorted, do you solve cases by coaxing and bluffing? Qinmu said expressionlessly, tell the driver to lay low for a while. The car's trajectory has been retrieved. If we keep investigating, we'll find him. Then he got up and left. I was torn about whether to tell second uncle to run. I was also afraid Qinmu was testing me. After thinking it over, I decided to go to the fitness center to talk to him face to face. I told him the news that Tian Ifen had died in the hospital. He was unusually calm. I lowered my voice and told him to lay low for a few days. Second uncle remained silent. I reminded him that I was already under suspicion. The police might follow the trail and find you. He lit a cigarette and sat in the rest area, silent. It was clear he was also a bit scared. After all, someone had died. How did you become a suspect? He asked. I called you to report. Qinmu found Tian Ifen's whereabouts. He suspected I leaked the information. That night, he wanted to track my phone. Luckily, Li Xia showed up in time. Today, he told me Tian Ifen was dead. He told me to tell the driver to lay low. The surveillance has already tracked the car's route. Second uncle looked up at me. His eyes were full of confusion. He didn't know it was you. He just told me to pass on the message. Second uncle finished his cigarette, stood up, and said, don't worry. At worst, it's a hit and run. It's not a death sentence. They might not even find me. I called him out. Actually, you know they'll find you eventually, right? He glanced at me. Don't worry about it. Find a stable job. Make more money to treat your father. I said 5,000 yuan home the day before yesterday. If I really go in, the burden of making money will fall entirely on you. Watching his back, pretending to be relaxed, I suddenly felt like crying. Life has never been gentle with anyone, but we still have to grit our teeth and endure. Mo Shaoji ordered in a low voice, be a man. What's the point of getting teary-eyed all the time? That Santana had fake plates. I was also wearing a mask. Whether they find me depends entirely on whether that female officer Qinmu snitches. I looked up and asked, is she important? For now, only he can connect you to leaking my whereabouts. Second uncle analyzed calmly. What do you think are the chances he'll pursue this? I don't know. I lit a cigarette and took a drag. I haven't known him long, but I can tell he has a sense of justice. He's straightforward. Second uncle was silent for a moment. He stood up and said, go do your thing. Call your parents more often. He said it lightly, but it felt like he was saying goodbye. That day, I received a call from Qinmu at the station. He said Nonyo's father had been found, but the bad news was, he didn't want to acknowledge Nonyo as his daughter. Nonyo's mother was still missing. We've notified them to come to the station for a meeting. I'm worried it might get unpleasant. Very unpleasant. Come over if you have time. After all, you did the most. Half an hour later, I arrived at the police station. A flashy red BMW X6 was parked at the entrance. Qinmu introduced it as Deng Qiming's car. He was Nonyo's father. A guy driving a BMW X6. How could he let his daughter suffer like this? It's a long shitari. The political commissar is trying to talk some sense into him. Qinmu said, the colleagues picking up Nonyo and Grandma are almost here. Let's go to the director's office. What we didn't expect was, when Nonyo and Grandma arrived, Deng Qiming was extremely cold. The old woman looked at Deng Qiming. Suelon? Where is Suelon? Deng Qiming sighed. Mom, Suelon and I divorced 3 years ago. Didn't you know? The old woman was completely stunned. We were all shocked too. Deng Qiming continued with a grim face. We divorced by mutual agreement 3 years ago. Suelon got custody of Nonyo. He took out the divorce certificate and put it on the table. We haven't been in touch since the divorce. I thought she was doing well with you and Nonyo. I didn't expect. He grabbed a tissue. He wiped the corner of his eye. How did this happen? The old woman stared blankly, repeating, where did Suelon go? How could there be no news for 3 years? After that, Deng Qiming took Nonyo away. Grandma also left. At noon, Li Xia suddenly invited me to lunch. She said she wanted to talk about her brother. Li Xia picked up the red wine and poured it. She asked casually, Qin Xiaojie is your relative? You call him second uncle. He's my grandfather's adopted son. Do you know what he usually does? I suddenly realized she probably knew something. Thinking back to the night of the accident, she and Li Jiahao happened to be there. Was that really just a coincidence? I took a breath and looked at Li Xia. Just say what you want to talk about. It's nothing really. I just want to know more about Qin Xiaojie. Li Xia smiled faintly. Jiahao and I lost lost our parents early. I haven't cared for him enough. He's been getting close to Qin Shaojie lately. I want to indirectly understand his character. I was silent for a few seconds. Don't worry, Qin Shaojie's character is fine. He just has a bit of a gangster vibe. Li Xia raised her glass and clinked it with mine. She asked casually, has Qin Shaojie been to prison? For what? It wasn't for hitting someone with a car, was it? That sentence hit my most sensitive nerve. I stared into her eyes. She looked back without flinching. Her eyes seemed to force me to confess. I took out a cigarette and lit it, using the action to breathe. Det, he's been to prison more than once. He was a regular at the police station in school. A few years ago, he got 6 months for fighting. I've never heard of him going to prison for a car accident. Eat something. Li Xia changed the subject at the right time. This place has great grilled fish. She paused, then said, Jia Hao is my only family. I don't want him to get into trouble. Can you talk to Qin Shaojie? Don't involve Jia Hao in his business. I understood. I looked down, not wanting to look at her. Her face, though beautiful, felt unfamiliar to me. Qin Fen, you don't have a job yet, do you? Do you want to come back to Dekai? No need. I interrupted her. Lini Fei's matter is over. The landlord took back the house. I need to find a place to stay first, then find a job nearby. The meal was very oppressive. After the meal, I declined. The drivers offered to take me. I called second uncle. I asked him how many people knew about the accident that night. Why were Li Jiahao and Li Xia nearby? Qin Shaojie didn't want to say at first. Only under my insistence did he confess. When I called him, he was practicing kickboxing with Li Jiahao. When he went out, Li Jiahao followed him in his car. Li Jiahao lost him when they got to North City. While searching, he happened to witness the accident. Li Xia came to pick up Li Jiahao for dinner and also saw the scene. She must have guessed the truth long ago. She just didn't say anything. I realized Li Xia was also in the know. But unlike Qin Mu, she didn't have a strong sense of justice. She just didn't want Qin Shaojie to influence Li Jiahao. So I wasn't worried she would report it. In the afternoon, with Lu Chang's help, I moved to the second floor of a bar in Guandu ancient town. There was a small yard in the back. Coming out the back door of the bar, there was a winding staircase. The landlord was Old Joe. The bar on the first floor was also his. But business was terrible. I had just taken a shower and was about to rest when an unknown number called. It was the police, asking me to go to the station for investigation. Still about the car accident. At the North City police station, the officer showed me Zhu Dalong's report. You made threatening remarks to Zhu Dalong at the scene. Det, I admitted. He maliciously slandered me and Lini Fei. The car accident was just physical harm. He trampled on our reputation. He hurt our hearts. I had to say some harsh words to feel better. How long after the accident did you arrive at the scene? 1 minute or 2? I can't remember. I heard someone shout and went to see what happened. Where were you before the accident? In Qinmu's car. We're looking for parking nearby. Why are we nearby? After Lini Fei jumped, Qinmu wouldn't let me see his body. Said he'd take me for barbecue to distract me. You were with Qinmu when it happened. He was driving. You sat in the car, muttered something to the officer. Got up, said thanks for cooperating, keep in touch. Any plans to travel far recently? I can't leave Kunming. Not just asking. Walked out of the station. I didn't leave right away. Felt Qinmu would come. Half-hour later, he drove up. I hid in the shadows. Looked up. Saw cameras everywhere. Saw all the cameras around. I panicked. Mind went blank. Go out to see Qinmu or keep hiding? After a few seconds, I decided not to show. If I came out, the cops would think I was colluding. Checking footage, they'd see I hadn't left. I watched Qinmu walk into the station. Prayed he wouldn't slip up. Heart racing. If our stories about the North trip didn't met, it'd be a disaster. I even thought of running, but didn't know where to go. 40 minutes later, Qinmu came out and got in the car. My phone rang right then. I saw you. You're in the car. I spoke first. You didn't leave, he asked. I thought they'd call you in too, so I waited. You're nervous. What do I have to be nervous about? Just curious. Drop it. Go to the next intersection and wait. I'll pick you up. Qinmu hung up. I was nervous, but didn't want to show weakness in front of her. Bought 2 Cokes before getting in the car, trying to distract him. A few minutes later, Qinmu drove up. I took a deep breath, got in, handed him a Coke. I know you prefer Coke, right? Qinmu rolled his eyes and took the Coke. Getting in my car, you need to psych yourself up? That's a sign of guilt. I was speechless for a moment. A detective's sensitivity is really something else. You know it. Girls being too sensitive isn't good. I pretended to be calm. Saw the news the other day. A guy had lipstick on his shirt. His wife made him kneel on a keyboard. It was just from a crowded bot. So unfair. Don't change the subject. Why are you nervous? I'm not. Qinmu was too hard to fool. Seeing me deny it, he sneered. During the questioning, they asked why I went north. They asked you that too, right? What did you say? I pressed eagerly. Said you weren't nervous? Qinmu countered. You called someone with the last 4 digits 4,400 for 3 minutes. I checked. You investigated me? Nonsense, he said loudly. If I don't trek, how do I explain? You think denying it means I know nothing? That's my second uncle's number. With something this big happening, what's wrong with calling him? I raised my voice to hide my nerves. Qinmu looked at me contemptuously. If I wanted to trek, I'd have verified the owner long ago. They asked why I went north. I said to eat. I was the one who took you. Did they ask what you wanted to eat? They did. I said I didn't remember the exact place. Just said there's good food up north. I patted my chest. Good thing I said it was to eat barbecue and relax. Qinmu smiled smugly. So you admit it? Don't try to trick me. He smiled even brighter. Qin Fen, don't lie to me. I'm a cop. But my sense of justice is based on morality, not the law. Zhu Dalong and Tian Ifan deserve to die. They wronged Lini Fei, profiting from others' pain. They only hurt more people alive. I had to reassess Qinmu. His words moved me, and made me het pie for Lini Fei. I might need your help soon. He changed the subject. I looked into Deng Qiming and the missing Suelon. Found a lot of suspicious points. Suelon's disappearance and their divorce are both strange. You say it, I'll go all out. Deng Qiming's current wife, Deng Jing, is Dekai's finance director. You're close with Dekai's GM. Can you trek his work and marriage from the inside? If it's too much trouble, forget it. Oko, wait for my news. This isn't hard. Since the car accident wasn't over, I wasn't looking for a job either. When old Joe had business, I'd help out. Earn some living expenses part-time. The next day, I met Li Xia at the bar. Planned to talk about Deng Jing's matter. You know about Nyo from the other day, right? Her biological father, Deng Qiming, is Deng Jing's current husband. What does that have to do with Nyo? 3 years ago, Deng Qiming and his wife Suelon came to Kunming for work, got divorced. Then Suelon disappeared. Deng Qiming said she ran off with a rich guy, just wanted Nyo. Li Xia frowned. You mean Suelon had divorce on her mind all along? Used buying a house as an excuse, got divorced, then ran off. I was startled. Li Xia caught the deeper meaning. Women are indeed sensitive. Probably that. I poured a cup of coffee. Deng Qiming disappeared for 3 years. Now drives a million yuan BMW X6. His rise must be linked to Deng Jing. Deng Jing is your company's finance director. Don't you find that suspicious? That doesn't prove she abused her power. Too hasty. We'll only know after checking. I pretended to be calm. I want to investigate them, not just because of Deng Jing, but also because Suelon's been missing for 3 years. How could a mother not contact her daughter and mother for 3 years? The other day, the whole feed was about Nyo. She couldn't have missed it. Li Xia took a sip of red wine. I understand what you mean. How do you want me to cooperate, Qin Fen? I know what you're thinking. He said casually. The company's a mess now. Li Quanming and I are at odds, fighting openly and secretly. My dad left the company to me, not just out of guilt, but because Li Quanming has character issues, keeps mistresses, gambles. The shareholders all know. Recently, Hoteo complaints are increasing. Service supplies are subpar. Li Quanming handles procurement. Deng Jing, as finance, you want to track her. I support you. Need the financial statements for the last few months. I'll send them to you privately. Every big expense goes through Deng Jing. I asked naively. All expenses are recorded in finance, just allocated to different departments. He was very sure. Then give me 3 months worth first. I paused, took a small sip of coffee. Actually, I suspect Nyo's biological mother was killed by Deng Qiming. Li Xia nodded slightly. Go ahead and track. I support you. You did a good job reorganizing Dekai's security department. The guard's image improved a lot. If only you hadn't left in a huff. Jiahao must have told you too. I smiled bitterly and shook my head. A place full of scheming isn't for me. That's how the workplace is. It's all about perspective. He emphasized. No, Tim is trouble-free. People interacting always cause friction. Accumulated emotions need an outlet. I talked with Li Xia for a long time. She has unique insights on issues, especially in corporate management. Winning shareholder support isn't just because of her father. The next morning, Li Xia sent an IMEO. It had Dekai's 3-month financial statements. Total nearly 200 million. Monthly net profit about 30 million. Daily revenue over 1 million. She sent a separate WeChat. This statement can't be shared too much. You know, if it gets out, I'll be in trouble. Then I contacted Qinmu. I got Dekai's 3-month financial statements. Every transaction was confirmed by Deng Jing. Useful for you? Awesome. Send it to me now. I'll look right away. Qinmu said excitedly. Wait, I reminded him. This statement is for your eyes only. If it leaks, the person who provided it will be attacked. He's helping out of sympathy for Nyo. We can't screw him over. Don't worry. I know what to do. Let's meet up and discuss. He hung up. I forwarded the IMEO to Qinmu. He has a sense of justice beyond professional ethics. Doesn't follow the rules, but doesn't cross moral lines. I trust him. At noon, I had lunch with Qinmu. He said he found in Dekai's financial statements that they spend tens of millions monthly on consumables like alcohol and cigarettes. Qinmu paused deliberately. Guess what I found? What? The supplier for Dekai's alcohol and cigarettes is the same. The owner behind it is Deng Qiming. I instantly understood Deng Qiming's motive for revenge. That's not the key. Qinmu took out a notebook and opened it. Deng Qiming owns several companies, all with complaints and reports. One alcohol company was shut down 2 years ago, but Dekai was still ordering from it then. Tell Li Xia this information. She'll thank you. I didn't know how to bring it up. You won't even take a chance to suck up to her. Qinmu rolled his eyes. I need to keep investigating. Deng Qiming's first company was registered 3.5 years ago. That was before he divorced Suelon. Even though I was mentally prepared, Qinmu's words still shocked and saddened me. Maybe it's for the sake of tainted lot. In my heart, lot means sharing hardships, never abandoning each other. Qin Fen, I know you don't want to accept this guess, but we have to face the facts. Qinmu sighed. I've given up looking for Suelon. I'm focusing on verifying Qiming. Once I have solid evidence, let's see what he says. It's just a pity for Nyo. What else do you need me to do? I asked gloomily. Not for now. Contact me if something comes up. He reminded. Tell Li Xia what I found. Let her be prepared. It's a favor. After that, I called Li Xia, told her about Deng Jing abusing her power. She was unusually calm, just asked if I could find more evidence. I was about to call Qinmu for help. Li Jiahao called. His tone was furious. Qin Fen, what are you doing? If you're Fry, come help me out. I'm going to kill him today. Who pissed you off? Come with me to fight. If something happens, I'll take the blame. I'll send you the location. Take a cab. I've got the gear ready. After failing to talk him out of it, I rushed over. When I arrived, there were already a few guys around Jiahao's age waiting. Handed me a steel pipe. Those bastards are in the bar, waiting for one more person, then we go in. Don't go easy. This won't kill anyone. I waved the pipe. It was light. Couldn't really hurt anyone. Jiahao, what's going on? Can't we settle it? His tone was firm. We have to do it. I couldn't argue further. A few minutes later, 2 more came. The 6 of us walked into the bar. Around 8 or 9 p.m., the college bar was packed. We drew everyone's attention as we entered. A table in the corner with 4 guys and 3 girls stood up. Get them. Go, Li Jiahao shouted, charging ahead. We followed with steel pipes. The fight was one-sided. The outcome was the same. We were caught by the district police, handcuffed, sitting in a row in the interrogation room. The one who earlier boasted he'd take the blame, Li Jiahao, was now completely deflated. After a quick investigation, the officer said, each of you fined 500 yuan. Notify your families to come get you. Next time, it'll be detention. Officer, we know we were wrong. I'll pay the fine. Can you not notify our parents? My parents are dead. Li Jiahao said quickly. The officer scolded. How can you say that? Have some filial piety for your parents. I'm not lying. Check for yourself. The officer checked and found his parents had indeed passed away. Their household registration was cancelled. With no choice, I called Shin Cheng. I'd just gotten home. Li Xia stormed in, furious. This was the first time I saw her angry. What the hell are you doing? Didn't I warn you? Don't lead Jiahao astray. I was dumbfounded, staring at her as she grilled me. What do you mean by not saying anything? Why did you take Jiahao to fight and get caught by the police station? Are you going to deny this happened? No. I was about to retort. Li Jiahao rushed over and stood in front of me. Sis, don't be like this. This is between us men. Don't get involved. It's right to help a brother out. Blame me if you want. Li Xia's face turned pale with anger. The atmosphere was awkward. Li Xia was fuming. Li Jiahao looked indifferent. So I was a bit impulsive. Shouldn't have brought Jiahao along. I apologize to you. This won't happen again. Qin Fen, Li Jiahao looked at me with gratitude, but only said my name. Please, you and your family and friends, stay away from my brother from now on. Li Xia shouted loudly. You're not worthy to be friends with my brother. She grabbed Li Jiahao and warned him not to hang out with us anymore. Sis. Li Jiahao shook off her hand. You're going too far. How can you talk about others like that? I knew if we kept arguing, Li Jiahao would spill the truth. I quickly called out to him. Jiahao, don't argue with your sister. Listen to her. Go back first. Chen Fen, I raised my hand to stop him. Go back. 2 days later, Qin Mu brought the second investigation report. I was shocked. He'd checked all companies registered under Deng Qiming, including those under relatives' names. All shell trading companies. These companies specialized in hotel supplies. With Deng Jing's help, Deng Qiming sold cheap goods to Dekai. Each company did just one deal, made money and disappeared. When Dekai found the goods substandard, they couldn't find anyone and had to restock at high prices. And his next company would pop up to scam more money. In 3 years, he'd set up 6 such companies. Don't you owe me a meal? Qin Mu looked at me smugly. Give this to Li Xia. She'll owe you one. What do you want to eat? Forget the meal. Help me with something in a few days. Qin Mu gave a sly smile. My parents are pushing me to find a boyfriend. You can play the part temporarily. Just one meal. My mom's easygoing. My dad's a bit strict. Don't be nervous. I pursed my lips. Though it was pressure, it was just a meal with elders. I had no choice but to agree. That night, I took the evidence Qin Mu gave me on Deng Qiming and Deng Jing stealing from Dekai, photographed it, and sent it to Li Xia. I didn't want thanks. Just hoped she'd go easy on me. Don't expose my second uncle. After she scolded him last time, we hadn't been in touch. Only Li Jiahao sent me a few heartfelt messages. I sent the info. She didn't reply. I lay in bed smoking, worried about my second uncle. Almost out of cigarettes. My mom called. She rarely calls, afraid of the phone bill. Mom, why are you calling? She pretended to be casual. How's the part-time job going? Pretty good. Busy means more money. Don't overwork. Be safe. She paused. Tomorrow, your dad needs dialysis. I sold the hen that lays eggs. If you want eggs, buy your own. Choose clear, fresh ones. Hearing her words, my heart ached. Mom, I got a bonus a few days ago. I was named an outstanding employee. Got 2,000 yuan. I made an excuse. I'll send it to you tomorrow. I'll get paid at the end of the month. Then I'll come home to see you and Dad. She started crying as she spoke, muttering about holding me back, feeling sorry for me. My heart felt heavier. After that, I went to the gym to see my second uncle and mooch a meal. Li Jiahao was there every day. His body was getting more toned. When he saw me, he insisted on taking the private trainers to the bar. Enihua thought it was too noisy, suggested eating barbecue and drinking beer on the street. At the night market stall, the 7 or 8 of us ordered 2 cases of beer. Halfway through the meal, over 20 people with sticks surrounded us. The leader was the guy from the college bar. We'd beaten up. It's fine. Step aside. I'm here for him today. He pointed at Li Jiahao. Everyone's eyes fell on my second uncle. Li Jiahao stood up and cursed. Think you're top with numbers? Fight me one-on-one. So many of you, bullying the few of us. The other guy said arrogantly, who dares to meddle? My second uncle stood up. Buddy, let's back off. Settle this over drinks. How about it? The guy walked to the table and poured a beer, sneered at Li Jiahao. Kneel and drink this. Then we're even. Li Jiahao immediately started cursing. The beer was splashed right in his face. Li Jiahao grabbed a bottle to fight back. The others raised their steel pipes. A brawl was about to break out. Li Jiahao chickened out and didn't swing. Duan Wentao got even cockier, stuck out his head and pointed at it. Come on, hit me here. I've been planning this for a while. Tomorrow, I'll show the 60-0 to Xiaoqin. Let her see how pathetic you are. And you think you can compete with me for a girl? You orphan piece of trash. Beating you up is just the first step. Your sister's Dekai chairman days are numbered. Kneel and beg me today, and maybe I'll have my dad keep supporting her. The crowd laughed. Li Jiahao's face turned pale, hands shaking. There were 5 of us men. I'm useless in a fight, and he was scared. Only my second uncle and 2 others were left, but they had over 20. Mentioning Li Xia, Li Jiahao finally backed down. I give up. I'll kneel. His legs buckled. My second uncle grabbed his shoulder with his left hand, picked up a beer bottle with his right, and smashed it straight on Duan Wentao's head. I thought my second uncle would mellow with age. Didn't expect him to be crazier than before. The bottle shattered. He lunged forward, kicked Duan Wentao 3 meters away. The other 20 plus surrounded us with pipes. At first, they were cocky with numbers, but when someone got hit and ran, their morale collapsed, and they all fled. I was completely stunned. Enihua and the 2 female trainers didn't fight or intervene, only handed out tissues after they all run off. Li Jiahao's face was a mix of joy and worry. Duan Wentao was the son of a Dekai shareholder. He feared his actions would implicate Li Xia. That's why he backed down earlier. Fighting meant getting caught. Second uncle, let's go first. He'll stay here and wait for the cops. Second brother, I'll take the blame. Li Jiahao stepped forward. Second brother, go quickly. Enihua urged. He knew my second uncle couldn't go to the station now. No need. My second uncle lit a cigarette. Jiahao and I will stay. The rest of you go. What's meant to be will be. Chen Fen, you go too. Don't worry your parents. He waved me off impatiently. Go. Enihua grabbed me and hailed attack 11. Went to Shijiqing Day at Qinyuan. This is a high-end neighborhood, completely different from Dianqi Spring. At Enihua's villa, I saw the Santana in the garage. Always felt it was unlucky. Upstairs was full of Qin Xiaojia's stuff. Clearly, they'd been living together. Late at night, I covered my face with a scarf, drove the Santana straight to the abandoned dam by Dianqi Lake, released the handbrake and pushed the car. It slowly sank into the water. The water here was deep enough to swallow it. I got home at 3 a.m. Enihua was still waiting in the living room. How did it go? Did anyone see you? He asked worriedly. I shook my head. Has Qin Xiaojia contacted you? You're worried about the car accident too, right? Enihua nodded. I'm really uneasy. Feel like something's about to happen. Intuition isn't scientific, but it's terrifyingly accurate. After a restless night, the next morning, Enihua took me to the police station, trying to rescue second uncle's family, but the officer told us Li Jiahao had already been released after his family paid the fine. But second uncle was taken away for questioning about a car accident from 2 weeks ago. I panicked instantly. What I feared came true. Why suddenly link the accident to Qin Xiaojia? I called Li Jiahao 3 times in a row. All went to voicemail. Enihua stood beside me. Jiahao said he only has his sister as family. You know her, right? Call and ask what's going on. We can't just wait here doing nothing. She was calmer than before. No matter the outcome, we have to face it and find a way to solve it. I dialed Li Xia's number. First call, no answer. Second call, Xiaoru picked up. Don't call General Manajio Li anymore. She said she doesn't want to talk to you. I won't bother her. I just want to know about Li Jiahao. Why was he released? But second uncle got dragged into something else. Before Xiaoru could say more, Li Xia took the phone. I warned you. Don't let second uncle take Jiahao on wild adventures. Since you won't listen, I'll use my own methods to stop it. Then she hung up. I cursed at the phone, but it was useless. What's going on? Enihua asked urgently. I suspect Li Xia reported Xiaojia for the hit and run. We're in big trouble. I dialed a third time as I spoke. Li Xia still wouldn't answer. Enihua left with a word. I'll figure something out, and walked off alone. I already had an answer in my heart, but I still clung to a sliver of hope. I decided to go to Dekai and ask face to face. I snuck into Dekai Lai. I knew the place. Pushed open the door to Li Xia's office. I rushed to her desk and slammed my hand down. Tell me, what exactly did you say? Li Xia looked dead serious. Li Xia said, I can tolerate anything, except Jiahao going down the wrong path. He's my only brother. My mom's dying wish was for me to take care of him. If anything happens to him, I can't face our deceased parents. And I can't face my own future. What about my second uncle? I asked, holding back tears. He stood up for Jiahao and got beaten, and now he's being reported by his own people, risking his life. Did you think about him? Was he really wrong? Do you even know what happened? Doesn't your conscience ache when you report him? Li Xia avoided my gaze, staring into the distance. I don't want to know. I just want Jiahao to have a good environment to grow up in. That's all. Tears finally streamed down her face. I raised my finger at her, stepping back as I spoke. I hope your conscience doesn't ache when you learn the truth. I turned and left the office. The pain and despair inside me were indescribable. This rainy, sweltering summer and autumn drenched my youthful years. I thought of Lin Fei again. The road ahead is still long. How do I stay strong? Enihua called me. Her tone was urgent. Qin Fen, give me your address. Turn off your phone now and don't contact anyone. Wait for me to break free and bring people to find you. Remember, don't let the authorities find you before that, especially the police. If they can't find you, they can't make you give a statement. Don't say the wrong thing to them. I held the phone and asked, when will you come find me? Who will you bring? Should I turn off my phone now? Enihua added, my family's lawyer will meet you later. He said to turn off your phone first. My family's lawyer? I was a bit stunned. Enihua's background seemed unusual. When Enihua arrived, she brought a man in a gray suit, carrying a briefcase, middle-aged. Call him Uncle Zhou, Enihua said. This is lawyer Zhou Guofa. We can fully trust him. Hello, Uncle Vo. Sorry for the trouble. Don't be formal, we're family. Zhou Guofa sat down and said, I need to know everything to handle the upcoming charges. Did you call Chen Xiaojie the night of the accident? I nodded. Det, I told him the victim would be there. I just wanted him to beat that guy up. I didn't expect. Uncle Zhou raised his hand to slow me down. Did you call Chen Xiaojie that night? What did you say? Do you know how to answer that now? It hit me. Did second uncle really hit someone with the car? Did you see him chase? I shook my head. You didn't see it yourself, and no one told you. Why assume he was involved just because he was at the scene? Where was Xiaojie that night? You don't really know, do you? You didn't meet him, right? Chen Fen, accusations without evidence don't hold up. Enihua said from the side. Uncle Vo has been a lawyer for over 20 years, with a 99% win rate. With him, Xiaojie will be cleared. Just stay calm. I nodded firmly. I get it. I know what to say and what not to. Halfway through dinner, the police showed up. No doubt it was about second uncle. During the questioning, the officer was stern. You know why you're here, right? Confession brings leniency. Resistance brings severity. Your accomplice has already confessed. Think carefully about what you say. I said everything I needed to in previous sessions. Nothing to add. Don't be stubborn. I haven't done anything that needs leniency. I remembered Uncle Zhou's words. The officer couldn't get anything out of me. Told me to keep my phone on. It was dark when I left. My heart was full of anxiety. If both Chen Xiaojie and I get arrested, who will pay for my dad's dialysis? The burden on my shoulders was suffocating. The next day, Li Jiahao, missing for 2 days, suddenly appeared. He knelt down in front of me with a thud. Crying, wanting to explain. I held him up. I know you're loyal and caring. This has little to do with you. Don't take it to heart. Chen Fen, forgive my sister. She was too worried about me. Afraid second uncle would lead me astray. She was a mess, crying and sniffling, but I didn't expect her to be so selfish. She locked me up for 2 days. I just had a huge fight with her. Take me with you. I'll follow you. I don't want to go home and see her. Help me out. I patted his shoulder. Told him to ask Li Xia to meet and clear things up. At Li Jiahao's living room. Li Xia was already waiting. Fruit and coffee on the table. Qin Fen, make yourself at home, Li Jiahao said. I sat across from Li Xia, staring at her without a word. Her face was full of guilt. I'm so Jiahao told me the whole shittery. I didn't know it was lie this. We both liked Xiaoqing. Li Jiahao added from the side. Last time I took you to the bar to hit him. That was about this. His father threatened my sister, saying I was causing trouble. Or he wouldn't support her. Then he got more arrogant, stole Xiaoqing and made me kneel. Second uncle helped me out. I owe him so much. Forget it. Now's not the time for apologies. I sighed lightly and looked at Li Xia. It's already done. Can't undo it. A real name report is no joke. Chen Xiaojie was already a prime suspect. If he's found guilty, it's intentional homicide and hit and run. Saying that, my heart ached. Li Xia's face darkened. She muttered regretfully, I'm so I lit a cigarette and continued. A life for a life. He could face death or life in prison. His life is ruined. I can't escape either. I'm not afraid of jail. But I have a lot I can't let go of. My dad has kidney failure. Needs dialysis 2 to 3 times a week. My mom is a laid-off worker. Sells baked sweet potatoes to support the family. I came to Kunming after high school. Carrying bricks, cement, delivering food. Saving every penny to send home. Chen Xiaojie isn't blood related to my family. All the money he earned went to my dad. Soon, we might both be in prison. The cigarette burned. My heart bled. I took a deep drag, holding back tears. I came to see you today. Not to blame or fight. I know you did it for Jiahao. I'm begging you, if I get locked up, can you take care of my parents? Send them a few thousand each month, so my dad can get dialysis. I know this is a huge ask, but I'm afraid if I don't say it now, I won't get another chance. When I get out, I'll pay back every cent. That's my only request. Please. As I spoke, I bent to kneel. Li Jiahao rushed over, kneeling first, hugging me, crying. Qin Fen, don't worry. No matter what happens, I won't forget your request. I'll take care of Dad's illness. Even if I quit smoking, drinking, and clubs, I'll make sure he has money for treatment. I can decide this. From today, your parents are my parents. I'll call you brother for life. Li Xia got up from the couch, her eyes red, though she tried to hide it. I saw it. I trusted Li Jiahao's promise. A few thousand was nothing to him. That night, he insisted I take him to meet my family. I figured I might get arrested soon. So meeting them early was good. I drove him home that night to see my parents. The car was a gift from Duan Wentao's father, a Dekai shareholder. He wanted his son to marry Li Xia to absorb her shares into the Duan family. Li Jiahao told me a lot on the way. He and Li Xia only inherited Dekai shares. Grandpa left the house and savings to Uncle Li Quanmin. They didn't have much cash. Li Xia was good with money. Used the allowance Grandpa secretly gave her trade stocks. That's why Grandpa left her the chairman position. We drove for over 4 hours. Arrived at the small town at 1 a.m. We found a hotel to stay at. Li Jiahao didn't understand why we didn't go straight home. My dad goes to bed early. My mom said us all she needs a good night's sleep. I didn't sleep well that night. I was thinking about how to tell my parents what was coming. The next morning, my mom was selling baked sweet potatoes on the corner. Seeing me suddenly back in a nice car, she hurried over to ask why I was home. Before I could answer, Li Jiahao stepped up and called out, "Mom." He turned to me. "Is this our mom?" My mom was stunned. I explained, "This is my sworn brother, Li Jiahao. Treat him like a son." "Mom, I came to see you. Is Dad home?" Li Jiahao called out sincerely. My mom was completely confused. I pushed the sweet potato part. Close up today. We'll have your wontons for lunch. I bought the meat filling. At home, my dad was also pet pie. Li Jiahao called them mom and dad, sweet talking. I told them he had no parents, only a sister. They immediately felt sorry for him. Told him to bring his sister for holidays. Li Jiahao didn't hold back. After eating, he insisted on washing dishes. Said a son should work when he comes home. I finally have a mom. I need to enjoy it. In the afternoon, I went to my room to rest. It was a tiny room, less than 8 square meters, where Qin Shaojie and I used to stay. Yellow posters of Young and Dangerous were still on the wall. Qin Shaojie's AI do back then. Li Jiahao watched them with interest. This is my real AI do. I'll follow second brother from now on. He picked up the nunchucks on the wall. Good feel. So worn out. Did you practice? Second uncles, take them if you lie, I said. He used to practice with these. Hit his own head plenty of times. Once in a fight, he used nunchucks. 17 or 18 guys couldn't get close. So see you. I'll definitely learn from second brother when we get back to Kunming. In the afternoon, we went to the market for fruit, veggies, and meat. Filled the fridge. I felt like I was settling my affairs. At dinner, my dad asked if we were in trouble in Kunming. Don't carry it alone. It helps to talk. Don't overthink it. I denied it. We're fine. Busy with a project. This time, I brought Jiahao to meet you. I don't know when I'll be back next. Let him trek on you for me. My dad sighed heavily. Been a burden all my life. I should have gone sooner to stop dragging you down. My mom cut him off. You're not a burden to anyone. Just like this family can't do without you. That night, Li Jiahao and I squeezed into one bed. Before, Qin Shaojie used to sleep here. I was used to it. He was uncomfortable the first half of the night, but fell asleep later. The next morning, the city police called, telling me to come in. I said I was in my hometown. They got alert. Are you trying to flee? I'll be there by 2 p.m. for sure, I said quickly. They relented and hung up. I felt more nervous. Before heading back to Kunming, I bought an unregistered SIM card at the town train station. Put it in Li Jiahao's phone. On the way back, I called Enihua. "Chinfen, you oku?" She asked as soon as she answered. I rushed home the night before last. Set things up at home. Felt like I didn't have much time left with my parents. I sighed. This morning, the city police told me to come in by 2 p.m. for questioning. How's Qin Shaojie? The police have their eyes on him. He said the wrong thing during questioning. Enihua said quietly. My heart raced instantly. What did he say wrong? Is it serious? What should I say in my statement this afternoon? He first denied leaving the gym, but surveillance showed him leaving. Then he said he couldn't remember where he went. She sighed. The police tracked his phone movements. They've identified him as the killer. Just need detailed evidence. What do we do? I panicked completely. I'll turn myself in. This is all because of me. Don't act rashly. Enihua was urgent. Shaojie met me once. His only hope is you. He told me to protect you. He said you're the family's hope. Your parents are counting on you. The police don't have enough evidence to convict. I'm also pulling strings to get him bail. Tears fell uncontrollably. I choked out. Sister Hua, I understand. I'll listen to you. Good, don't cry. Believe Shaojie will be fine. I hung up and buried my head, sobbing loudly. Li Jiahao heard everything. Handed me tissues and a cigarette, apologizing nonstop. I just hoped he'd take care of my parents. After Qin Shaojie and I were gone, near Kunming, I still felt uneasy. So I called Qin Mu. Finally decided to call me. Huh? Are you thanking me for the info I gave? Qin Mu's laughter came through. Let's not talk about that. I held back my grief. Can I fully trust you? I'm really helpless right now. Of course, Qin Mu's tone turned serious. For what you and Linny Fei did for Nyo-Nyo, I consider you a good friend. I took a deep breath. You knew all along the accident was related to me, right? There was a pause on the line. Qin Fen, some things don't need to be said clearly. We both know in our hearts. Qin Shaojie is under investigation. The police confirmed he was at the scene that day. He was reported and arrested. I continued. The police told me to come in by 2 p.m. for questioning. I'm on my way. I don't know what to do. Don't be afraid, Qin Mu said. We were together that whole day. You called Qin Shaojie to chat about family stuff and mentioned going to eat in the North District. I can testify to all of that. Police work on evidence. Without enough, they can't convict. I'll meet you at the police station this afternoon. What time will you be there? I checked my watch. About an hour. Go ahead first. I'll be right behind you. Qin Mu encouraged me. Trust me. See you soon. Are you sure you'll see me? I'm afraid they'll detain me for questioning. No, they won't. Qin Mu was very confident. See you soon. I hung up. I lit a cigarette. Li Jiahao was writing. Suddenly asked quietly. Qin Fen, do you hate me? I was stunned, about to deny it. He cut in. About this, I hate her too. I want to hit her. But she's my sister. She's always taking care of me. Apologies are useless. I promise I'll take good care of our parents. I will. I looked at him and nodded. No more words. I'm counting on you for mom and dad. As for hate, it's in the past. If you don't want people to know, don't do it. Even if she hadn't reported it, they'd have found out eventually. Li Jiahao didn't say more. Back in Kunming, we went straight to the city police station without lunch. He said he'd wait at the entrance. I told him to go home, not daring to say I might not come out. This interrogation was completely different. 2 lights at 45-degree angles on each side. 4 officers present. 2 asking questions. 1 filming with a DV. 1 typing records. I sat down under pressure. With previous experience, I wasn't that nervous. They went over and over my actions that night. The content of my call to Qin Shaojie. Whether he knew about my conflict with Zhu Jialong. I followed Qin Mu's advice, tweaking details slightly. Qin Shaojie and I chatted about home. He asked what I was eating. I casually said, on my way to the North District Food Street, eating with a friend. The questioning ended. The officer said, you're also a new suspect in this case. We'll need to detain you temporarily. I laughed bitterly. Accepted. Just as the officer was about to handcuff me, the interrogation room door was knocked. A middle-aged officer without a hat, badge number 001, walked in, followed by Qin Mu in uniform. He secretly winked at me. The interrogating officers immediately stood at attention. Director Qin, is Chen Fen's questioning done? Director Qin asked. It's done. He's Chen Xiaojie's nephew. We asked him to cooperate. The officer replied quickly. If it's done, come with us for dinner. Director Qin said. It's done. It's done. The officer hurriedly agreed. We just asked Mr. Chen to cooperate. Qin Mu jumped out from behind. Grabbed my arm. Chen Fan, let me introduce you. This is my dad, you brat. Director Qin laughed. You got a fake dad too? Qin Mu stuck out her tongue. Why aren't you saying hello to my dad? Hello, Uncle Qin. First time meeting. A bit awkward in a place like this. I said quickly. Nothing wrong with it. Director Qin laughed. First, go home with Mumu. Your aunt made dinner. We'll talk properly tonight. So Director Qin really thought I was Qin Mu's boyfriend. In Qin Mu's car, she complained. You ungrateful jerk. Last time, you agreed to pretend to be my boyfriend. Why did you turn off your phone and disappear? I wasn't avoiding you. I'll keep my promise. I explained. Your dad isn't that scary. That's just in front of outsiders. Qin Mu snorted. Be careful tonight. She has plenty of ways to make you suffer. But if you make my mom lie you, my dad won't get angry. How do I win over your mom? I can't afford a gift over $200. I scratched my head. Qin Mu rolled her eyes. My family doesn't need gifts. There's only one way to win over my mom. Take good care of me in front of her. Do I need to teach you that? We reached Qin Mu's neighborhood. My heart was pounding. But I had to face what was coming. Qin Mu's home was a duplex apartment with an elevator. Qin Mu lives in a duplex with an elevator that goes straight into the apartment. In the elevator, he saw I was nervous. Holding my arm, he smiled and said, relax. Even if it's a fake, you have to act like it's real. How did you get along with your ex-girlfriends? Just treat me like that today and give the performance of a lifetime. But I was still nervous. Qin Mu rolled her eyes. As we walked in, a middle-aged woman was cleaning the living room. Mom, she called, then turned to me. Qin Fen, this is my mom. I quickly greeted her. Hello, Auntie. Qin Mu's mother was especially warm. She took out slippers. I've been telling Mumu to bring you home for ages. This kid always makes excuses. Dating someone and keeping it a secret. If I didn't bring her back, she'd think she could find someone better. Qin Mu put on cute slippers and teased. Come on. Qin Mu's mother scolded her. I'll burn incense if you ever get married. And you're picky? I think Qin Fen is great. She turned to me. Qin Fen, make yourself at home. Auntie will wash you some fruit. No need, Auntie. I rarely eat fruit. I do, Qin Mu said, acting like a princess. I want the apple from last night. Wait here. Qin Mu's mother went to the kitchen. Only the two of us were left in the living room. Sit here for a bit. I'm going to change clothes, she said. I leaned in and whispered. Since we're a couple, aren't you going to invite me to watch you change? Qin Mu gave me a huge eye roll. I noticed a treadmill, dumbbells, and a punching bag in the corner. I imagined her in tight clothes, wearing boxing gloves. Pretty sexy, and pretty powerful too. A few minutes later, Qin Mu came out in different clothes. Her mother also came over with a fruit platter. Qin Mu picked up an apple and handed it to me. Peel it. This kid is totally spoiled by me. Qin Mu's mother complained verbally, but her tone was full of affection. I smiled, took the apple and a fruit knife, and slowly peeled it. Her mother chatted with me. She just said Qin Mu was mischievous and stubborn, and asked me to be patient with her. She didn't ask about my education, job, or family at all. Qin Mu occasionally argued back. Her mother completely ignored her. I cut the peeled apple into small pieces. Qin Mu sat cross-legged on the sofa playing Honor of Kings, opening her mouth. Signaling me to feed her. I did as told and also handed half to her mother. Auntie, you have some too. I ate this afternoon. She politely declined. Look at Mumu. She's really spoiled. She turned to Qin Mu. Stop playing games. Qin Fen is here for the first time. Keep him company. Mom is going downstairs to buy some groceries. Qin Fen, stay for dinner. Before I could finish, Qin Mu shouted loudly. Qin Fen likes braised fish. I think you're the one who wants to eat it. You little glutton. Qin Mu's mother said with a smile. Qin Mu laughed. Qin Fen, just sit tight. I'm going to the supermarket to buy fish. I'll be right back. Wait, I'll come with you. Qin Mu put down her phone and stood up. What are you going for? You'll just cause trouble. Her mother gestured. I want to go. Helpless, I also went along and acted as the driver. When we got home, Director Qin was also off work. Facing him, I couldn't help but feel nervous. Maybe it was because of Chen Xiaojie's case and my guilty conscience. He didn't ask about my education, job, income, or family. He just asked if I knew how to play Chinese chess. My chess skills aren't great, but I play slowly, and I analyzed the board carefully. He always said, think slowly, don't rush. We played for nearly an hour without a winner. Then Qin Mu's mother called us for dinner. During dinner, Director Qin asked if I drank alcohol. I politely declined and had juice with Qin Mu. I acted as a half waiter the whole time, serving Qin Mu food, trying my best to look competent. After dinner, Qin Mu dragged me for a walk. I took my leave early, leaving the chess game unfinished. In the elevator, I breathed a sigh of relief. Miss, I've been to your house. Do you have to hold on so tight? Qin Mu smiled mischievously. I'll give you a thumbs up. Professional actor. Thank you very much. Your parents might have already figured out I'm a fake. Otherwise, why wouldn't they ask about my job, income, and family? No way. You did great, she said nonchalantly. My parents want my boyfriend to join the public security system, so they don't care what you do now. If we were really together, they'd find you a decent job. That got me a little tempted. Having a father-in-law who's a police chief would be pretty nice. But it was just a moment of self-indulgence. Qin Mu drove me to the Guandu ancient town parking lot. Then she went back. The next day, Qin Mu came to my place with burgers and fried chicken. She had another idea about my uncle's situation. Holding a suspect indefinitely without evidence is unreasonable. She told me to use online public opinion to help my uncle, but I didn't know anyone in self-media. The only person I could think of was Li Jiahao. When the call connected, he exclaimed in surprise, Qin Fen, you're awake. Are you busy right now? There's something I want to tell you. I'm busy. I have to stay here and can't leave. Doing what? At the operating room door. He paused. Our dad is inside having surgery. It's almost over. Our dad is having surgery? I was totally confused. What's wrong with my dad? What surgery? It's our dad. Li Jiahao corrected me. He's having a kidney transplant. After it's successful, he won't need weekly dialysis anymore. A kidney transplant is a real cure. I couldn't believe my ears. Really? He was bursting with pride. I haven't been idle this whole week. Finding a kidney source, contacting the hospital, found a suitable kidney in 3 days, negotiated the price, had the doctor track it, immediately brought our dad to Shanghai for the surgery. Pretty efficient, huh? You'll have to treat me to some skewers later. Jiahao, you're not joking, are you? Would I joke about something like this? Mom and Dad and I are in Shanghai right now. I told them you've been busy lately, and that you'll come after the surgery. Kidney transplant costs 400,000 or 500,000. About the money, don't worry. Our dad will be healthy soon. We'll go back to Kunming next week for recovery. We'll wait until there's no rejection before discharging. She paused. Mom just came out of the bathroom. I'll give her the phone. A few seconds later, my mother's voice came through. Qin Fen, is that you? Mom, Jiahao brought you to Shanghai for the kidney transplant. Why didn't you tell me? My mother was surprised. Jiahao said you knew. What's going on? It's okay. First, stay with Dad until the surgery is done. I'll come over tomorrow. The round-trip tickets are expensive, and food and lodging here are expensive too. I can take care of your dad. You just wait there. Phone calls are expensive too. Do you have anything else to say to Jiahao? Give it to him. The phone went back to Li Jiahao. He asked with a smile. See? I wasn't lying, was I? I took a deep breath. Bro, thank you. I owe you one. From now on, I'll do anything for you. No excuses. Forget about doing anything for me. He changed the subject. How about you become my brother-in-law instead? To be honest, finding the kidney source and contacting the hospital. All of that was my sister's idea and she led the effort. I just came along with mom and dad for the surgery. If you want to thank someone, thank my sister in person. Think about it. My sister is so beautiful. You wouldn't lose out by being my brother-in-law. I knew Li Jiahao was joking about the brother-in-law thing. Arranging the kidney transplant for my dad was something he definitely couldn't have handled on his own. It was mostly Li Xia who led it. She's reliable, much more mature than Li Jiahao. I hung up the phone. I was thinking about how to thank Li Xia. Chimu picked up the last chicken wing. From your call, your father is having surgery. Li Xia helped arrange it. I guess she feels guilty. Chimu smiled slightly. If she hadn't reported it, the police wouldn't have targeted Qin Xiaojie. Consider it her buying peace of mind. Even so, I was still grateful to Li Xia. When I reached for a burger, I realized the bucket only had sides left. All the chicken wings and drumsticks were eaten by Chimu. She noticed my gaze and giggled. So I didn't have lunch either. I forgot they were for you. Her quirky personality was actually quite endearing. Chimu stayed with me for over 2 hours and then left. My heart was full of mixed emotions. No matter what Li Xia's motives were, I remembered this favor. I wanted to call her to thank her several times, but I didn't have the courage. The image of her scolding me for leading Li Jiahao astray was still fresh. Even though we met at her house later, she didn't talk much. After hearing my request, she just went back to her room. There was still a rift between us. After thinking it over for a night, I decided to go to Dikai Hotel to thank Li Xia in person. As soon as I reached the office floor, I ran into a hurried Gao Su. What are you doing here? Looking for me or General Ma Najio Li? Both. To thank Li Xia. And to invite you for a drink tonight. To vent my frustrations. I suggest you see General Ma Najio Li later. Gao Su lowered his voice. She's in big trouble. Had a board meeting this morning and an employee meeting this afternoon. They say she embezzled company funds and got her power reduced. Li Quanming is trying to seize the chairman position. Gao Su looked around. It's not convenient to talk here. Let's go to the Starbucks on the 3rd floor and talk over coffee. I need to see Li Xia. We'll talk later. Gao Su quickly warned. Dang Jing is in her office right now. You know, Duan Wentao's father. If you go now, you definitely won't see her. I had no choice but to follow Gao Su to Starbucks. We sat down in a corner. Today's board meeting was called by Li Quanming. Gao Su lowered his voice. The finance director, Dang Jing, reported that Li Xia embezzled 800,000 yuan last week. Li Quanming took the opportunity to propose reducing her power. Any expense over 500,000 needs approval from half the board. The power reduction is already decided, but some shareholders gave her 3 days to explain where the money went, and then it can be reversed. If she has to report every 500,000, then the chairman position is just a title. I scratched my head. Pretty much. Gao Su took a sip of coffee. The factions in the company are fighting fiercely. Dang Jing is Li Chuaming's person, and a few shareholders are with him. But there are also major shareholders supporting. Li Xia had a meeting with the lower levels this afternoon. She specifically emphasized that expenses need invoices and leadership signatures. As we were talking, Dang Jing walked into Starbucks. He sat diagonally across from me and made a phone call. President Ming, don't worry. I have Li Xia's IMEO. It has her bank card information on it. The 800,000 was indeed transferred to her, he said. She can't deny this money. It's been over a week. There's no invoice or receipt. Since I dared to report it, I've already burned all bridges. President Ming, you can't forget. I paused for a few seconds. Then he continued. I understand. I have records of expenses for all department heads. If we dig deeper, no one is clean. Let's just wait and see. I've already fixed the accounts. Whose financial information do you need? I can get it for you anytime. Dang Jin hung up. I whispered to Gao Su. Is he threatening other employees? Gao Su nodded and made a shushing gesture. The company is a snake pit. Li Chuaming's group is determined to overthrow Li Xia. The solid evidence of 800,000 is in Dang Jing's hands. She clearly left a weakness for them. After Dang Jin left, we went back to the Dikai office floor. Gao Su went to work. I went to Li Xia's office door and rang the bell. Her assistant, Lu Xiaoru, opened the door with an unfriendly look. What are you doing here? Who is it? Li Xia's voice came from inside. It's that director Chen who was fired after 3 days. Lu Xiaoru glared at me. Let him in. We'll talk alone. Li Xia handed me a glass of water with a smile. Actually, I should have apologized to you sooner. Jiahao told me the whole shittery about that fight. I really regret it. If you hadn't fought Duan Wentao, I might not have lost my mind and reported Qin Xiaojie. I'm so Thank you. I looked at her. I came here specifically to thank you. If it weren't for you, my dad couldn't afford the 300,000 or 400,000 for the transplant. I don't want to owe you, but I really don't have the money to pay you back right now. Saying that, I was at a loss for words. If it were Qin Mu, I would have joked back. How about I repay you with my body? But that was totally inappropriate to say to her. Why aren't you talking? She pressed. My face turned red. I wanted to say, if you need anything, just ask. But I thought about how useless I was. Saying that would be too hypocritical, so I kept quiet. I was mostly just grateful. Li Xia smiled. Then I'll be polite and say, that's enough. Isn't that what people say at dinner tables? I sighed. Stop teasing me. I know you helped my dad with the kidney transplant. Mostly to ease your own guilt. She glared at me. You ungrateful jerk. Think whatever you want. Don't you want to thank me and not owe me? Go downstairs and buy me a vanilla cone. Bring it back. Then we're even. I was surprised. Really? That simple and we're even? What else? She teased. Then come back to Dikai as the head of the security department. That topic is too heavy, so I just went downstairs to buy the cone. I came back to the office with the cone. Li Xia was leaning on the table, chin in hand, daydreaming. I handed her the ice cream. Here, vanilla. She lifted her eyelids, carefully tore open the wrapper, stuck out her pink tongue and licked it. A satisfied smile appeared on her face. I asked, satisfied? Super satisfied. I love cones the most. She squinted. Chin Fen, what's your favorite snack? I shook my head. I don't have many snack memories from childhood. If I had to choose, it would be those 50-cent packs of spicy strips. Eating them, my hands would get all oily. My uncle used to steal snacks from others and give them to me. That's how we got all our snacks. Li Xia looked completely confused. She couldn't understand. Boys have to steal snacks to eat? After finishing the cone, Li Xia suddenly asked, Chin Fen, are you free this afternoon? Why? I'll take you to Moonbay. I only found out later. That Moonbay has a special activity, bungee jumping. If I had known, I would never have come. I've been afraid of heights since I was a kid. Looking down from 100 meters makes me dizzy. Li Xia strapped on her gear and looked at me. Don't you want to try it? The wind roaring in your ears can make you forget all your troubles. Like being reborn. You're crazy. I warned her. What if there's a safety accident? Then it's truly blank. She curled her lips, said nonchalantly, if something happens, that's fine too. Life is so tiring. Having an accident and leaving wouldn't be bad. With that, she spread her arms and jumped. I held onto the railing tightly and looked down. Her figure got smaller and smaller. Young man, want to give it a try? It's thrilling, the staff member asked. A lot of people come here to feel what it's like to die for a moment. If you're not afraid of death, what else is there to be afraid of? He continued. The girl who just jumped comes here often. She used to come alone. I was surprised she brought you today. She often comes here to seek death, I asked. They're all stressed out and come to release it. The staff member laughed. No, I haven't lived enough. I quickly dismissed the thought. I just wanted to leave as soon as possible. Half an hour later, I saw Li Xia again. I felt like there was something different about her, but I couldn't put my finger on it. She doesn't show her emotions on her face, but the feeling she gives off is always changing. On the way back to Kunming, she brought up Qin Xiaojie and asked if I had any way to fix things. I casually mentioned Zhu Dalong used self-media to put pressure on us. Maybe we can fight back the same way. I was just chatting casually. I didn't expect that the next day, several popular local self-media accounts in Kunming posted articles at the same time, instantly pushing the matter into the spotlight. One of the articles was particularly well written. A single self-media article directly ignited the topic. The title was eye-catching. Local city to boost readership drove Lin Yifei, who helped Niu, to death. The news of Lin Yifei's jump had already died down, but this article brought him back into the public eye. Not only did it insist that local city's article drove Lin Yifei to death, but it also included a detailed analysis with solid reasoning. Another article doxed Zhu Dalong and Tian Yifan, revealing the news of Tian Yifan's death in a car accident. Public opinion overwhelmingly believed she deserved it. The timing and technique of these two articles were perfect. Released after local city's pot. WeChat public accounts can only pot once a day. Even if Zhu Dalong wanted to explain, he'd have to wait until after midnight. That gave us enough time to steer public opinion. The next day, we could continue attacking his rebuttals. No doubt about it, this was Li Xia's doing. I owed her another favor. The matter grew bigger and bigger. By the third day, public opinion was pointing at my uncle. The police didn't have enough evidence to convict him, so they had to temporarily release him. I wanted to see my uncle on the day he was released, but Iniwa stopped me, saying his situation was sensitive. Qinmu also called to warn me. Don't get too close to Qin Xiaojie recently, and don't say much on the phone. Investigation techniques are much more advanced than you think. Using self-media to pressure the police was an idea Qinmu taught me. She knows the police's weakness is best. In the afternoon, while squeezing onto a bot, a slap rang out, followed by a familiar voice shouting, "Take your dirty hands off me." I looked towards the sound and couldn't believe my eyes. I actually ran into Li Xia on the bot. At first, I thought I was seeing things. How could she be on a bot? The man she slapped was a guy in his 30s. Li Xia's slap almost knocked his glasses off. The man was stunned for a moment, probably feeling embarrassed in front of so many people. He couldn't back down. He forced himself to retort, "Who touched your butt? Do you have proof?" Li Xia was angered by the man's words again. She raised her hand to slap him a second time, but before her hand could reach his face, he grabbed her wrist. The man held Li Xia's wrist tightly and said to the people around, "Everyone saw it. This woman hit me and falsely accused me of touching her butt." His words stopped there, because my fist had already hit him in the face. The man let go of Li Xia's hand in pain, covered his nose and stepped back. I used half my body to shield Li Xia behind me, looked at the man and asked, "Did she say you touched her butt? Your reaction itself shows you're guilty." A passenger looked at the man with contempt. "You look like a creep. Shameless bot groper. Hit him." Someone in the crowd shouted. The person closest to the man kicked him. Quite a few people around started kicking, but almost no one really threw a hard punch. The man was kicked to the front door of the bot, hiding by the boarding door, not daring to move. I didn't participate much in the later beating. Li Xia stood beside me, looking very upset, watching it all. I wanted to take her to the seat I was sitting in, but found it was already taken. The bot stopped at Zhengyafeng bot stop. The kicked man rushed off the front door and fled in disgrace. A few passengers also got off from the back door, freeing up seats. With my years of experience riding the bot, I easily found a seat for Li Xia. I stood beside her, putting one hand on the seat in front and the other on her seat to keep other passengers from getting too close to her. She sat down, looked up at me and asked, "What kind of pose is that? Are you stupid?" I was a bit annoyed. I said to Li Xia, "I'm enclosing you in this space to prevent other perverts from reaching out to you. You can think of me as your knight in shining armor." Li Xia rolled her eyes disdainfully and said to me, "I really can't associate this pose with the words knight in shining armor. It feels more like you're trying to catch a pig." Catch a pig? You're the pig? Li Xia realized she had misspoken. She just gave up arguing with me, turned her head to look out the window, and decided not to talk to me anymore. I stood beside Li Xia and asked, "Are you riding the bot to experience life?" Li Xia said very naturally, "I am experiencing life. Is that not allowed? Can we have a normal conversation? It seems like every time we meet, we have to bicker a little. Why don't you talk to me?" The feeling of being groped just now. Li Xia turned her head and glared at me. Then she continued looking out the window. She didn't even want to talk to me. I was just joking with her. Was it that serious? The bot swayed along. 6 stops later, near Li Xia's apartment complex, she stood up and said to me, "Move. I need to get off." "Is that how you talk to your lifesaver? Can you be a little nicer?" "Lifesaver?" Li Xia sneered with contempt. "What did you save me from? Helping you chase off a pervert. Isn't that the truth? If someone helped me chase off a pervert, I'd definitely treat them to dinner." "You said that after getting off, right? What do you think?" I happily followed Li Xia off the bot. There's a commercial street near the complex. After getting off, Li Xia led me straight to the street. She asked as we walked, "What do you want to eat?" "I'm too lazy to cook at home alone." I teased Li Xia, "Whatever. Just don't make me pay. I don't care what we eat." When I said that, passers-by on the street gave me disdainful looks. Probably many were thinking, how could someone say something so shameless? Li Xia was completely exasperated and said to me, "Can you have some dignity?" I spread my hands and asked, "What's wrong? Is there something wrong with my image?" Li Xia sighed softly, then turned and walked into a Korean barbecue restaurant. She chose a booth and said to me, "Let's eat here. I really don't want to walk another step with you on the street. Embarrassing. You've been verbally attacking me the whole way." way. I'm magnanimous and won't stoop to your level. Li Xia didn't want to continue this boring conversation. She looked at the menu and asked. She asked what I do for work now. Too much has been happening lately. I haven't really worked much. I just do some part-time jobs when I have free time. Chen Fen, seriously, have you thought about coming back to Dekai? Actually, many senior leaders recognize your abilities. Even though you only worked for 3 days, the entire security department changed. Now the security director is Hidai Zhuang. Chao Yue has been fired by me. Saying this, Li Xia closed the menu, looked at me seriously and said, Chen Fen, I think we should have a proper talk today. Li Xia and I sat facing each other. Her expression was serious, no hint of a joke. 2 things, she began. As I mentioned before, I can't control Jiahao anymore. But can you tell Qin Xiaojie not to take him fighting? If something happens to him, what will I do? Last time's fight wasn't Qin Xiaojie's fault, but I'm still worried. I understand. I said, what's the second thing? The second thing is about you. I really hope you can come back to Dekai. I stared at her in disbelief, trying to find the answer in her eyes. Don't doubt my sincerity. Li Xia explained. I think you have ability. Last time you only worked for 3 days. Most security guards spoke highly of you, saying you have ideas and leadership. You can make people admire your work style. Would you consider coming back? Finding a suitable job isn't easy now. If you just want 3 to 5,000 a month to get by, delivering food or being a security guard is fine. I don't mean to look down on those jobs. I just think you should consider long-term development, not just for a few $1,000s. What do you think? That was very reasonable. I used to only think about making money for Dad's treatment. I never considered stability or growth. I was quite moved and paused for a moment. I nodded and said, thank you for telling me this. You're right. Let me think about it. After that, we talked about studies. She asked me, were you a good student in school? I only scored over 60 on the Chinese college entrance exam. I didn't write the essay, but still got over 600 total. Li Xia's eyes widened, full of disbelief. We chatted for nearly an hour while eating. Before leaving, I sincerely asked her, can I ask you for advice if I don't understand something? She told me anytime, as long as I treat her to a meal. After spending this time together, I feel my relationship with Li Xia has changed somehow. 2 days later, in the morning, Li Jiahao suddenly called, saying the kidney transplant was successful. Rejection symptoms are minimal. Arriving at Changshui Airport at 1 p.m. Come pick us up. My anxious heart finally settled. I immediately called second uncle to SE the good news, but he already knew. Li Jiahao still trusts him more. After lunch, I rushed to Changshui Airport. At the domestic arrivals exit, Yin Yihua was leaning against Qin Xiaojie on a nearby chair. Li Xia sat alone, reading documents. They clearly know each other, but now they're acting like strangers. Chen Fen, you're here. Yin Yihua greeted first. I looked at second uncle. Are you planning to turn over a new leaf? Get lost, he cursed. I walked over to Li Xia. She didn't look up until I stood in front of her. She naturally smoothed her hair. You got Jiahao's call, right? She put away her documents. Now that your father's illness is under control, you must feel a lot lighter, right? Thank you. I was genuinely grateful. My mom makes really good dumplings. Once she's stable, come to my place. I'll have mom make some for you. Sounds good. Li Xia agreed immediately. It's settled then. Just as she finished speaking, Li Jiahao came out of the exit with my parents. Brother, sister Hua, we're back. He waved and shouted. Brother, second uncle went to greet them. I said to Li Xia, let's go see. Li Xia followed me forward. Second uncle introduced Yin Yihua to my parents. After a few exchanges, I finally spoke. Dad, feeling much better? Thanks to Jiahao. Otherwise, I'd be a wreck for the rest of my life. Dad was full of gratitude. Dad, Li Jiahao said warmly, don't thank me. Finding the kidney donor was all my sister's doing. Let me introduce my sister. Xia, Dad said excitedly. Child, uncle thanks you. You're too kind. Uncle, Li Xia smiled. Jiahao and Chen Fen get along well. He's become your godson. We're all family now. Don't be so formal. Exactly. Li Jiahao agreed. Dad, don't be polite. Let's not waste time at the airport. Brother, let's go. First, find a place to eat. The 5 of us went to the parking lot. We were surprised to see Li Xia driving a Buick GL8. Li Jiahao was stunned. Sis, why are you driving this? Where's the Land Rover? It's due for maintenance. I had it sent to the Ford stop. Impossible, Li Jiahao argued. I just had it serviced before I left. Why would it need maintenance? Did you have a fender bender? Just a small scratch. Li Xia went along with the shittery. Li Jiahao didn't press further. I stopped Li Xia from getting into the driver's seat. You're not used to this car. Let me drive. She hesitated, then handed me the keys. Go ahead. I took the keys. I looked into her eyes and asked, tell me, did you embezzle company money to pay for my dad's kidney transplant? Your Land Rover isn't at the Ford stop. You sold it to cover the embezzled funds, right? Li Xia gave me a dismissive look. She retorted, what does that have to do with you? She didn't give me a chance to ask more. She walked around the car to the passenger side. Back in the city, we had a simple lunch, then went to the hospital to check in for recovery. Li Jiahao paid all the bills. The doctor said he needs to stay for a week to 2 weeks. My parents thought it was unnecessary, but Li Xia and Li Jiahao insisted. After settling my parents, they left first. I stayed in the ward with Dad, sitting on the bed. The hospital said stitches come out in 7 days, then observe for another 7 days. That's half a month. We've already been in Shanghai for over 10 days. 3 days in Kunming is enough. Don't waste money, Dad. I advised. The paperwork is done. Stay a week first, then think about going home. You've been suffering from this illness for years. Just stay a few more days, son. Dad said cautiously. This trip to Shanghai cost a lot. The surgery alone was over 600,000, not including flights and accommodation. Your mom and I have decided. We'll sell the house when we get back. If that's not enough, we'll figure something out. Where will we lie? I asked urgently. Mom chimed in. A house is just a place to lie. We'll rent a small 30 to 40 square meter place in the shantytown. You and Xiaojie are never home. A big house just feels empty. It's settled. Dad interrupted me. Before, I thought I wouldn't make it. I wanted to leave a home for your mom. Now that I'm better, we can still earn money. Don't argue. I'm more stubborn than you. When you didn't go to college, you stuck to your own decision. I was completely speechless. He's definitely my real dad. That evening, Qin Xiaojie and Yin Yihua came. Qin Xiaojie bought a lot of Dad's favorite foods. Yin Yihua gave Mom a big red envelope. I pulled Qin Xiaojie onto the ward balcony, making sure no one could hear. I whispered, is the heat still on? I'm not worried. Why are you worried? Without solid evidence, they can't do much to me. I have to praise you. You handled that Santana well. I scratched my head and laughed. That day at Sister Hua's, I didn't like the look of that car, so I got rid of it overnight. Is it safe? Safe. I mentioned Denshi Lake this season is green and heavily polluted. You won't see it until it's clear. By then, the car will be too corroded to recognize. Qin Xiaojie put his left hand in his pocket, right hand holding a cigarette, looking out the window. Don't mention this again. The police are looking for you. Stick to the old shittery. I've dealt with the police a lot lately. I handle it smoothly. I laughed. He didn't say anything. His calmness was something I couldn't met. I couldn't help asking, do you know how the police found you? Det, Chen Xiaojie said calmly. Jiahao told me everything. He said it lightly, not wanting to elaborate. I probed. Don't you have any feelings about it? Don't you resent Li Xia? Of course I do. And a lot, she admitted frankly. But I can understand her reasoning. Understanding doesn't mean forgiving. Not forgiving doesn't mean seeking revenge. Your dad's kidney was paid for by her. That's hundreds of thousands. It would take us 10 years to earn that. We need to be grateful. I can handle it. Even if we're not friends, we won't become enemies. I breathed a sigh of relief. I'm glad you think that way. I was worried your stubbornness would make you do something rash. Chen Xiaojie turned and looked at me disdainfully. Being stubborn doesn't mean I'm brainless or heartless, you lowlife. If I could beat him, I'd really want to punch him. Iwa was chatting happily with my parents. I wanted to stay and help, but Chen Xiaojie and my parents sent me away. They were worried I'd be tired for work tomorrow. I didn't explain much. It was fine with Chen Xiaojie there. I also wanted to leave early, not to rest, but because I suddenly wanted to see Li Xia, even just to sit face to face for a while. I hadn't figured out what to talk about yet. I've been to the entrance of Li Xia's upscale complex. The guard stopped me, saying I needed a resident to unlock the gate. Just as I was thinking whether to call, Li Xia arrived on a motorbike TAC 11. She got off with a Gucci bag on her arm, gave the driver 10 yuan. He gave her 5 yuan change. She was surprised to see me. Why aren't you at the hospital with your parents? What are you doing here? You're so carefree, carrying a Gucci bag on a motorbike. Aren't you afraid of getting robbed? I crossed my arms. Li Xia smoothed her long hair behind her ear. Do you think a girl on a motorbike would have a real Gucci bag? A robber would risk it for a cheap knockoff? I gave a thumbs up. You're ruthless. You think robbers are brainless? She used her access card to let me into the complex. The breeze carried her scent. I turned and asked, why did I come? Just to confirm if you sold the Land Rover. To pay for my dad's kidney transplant. Debt. She answered casually. Jiahao and I only have Dekai shares. We lie on our salaries. We don't have 700 to 800k in savings, so I had to sell the car first. You embezzled the money first, then sold the car to cover it up, right? Li Xia stopped walking. What's the difference? Why did you do it? Just to buy yourself peace of mind. I regretted it as soon as I said it. That was too harsh. She kept walking. Don't worry about my motives. You don't need to know. I'm not asking you to pay me back. Why are you so nervous? I grabbed her arm and said seriously, thank you. Whatever your motives. I'm genuinely grateful. I don't know how to repay you, but I want to do something for you. Li Xia looked at my face, then glanced at my hand holding her arm. Don't say it's by offering yourself to me. I can't handle that. I quickly let go. I'm serious. Don't brush it off. She shrugged. Just don't lead Jiahao astray. That's all I ask. She turned and walked toward the building. After a few steps, she stopped and looked back. What are you thinking? Not coming up for a bit? No. Seeing you is enough. I should go back. Good night. Suit yourself. She turned gracefully and disappeared from sight. I still don't understand if she helped me for peace of mind or out of regret. Without a clear answer, I had to let it go. Leaving the complex, I splurged on a pack of 22 yuan red box cigarettes to celebrate Dad's recovery. I lit one. I dialed Qin Mu's number. His ringtone was funny. It rang for over 10 seconds before he answered. His first words were, Qin Fen, how is it? Funny, right? You're that pig. What pig? I was confused. Didn't you hear the ringtone? He was a bit disappointed. No, you have to listen again. He hung up. I had no choice but to call again. When he answered, I quickly said, I heard it. I'm that pig. Don't hang up. Qin Mu laughed. Calling so late must mean something. Are you sure? Of course, he said bluntly. Every time you call, it's because you need something. You don't even lie my posts on social media. Thinking about it, he was right. I blushed. I didn't know how to say what I had prepared. Qin Mu sighed. Forget it. I won't hold it against you. Spit it out. What is it this time? Qin Mu's words made me feel ashamed. I held the phone nervously. How about I treat you to some Myo-dike at a bar? Strange, Qin Mu muttered. People usually invite others to a bar to drink. Why are you inviting me to listen to Myo-dike? Shouldn't it be drinking? I said. I was afraid if I said drinking, you'd think I had ulterior motives, like getting you drunk and taking you to a hotel. Don't worry, Qin Mu said coolly. You can't get me drunk, and even if I did, I wouldn't easily go to a hotel with you. Send me the address. I'm fry today. I sent him the bar's address. The place was quiet, more like a lounge. Snacks and beer were almost fry. Liquor was only at cost. No need to worry about being ripped off. Still it. Qin Mu held a mug of beer. You can just say it now that we're face to face. What do you want to tell me? Help me gather evidence of Dang Jin and Dang Qiming defrauding Dekai. I really need it. Qin Mu rolled his eyes. I remember I offered it to you before, and you weren't interested. Now why do you want me to gather it? If I'm not mistaken, Li Xia asked you to help, right? No. Qin Mu raised his voice. Little Qin Fen, don't lie. You're bad at it. You get nervous when you lie. I can tell at a glance. I'm not lying. I looked at him calmly. I want to help Li Xia on my own. My dad had kidney disease for years. He relied on dialysis. I'm useless. After 4 years in Kunming, I couldn't even save up for a kidney transplant. Not long ago, Chen Xiaojie helped Li Jiahao in a fight. Li Xia mistakenly thought Chen Xiaojie started it. In anger, she reported him. I was prepared for the worst. If Chen Xiaojie was caught, it would likely be the death penalty, life in prison or suspended death. I'd also be implicated. I told Li Jiahao that if we got caught, I only asked her to take care of my dad. Just pay for his dialysis weekly. I'd pay her back when I got out. Later, Li Xia sent my dad to Shanghai for the kidney transplant. That money was embezzled company funds. Dang Jing and Li Quanming used it to attack her. They called a board meeting and reduced her power. She had no choice but to sell the Land Rover to cover the funds. I feel I should do something for her. That's the truth. I'm not lying. Qin Mu listened carefully. Chen Fen, I believe you're telling the truth. That's very lie you. If someone treats you well, you repay them doubly. I've looked into Dang Qiming's files before. They can be used as evidence. I'll check the transaction details more thoroughly later. I'll organize it all for you. Thank you, I said. We met by chance, and you've helped me countless times. All I can say is thank you. I don't know what else I can do for you. Qin Mu squinted and smiled. There is something. You need to come home with me often to deal with my parents. Last time was just a meal. My mom really likes you. She keeps urging me to bring you home. When are you fried to come with me? Just to make my mom het pie, and to stop her from nagging me. Don't worry, I won't get in the way of you pursuing Li Xia. What? I exclaimed. Me pursue Li Xia? Don't make wild guesses. Oku? When did I say I was pursuing Li Xia? Where did you hear that? Qinmu said proudly. I don't need to hear it from anywhere. I can see it. When you talk about Li Xia, your eyes are always so gentle. Your voice unconsciously softens. It's naturally tender. Especially when you said she sold her Land Rover for you. Your eyes were full of emotion. Don't think I don't notice these little details. You probably don't even realize it yourself. So I'm sure, as your fake boyfriend, I'll fully support you. Go for it. Win over your goddess. I rolled my eyes and said, ridiculous. You're completely guessing. Qinmu laughed. Some people are still half clueless. Just stay half clueless. I'll get you the information you need as soon as possible. Don't forget what you promised me. Deal. I'll keep being your fake boyfriend. I hope you find a real one soon. We talked for over 2 hours. The topics were casual. I went back to my place. After showering, I sent Yao Su a voice message asking about the recent moves against Li Xia at Dekai. Qin Fen, even if you hadn't called, I was about to call you. Yao Su said excitedly. Dekai is about to have a big problem. What's up? After news of Li Xia's embezzlement broke, shareholder support has clearly dropped. Li Quanming took the chance to accuse her, openly rallying senior management. I interrupted him. Is anyone actually siding with him? It can't be that simple. Li Xia has already been stripped of power. She's in name only. Yao Su explained. Everyone sees Li Chuanming's foundation. His prestige has actually grown. I thought about it objectively. People would indeed lose some trust in Li Xia. After all, she embezzled funds first. I just can't understand. How did she dare to embezzle at such a time? Yao Su sighed. Deng Jing is Li Chuanming's man. Financial control is in their hands. Isn't that giving up control of Dekai? It's not worth it. Hearing him say that, I realized how much risk Li Xia took for me. He must have thought about the consequences but still did it. The next day, I went to the police station to find Qinmu. He tossed the file bag to me. All the evidence you need is here. Enough to prove Deng Jin, Deng Qiming, and the procurement Ma Najio colluded. Figure out how to use it to expose the fraud. I've done everything I can. What about what you promised me? Tonight I'll buy 2 turkeys and go to your place. No. Qinmu glared at me. That's not sincere enough. Qinmu rolled his eyes. I'm done playing with you. I'm still at work. Remember what you promised me. I'll call you another day. Don't come tonight. I'm on duty. He just left. Yao Su sent a shocked emoji on WeChat. Qin Fen, something big happened at Dekai. An emergency board meeting was called. They want to remove Li Xia as chairperson and General Ma Najio. He's probably in big trouble today. Seeing Yao Su's message, I panicked instantly. I grabbed my phone and replied, what's going on? How do you know? I've been keeping an eye on top-level movements. I'm well informed. Li Quanming just announced a board meeting at 2:30 p.m. Colleagues are saying privately that he wants to oust Li Xia and take over himself. I grabbed the file bag Qinmu gave me. I headed straight for Dekai. It was 78 kilometers away. I hailed an electric scooter. The driver sped along, completely unafraid of traffic. In my left hand, the evidence file. In my right, I dialed Li Xia's number. It rang a few times and was hung up. I refused to give up and called again. He answered and immediately said, Qin Fen, I'm in the middle of something urgent. I'll get back to you later. Before he finished, the call was hung up again. On the third try, it showed the phone was off. With no other choice, I called Yao Su. He answered instantly. What's up? I'm on my way to Dekai. I won't make it by 2. I'll be a few minutes late. I said, I need a favor. Sneak into the meeting room. Hide your phone in a corner. Keep the line open. I need to hear what's going on. What good will that do? Yao Su was confused. Don't ask. There's no time. You know the Dekai meeting room well. Hurry. Oku. I gripped my phone tightly. I kept urging the scooter driver. Yao Su's voice came through the phone. General Ma Najio Li, I have a document for you to review. The board meeting is about to start. We'll discuss it after the meeting. Then Yao Su went silent. Only the noise of chatter remained. Old Su, what do you think? Li Quanming calling a board meeting now? He probably has the votes to replace the chairperson. This sibling feud is bad for the shareholders. Let the capable lead. Whoever can lead Dekai well, I'll support. Li Xia is capable. Occupancy rates in the off-season are higher than last year. I'll still vote for him. Don't forget he embezzled company funds, even though he paid it back later. He never gave a reasonable explanation for the use. If he dared to do this in just half a year, what's next? Hasn't the board already restricted his authority? Stop arguing. The future chairperson is here. Then Li Chuanming's voice rang out. Everyone's here early. So for the last minute meeting. So General Ma Najio Li isn't here yet. He wouldn't skip it, would he? How could he? Lu Xiaoru's voice came through. Do you really hope General Ma Najio Li doesn't show up? How willful. Li Quanming chuckled. How could that be? Today's discussion is important. We can't do it without General Ma Najio Li. Almost everyone's here. Let's begin. Li Xia's voice was calm and steady. Several shareholders jointly called for an emergency board meeting. The SE ratio exceeds 40%. As per procedure, I respect the request. I declare the board meeting officially open. I wonder what we're discussing today. Li Quanming, since General Ma Najio Li is direct, I won't beat around the bush. The current chairperson and General Ma Najio embezzled funds. After repayment, he still hasn't given the board a reasonable explanation. This constitutes dereliction of duty. We called this board meeting for one purpose only. We request a re-election for chairperson and General Ma Najio. Chaos erupted on the other end of the line. I shouted at the scooter driver in panic. Driver, faster. I'll pay extra. Don't rush. The driver said helplessly. This is an electric scooter. It can't go as fast as a motorcycle. We're almost there. The line was chaotic for over 10 seconds. Li Xia's calm voice came through. I want to ask everyone here. How many of you agree with Li Chuanming's proposal to re-elect the chairperson and General Ma Najio? If it's over half, I'll accept it. No rush. An elderly voice rang out. The room instantly fell silent. Since Li Xia took over Dekai, the company's performance has been clear to all. This year's quarter-over-quarter growth has been significant. Impeaching him just for embezzlement? That's debatable. But this election today seems like a premeditated opportunity. As a shareholder, I support capable people. I hope the next person is even more competent than Li Xia. Let's first see the nominated candidates, then decide whether to re-elect. Oldie is right. I support Oldie's thoughtful approach. Li Quanming smiled. Several shareholders have already nominated me. If you have someone in mind, you can also nominate them. We'll vote fairly and openly. Forget it. I don't agree with the re-election. Oldie said, your disagreement doesn't matter. Then someone chimed in. I support Li Quanming. I also support General Ma Najio Li. Everyone started talking at once, and chaos ensued again. I could only make out the gist and had to guess the rest. Everyone, quiet down. Li Chuanming's voice rang out. Let's do a simple tally. Shareholders in favor of the change, please vote. I knew he was well prepared, and I grew more anxious. I kept urging the driver. We're almost there. Just cross this street. The driver was exasperated by my nagging. He ran a red light before it turned green. It scared me to death. The voting results are in. Over half support the change. Li Chuanming's voice came through. According to procedure, the board will first nominate candidates. I nominate my sister. Li Jiahao shouted. Re-election doesn't mean my sister has no chance. I have 13% of the shares, and my sister also has 13%. That's 26% combined. Anyone else support my sister? I support her. An unfamiliar voice rang out. Duan Jinan owns 10% of Dekai's shares. Add mine, and that's enough. I suddenly understood. This was Duan Wentao's father. He always wanted his son to be with Li Xia, but Duan Wentao liked another shareholder's daughter. Any other nominations? Li Tuaming's tone was tinged with disappointment. If not, let's prepare for the vote. General Ma Najio Li, can we start now? Let's begin. Li Xia's tone was completely flat, as if he had given up. Another voice rang out. Since the process has reached this point, I have nothing more to say. I hope everyone votes carefully. Choose a leader who can guide Dekai to better development. The electric scooter finally stopped in front of Dekai. I threw the driver 50 yuan and rushed in without looking back. The security guard stopped me. Who are you? Do you have an appointment? He swiped for the elevator. I pointed at his badge and said, tell he Dazhuang. That Director Chen is here. I'll catch up with him later. I'm a Dekai shareholder. I'm late for the board meeting. The guard swiped the elevator with some doubt. I added, tell he Dazhuang I'll get you a promotion. He grinned and saluted. No objections? Let's start voting. Li Chueming's voice came through. Wait, I instinctively shouted into the phone, but no one could hear me. The phone signal cut out in the elevator. I had no idea what was happening in the meeting room. The voting was really about to start. I was so anxious I wished the elevator could fly. As soon as the elevator doors opened, I practically sprinted out. I headed straight for the meeting room. I had worked here for a few days. I knew the layout well. I reached the door in 40 seconds. I could hear the commotion inside. I took a deep breath, straightened my disheveled appearance. The file bag in my hand was the key to turning things around. I pushed open the meeting room door. The room instantly fell silent. Everyone was stunned. They all turned to look at me. Li Xia's eyes were full of surprise, but he remained calm. Li Quanming stood up and asked, who are you? Who let you in? I ignored him and walked straight to Li Xia. I bent down and whispered loudly, General Ma Najio Li, I've organized all the financial investigation materials. I can present them to everyone now. Would you lie to announce the findings? Or should I? You do it, he said calmly. I stood behind him, picked up the microphone and looked around. Dang Jin was also here at Dekai. Many executives were minor shareholders. I handed the file bag to Lu Xiaoru. Please put these materials under the projector. Project them on the big screen. Let everyone see our investigation results. Xiaoru immediately complied. Dear shareholders, what follows are the investigation results. I held the microphone. Everyone knows Dekai's procurement channels have had major issues. Overpriced, low-quality hotel supplies have repeatedly drawn complaints. General Ma Najio Li asked me to investigate secretly. I finally gathered all the evidence. Please look at the big screen. The screen showed the first supplier's company information. I explained. The legal representative of this company is Deng Qiming. He had one cooperation with Dekai years ago. The procurement contract is as follows. Xiaoru displayed the contract. I continued. After the cooperation, this company quickly disappeared. Dekai had no recourse and took a loss. Then Dekai looked for new partners. Xiaoru put up the second company's information. The legal representative of the second company is still Deng Qiming. The same pattern repeated. After the purchase, the company vanished. I pointed at the screen. The third and fourth companies are the same. All the low-quality supplies Dekai bought over the years came from him. Every time a problem was found, Dekai had to buy expensive replacement supplies. And Deng Qiming had already registered the next company. By now, you're all curious who he is and why the procurement department kept working with him. What nonsense are you talking about? A slightly overweight middle-aged man stood up and pointed at me. I'm the head of the procurement department. Where did you get this fake information? If you don't give me an explanation, I'll make your life hell. Don't rush, I said. We'll see if the information is real. In a moment. First, let's talk about Deng Qiming's identity. Get out. Li Quanming suddenly lost control and shouted, you're talking nonsense here. Let him finish. An elderly man with a dignified expression said firmly, as shareholders, we have the right to know the truth. Young man, go on, I nodded. Deng Qiming is the husband of Deng Jin, the finance director. Procurement requires the director's signature for approval. The procurement department repeatedly completed purchases and received payments. You can figure out the shady dealings yourselves. I recently started with the low-quality product suppliers and uncovered this secret. I won't say anything else without solid evidence. Today's board meeting is to elect new leadership. I hope you all vote carefully. After speaking, I placed the microphone in front of Li Xia. I stepped back respectfully. The meeting room fell into a dead silence for a minute. The elderly man suddenly slammed the table. Procurement and finance departments, give me a reasonable explanation. I propose we adjourn today's board meeting. The matter of changing leadership should be put on hold. Uncle Wu is wise. Li Jiahao was the first to raise his hand. I support adjourning. My sister continues as chairperson. Let's find the mole first, then talk about elections. I agree. I agree too. Everyone raised their hands one after another. The board meeting couldn't continue, but Li Xia didn't immediately adjourn. He looked at Li Quanming. Ming Ji, as chairperson and General Ma Najio, I order you to investigate this. Give all shareholders a reasonable explanation within 3 days. Can you do it? I was stunned on the spot. Li Xia clearly knew Li Quanming and Dang Jin were in cahoots. Why would he let him investigate? Was he crazy, or did he want to make peace with Li Quanming? Li Quanming was also staring at him in confusion. I glanced at Dang Jin. His face was ashen. Clearly, he was terrified. Deng Qiming's operations were very covert. He dissolved the company after each cooperation. But Qin Mu still uncovered all the companies. He registered himself and the projector showed detailed information linking the legal representatives to him. I really couldn't understand why Li Xia wanted Li Quanming to investigate. Wasn't that giving him a chance to cover up? Fine, I'll investigate thoroughly. I'll report to the board as soon as possible. Li Quanming said after a few seconds of silence. Li Xia nodded and said to everyone, since you've proposed an adjournment, today's meeting is over. Dismissed. He stood up and left. Xiaoru packed up the materials and followed. She also signaled me to come along. In Li Xia's office, Xiaoru excitedly slammed the materials on the desk and hugged her. Xia, that was amazing. You turned things around today. You had Qinfen investigate this ages ago. Why didn't you tell me? You had me worried all day. You little rat, let go. You're choking me. Li Xia patted her back. Who told you not to tell me you had a plan? Xiaoru let go and laughed. No, I didn't. Qinfen's appearance was a complete surprise. Li Xia shook her head. Xiaoru looked at me, then at him. You're not lying to me? Really? Xiaoru stopped being excited and stared at me suspiciously. I spread my hands. Don't look at me like that. It makes me nervous. I just don't like the look of you. But you did well this time. I won't give you a hard time anymore. Xiaoru glared at me. Xiaoru, go handle your work. I need to talk to Qinfen alone for a bit. Li Xia said. Only the two of us were left in the office. Li Xia said softly. I really didn't expect you to show up at the most critical moment. I was ready to step down. Li Quanming has been plotting for so long. Today was supposed to be a sure thing. Your appearance disrupted his plans. Why give up so easily? I smiled. I gave you the evidence about Dang Jin and Dang Qiming defrauding the company before. Why didn't you use it? Everyone knows that Dang Jin is on Li Chuanming's side. Li Xia looked troubled. The internal struggle at Dekai is more complicated than you think. Li Quanming is just a pawn. The group behind him is very powerful. Dealing with just Dang Jin won't change anything. I've only been in charge of Dekai for a short time. My foundation is weak. I didn't want to burn bridges, but today, I was pushed to the edge, continuing to compromise. I guessed. Compromise? He looked confused. What do you mean? You asked Li Quanming to investigate Dang Jin and the procurement head. Isn't that letting him cover things up? He'll manipulate the investigation and let Dang Jin off. Everyone saves face, and things go back to normal. That's not your gone, is it? Li Xia smiled faintly and didn't answer. Instead, he asked, Chen Fen, what kind of person do you think I am? What kind? I was taken aback. Why are you asking all of a sudden? How should I say it? Just say what comes to mind. I hesitated for a long time and finally blurted out. You never stop until you achieve your gone. Why do you say that? Am I the kind of person who stops at nothing? He was stunned. Det, I said with difficulty. For example, when you reported Qin Xiaojie, you just wanted to stop him from leading Li Jiahao astray. There was no need to go to such extremes, but you did it to achieve your gone. Li Xia took a deep breath. Oh, cool. And to get a kidney transplant for my dad. You didn't hesitate to let Li Quanming have leverage over you. You embezzled company funds. You didn't care about your own situation. You just wanted to get it done. That's also not stopping until you achieve your gone. Thank you, really. My dad has been living too hard these years. Without you, I don't know how much longer he would have suffered. It's nothing. You've helped me a lot too. We're even after that. We chatted for a while, and I left. 2 nights later, I was wandering the streets with nothing to do. I opened my moments. I saw a pot from Li Xia from a minute ago. It was a picture of a curb and a shadow stretched by a streetlight. Without thinking much, I called her. Still awake, she answered immediately. I asked where she was. I'll come pick you up and take you home. She hesitated. I'm at the entrance of my neighborhood. Why do you suddenly want to give me a ride? I saw your pot. I thought you were limey. With a restless soul wandering the streets, Li Xia said, then come pick me up. I'll take you somewhere to settle your soul. He hung up directly. He sent me a location. I borrowed old Zhou's car. I arrived in 10 minutes. Li Xia was standing under a streetlight, holding a cup of milk tea. He didn't notice me until I walked up to him, and he was surprised. That was fast. Waiting for my soul to be settled. How could I be slow? I joked. Get in. I'll treat you to a luxury ride. He obediently walked to the passenger seat without any disdain, which actually made me a bit uncomfortable. After getting in, he still held on to the milk tea. Is this milk tea that good? Can't bear to let it go? I asked. Here, try it. He handed the milk tea to me. Taro flavor. Don't mind it if you want to try. I took the milk tea. I took a sip from the straw he had used. A light fragrance. It was actually quite good. See, I wasn't lying. His eyes were full of anticipation. It's good, right? I put the milk tea in the cup holder, but it's not worth wandering the streets at night with milk tea and posting on moments. Li Xia sighed softly, mimicking my tone. A restless soul. Come on, let's find a place to settle it. I started the engine. He set the navigation on his phone. Half an hour later, we arrived at the Hegang Dam, a several hundred-meter-long dam around Denshi Lake. I had delivered takeout here before, but this was my first time here late at night. Li Xia was the first to climb the dam steps. He was jumping around up there. You're so slow. Are you 70 or 80? I slowly walked up, found a bench and sat down. The surface of Denshi Lake was dotted with fishing lights. A bright moon hung in the distance, its reflection in the water. The world suddenly fell silent. After jumping enough, Li Xia sat down next to me. Qin Fen, do you lie it here? Can we settle our souls here? I turned to look at him. His long hair was blowing in the wind. The scent of his hair drifted over. He noticed my gaze and asked, why are you looking at me? You seem very familiar with this place. He took a deep breath, leaned back on the bench and stared into the distance. When I was a child, I never saw my dad. I lived with my mom and little brother. For a first-grade essay, the topic was my dad. I didn't write a single word. I said I didn't have a dad. My classmates all looked at me strangely. My dad secretly gave my mom a lot of money. We lived well, but my mom didn't work. Later, some kids gossiped behind my back, saying my mom was a prostitute, earning money to support our education. Tears streamed down his cheeks. I clumsily pulled out a crumpled tissue and handed it to him, not knowing how to comfort him. I put my arm around Li Xia. He didn't resist. He quietly leaned on my shoulder. Qin Fen, neither of us is het pai, are we? He sobbed. I often dream of my mom. She always tells me to take care of Jiahao. For her, I would do anything, including reporting Qin Xiaojie. Qin Fen, I'm so He cried harder. His body kept shaking. Tears soaked my shoulder. So I wasn't the only one in pain. I couldn't help but kiss his forehead. I held him tighter, afraid he would notice my nervousness. But he had already noticed. Strangely, he didn't call me out on it. In the dead of night, we just held each other lie that. He didn't struggle for a long time. He whispered, Qin Fen, I'm cold. Let's go back. Don't catch a cold. I let go. Do you have clothes in your car? I want to sit a bit longer. No, I took off my jacket and draped it over her. Let's walk along the embankment. Sitting still makes it colder. He wore my jacket, standing close to me. I wanted to hold her hand but feared being too forward. I could only suppress the urge. When I'm stressed, I come here to walk, she said softly. Open spaces make you feel better. I'm used to coming here to zone out and secretly cry. Chen Fen. He interrupted me. He asked cautiously, can you not call me by my full name? Just call me Xia. Oku? Calling me that feels so distant. Or do you only see me as a casual friend? No, I was afraid you'd be upset. It's fine. She forced a faint smile. Everyone should have a few close friends. I've already cried in front of you. Do you still think I see you as just a friend? A best friend? I was at a loss. Her voice was very soft. Anyway, calling me that won't make me angry. Hearing that, I felt a little joy inside. It felt like she was different with me now. I casually asked, how's the company these past 2 days? Has Li Quanming been bothering you? Did his investigation into Dang Jing yield anything? I've been wondering, why did you let him investigate Dang Jing? Isn't that contradictory? Everyone in the company knows Dang Jing is his man. He sighed lightly. At that board meeting, I said that in front of everyone, to make them watch how he handles it. He'll definitely protect Dang Jing and suppress the matter. I didn't give him that chance. When talking business, he became decisive instantly. I sued Dang Jing in the board's name for personal gain. This is no longer just an internal company issue. He's facing jail time. Once it blows up, Li Quanming won't be able to escape either. He can't protect him at all. He's in a dilemma now. Protecting Dang Jing would expose himself. Letting him take all the blame would alienate others. This is a battle of wits. It depends on how he responds. I was shocked. I didn't expect him to be so meticulous. In just a few minutes at that board meeting, he set up such a big scheme. Old Mr. Li was wise to hand Dekai over to him. She has both a vulnerable, crying side and a wise, steady demeanor. Anyone who underestimates him will suffer. Thinking about this, I felt inexplicably happy. By the way, he suddenly stopped and looked at me. Those investigation materials, where did you get them? Someone must have helped you behind the scenes. And you're close, right? The lawyer was stunned when he got the materials. Can you set up a meeting with her? I want to thank her in person. I also have an important matter to ask for her help. Let Li Xia and Qin Mu meet. Is that really necessary? I never imagined Li Xia and Qin Mu meeting. I always thought they'd have no connection. Seeing me silent, she asked cautiously, is it inconvenient? If so, just thank Qin Mu for me. No, I explained. I didn't expect you to want to see him. I'll arrange it another day and see her response. Qin Mu's investigation into Dang Jing's husband. The fewer people who know, the better. After all, it's not through official channels. He himself won't discuss it. I understand. Li Xia smiled. It's getting late. Let's go back. At 1 a.m., I took her home. At 1:30, I returned to the bar. Landlord Old Joe was still awake, sitting by the booth reading under a lamp. A pot of coffee was on the table. I put the car keys on the table, thanked him, and left. The next afternoon, Li Xia called. It's Friday. Let's go to the hospital to see your parents together. Jiahao said they're insisting on being discharged again. He can't control them. You, as their son, need to persuade them. I sighed helplessly. Alright, I'll head over soon, he reminded. It's we going together. Come find me at Dekai Hotel after work. I'll wait for you at 6:15. I rushed to Dekai Hotel. Li Xia was alone in her office. The desk was piled with endless documents. Need an assistant? I know quite a few Chinese characters. Reading documents is no problem. I pretended to ask. Sure, she said casually. Come be my secretary tomorrow. Then you'll have to compensate me for my electric scooter first. My car was stolen here. You didn't even help me look for it. Li Xia put down her documents, looked up at me. Let's go. I'll take you to buy one now. But you have to keep your word too. Pick me up every morning for work? I give up. I scratched my head to change the subject. Let's go to the hospital first. We'll deal with the old folks matter later. She didn't press further, picked up her bag and walked beside me. At the hospital, in the private room, Li Jiahao was playing chess with my dad. My mom was wiping the room spotless with a cloth. Li Xia bought some expensive fruit at the door and brought it in. Brother-in-law, you brought my sister to see our parents? Are you planning to complain about your relationship? As soon as we entered, Li Jiahao shouted. That brother-in-law stunned both me and Li Xia. Her face flushed red. She gave me a deep look. My parents also stared at us blankly. Don't talk nonsense. I put the fruit on the coffee table. What's there to be afraid of? Li Jiahao said confidently. Are you worried mom and dad won't approve? Why hide it? My mom took it seriously. She asked earnestly, son, are you and Xia dating or not? I quickly explained, don't listen to Jiahao's nonsense. My mom said regretfully, true, Xia is so accomplished. How could she possibly fancy you? Auntie, please don't say that. Li Xia said with a smile. Chen Fan is sensible, filial, and has great qualities. I sat on the sofa beside dad. I heard you're insisting on being discharged. You've only been here 3 or 4 days. Didn't we agree on a week? Dad widened his eyes. This bed costs over 600 a day. I can't afford it. Since you're here today, I'll trek out first thing tomorrow. I want to go home. Seeing him ignore others' concern, only thinking about saving money, I felt a bit embarrassed and my tone hardened. Did I agree to your discharge? Do I need your agreement? Dad's voice was louder than mine. The air instantly filled with tension. A family war was about to break out. My dad is more stubborn than me. I had to raise my voice. You just had surgery. Jiahao and Xia spent hundreds of thousands just to keep you healthy. We've already spent the big money. What's a little more for observation? Can you just listen for once? I know my own body. I don't need your nonsense. Stop arguing. My mom quickly intervened. You two always end up fighting. Talk nicely or go outside. My dad said coldly to my mom. Everyone, step out for a bit. I need to talk to this little brat alone. Dad, Li Jiahao tried to persuade. Brother-in-law means well. Don't be angry. The bed fee really isn't a burden, kid. My dad's tone softened toward Li Jiahao. You and Xia go out and buy some dinner. I need a word with Chen Fen. Li Xia gave me a sympathetic look and followed my mom out of the room. Li Jiahao was last and made a face at me. Only us father and son were left in the room. Silent for a long time. Dad's not being unreasonable. I'm worried Xia might see us as a burden. If she's going to date you, she'll definitely consider your family. Who wants to marry into a family and have to take care of in-laws? If I get discharged early, it shows I'm still healthy. So I don't cause you trouble. I'm not dating Li Xia. It's all Jiahao's nonsense. What did she tell you? What Jiahao says doesn't matter. Your mom and I can see it. Xia is a good girl. What's not good enough for you? Jiahao treats you like brother, and she genuinely cares for you. Why not make it official? Dad, I pleaded helplessly. Think of something realistic. It's impossible between us. Why wouldn't she see my son as worthy? In my eyes, you're great. And I can tell Xia has feelings for you too. Stop, I said. Let's not discuss this. Then I'm checking out. He threatened like a stubborn child. If you don't get with Xia, I'm leaving. Dad looked at me smugly. You decide. Your mom and I have discussed it. We lie Xia. Stay in the hospital first. I conceded. Just lie down. We'll talk about the rest later. When Li Jiahao returned, he brought 6 meal boxes for meat dishes, 2 veggie, plus a pork rib and lotus root soup. It was clearly bought by her. My mom wouldn't be so generous. How much did this cost? Dad grumbled again. Don't worry, Dad. It's just small change. Li Jiahao laughed. When you're discharged, I'll bring my sister to our house. Let mom make dumplings. I didn't get enough last time. All right. My mom beamed. Dumplings when you're discharged. The atmosphere felt a bit strange to me. After dinner, Li Xia and I left the hospital. I took the initiative to explain. My parents were talking nonsense today. Don't take it to heart. What? She asked knowingly. What did they say? They see you as their future daughter-in-law. Don't mind it. I know you'd never be with me. Suddenly, she asked without warning. Then why did you sneak a kiss from me? I was speechless. My face turned red down to my neck. So she knew. I quickly pulled out a cigarette and put it in my mouth, pretending I couldn't find a lighter. I'll go buy a lighter. Without waiting for her response, I turned and ran. The next day, Yao Su invited me for a drink. From her, I learned that Dang Jing and her husband Dang Qiming were arrested. When did this happen? I was extremely surprised. The day after the board meeting, Dang Jing was taken away from the company in uniform. Rumor has it Dang Qiming was also arrested for fraud and tax evasion. Expect more explosive news on Monday. Dang Jing and Dang Qiming were arrested. What about Nyo? I quickly called Qin Mu, but she said she already knew. She also told me Nyo's grandmother arrived in Kunming the day before yesterday. He arranged for them to stay at the police station guest house. After hanging up, I said to Gao Su, let's stop eating here. I need to go to the police station. Need any help with something urgent? Gao Su was very loyal. Not for now. I hurriedly left the hot pot restaurant, took a TAC 11 straight to the police station. I hadn't seen Nyo in a while. I wondered if she still remembered me. I also thought of Linny Fei. His last wish might remain unfulfilled. At the police station, Chinmu, in uniform, was helping an elderly man fill out a form at the front desk. Seeing me come in, she said to a colleague, "Cover for me for a bit. I need to use the restroom." Then she gave me a wink, signaling me to head toward the guest house. I went around to the back door. Chinmu was already waiting for me there. "I came to see you." He stood in uniform, arms crossed, with a mix of challenge and complaint. "You finally came to see me for someone else. We've known each other so long, and you've never come for me on your own." Before I could make an excuse, he interrupted. "Am I right? Dare to deny it? Dare to say you've ever come just for me? Alright, I can't argue. I'll do better next time. Actually, I thought about asking you to a Mu6, but I worried you'd have too many dates. If I asked and got rejected, that'd be embarrassing." Pfft. Chinmu always finds an excuse. "Try it next time. Let's go. I'll take you to see Grandma and Nyo. You've worked hard," she said proudly. "Hey, I'm a people's police officer. Nyo's mom, Suelon, still hasn't been found. She's been listed as a missing person. Is Nyo Oku? Does she still remember you?" "Of course," Chinmu said smugly. "When I held her, she even kissed my cheek." On the third floor of the guest house, Nyo was writing at the table. Grandma was crocheting slippers. Seeing me come in, Grandma happily stood up and grabbed my hand. "Chin Fen, how are you? You've lost weight lately." "Working too hard?" "Not hard at all." "I'm fine," Grandma called out. "Nyo, come see who's here." Nyo had already seen me. She stood obediently to the side, then came forward to greet me. I picked her up. "Were you Het Pai at your dad's place? Did you start kindergarten?" Nyo nodded first, then shook her head. "Why both nod and shake?" "Het Pai at school. Unhappy at home?" "I want to be with Grandma." Grandma's heart ached hearing this, and she couldn't help sighing. After Deng Qiming took Nyo away, "Did he ever contact you?" I asked. "No. Grandma understands young people are busy with their careers. They don't have time for me. As long as he takes good care of Nyo." I couldn't bear to tell her that Deng Qiming wasn't in legitimate business, nor that his arrest was connected to us. After chatting with the elderly woman for a while, we made an excuse to leave. Standing at the building entrance, Chinmu asked guiltily, "If Grandma finds out Deng Qiming's arrest is linked to us, will she hate us?" "I don't know." I looked back. You can tell she's understanding toward him, probably for Nyo's sake. "What now?" Chinmu said. "Li Xia doesn't plan to let them off. It'll go through legal proceedings. Those two won't be out for at least 3 to 5 years. I'm worried Nyo just found her dad and might lose him again. Can such a young child handle that?" "You can get close to Deng Qiming and investigate Suelon's whereabouts," I said. "Though I fear the worst. I hope we're wrong." "I hope Suelon is still alive." Chinmu sighed. "That's all we can do. If we find Suelon, the child will be with her mom, which is better than with her dad. Plus, she can avoid a stepmother." She shivered. "Stepmothers are terrifying." I did nothing all day. That evening, when I got back, I hung out at landlord Old Joe's bar for a bit. Then I squatted on the road, smoking. When the street lights came on, a pair of red high heels suddenly appeared next to my pile of cigarette butts. I instinctively looked up. Li Xia stood there quietly. "You're here." I didn't get up, just greeted her. "Not welcome?" "Of course you're welcome." I stood up. "Landlord Old Joe, this quiet bar relies on your patronage. What'll you have today?" "Coffee, and you have to brew it yourself." Li Xia found a booth and sat down. "Do I look like someone who knows how to brew coffee?" Landlord Old Joe laughed from behind the bar. "Come on, I'll teach you." A few minutes later, I brought the coffee to Li Xia. I sat across from her. "Bot, please enjoy. Anything else?" "I need someone to chat with." "What do you want to talk about? Is that how you treat a guest?" She complained. "Shouldn't you be the one starting the conversation?" "I'm in a bad mood today. I haven't eaten all day. I'm too hungry to talk." "What do you want to eat?" "My treat." "Forget it. I'm not in the mood." "You came this late. Surely not just for a cup of coffee." Li Xia sighed. "Duan Jinan came to see me today." "Duan Jinan?" I suddenly remembered he's a major shareholder of Dekai. His son, Duan Wentao, was beaten by me and Li Jiahao. "What did he want? Still trying to set you up with his son?" "The company is having a new round of shareholder votes to elect a new chairman and General Ma Najio. Li Quanming didn't succeed last time, but I was still removed from my position. Now we need a proper re-election. Duan Jinan said he supports me and is on my side." "And then? I suspect he approached you for more than that." Duan Jinan noticed I haven't been driving to work lately. He connected it to the embezzlement case and subtly asked if I sold my car to cover the shortfall. Li Xia said. "What did you say?" "I think Duan Jinan is quite shrewd." He took a sip of coffee and said calmly, "I told the truth. Lying wouldn't help." He offered to buy me a new car. "That generous?" "He's close with my dad. I call him Uncle Duan, but I politely declined. Taking the subway is convenient now, and the company has cars for business trips." I took a deep breath. "Tomorrow, I'll buy a lottery ticket. If I win 5 million, I'll pay you back that 100,000. Can you have some ambition?" she said disdainfully. "What man pins his hopes on a lottery ticket? Don't you find that pathetic?" I was just joking. "I don't want to hear it." "Fine. Let's talk about something you like. You look beautiful today." "Het Pai now?" Li Xia gave me a resentful glare. "Take me for a walk in the old town." "Isn't the old town lively at night?" "I've hardly ever been there." "Let's go. I'll be your fry tour guide." The Guandu Old Town was indeed lively at night. Both sides of the cobblestone street were lined with food stalls. Aunties were dancing in the square. Children were laughing and playing. Li Xia was very interested in the cheap trinkets on the street. She stopped every few steps to look. She asked for ages but didn't buy anything. I could only follow her back and forth. 2 children ran straight into us. Li Xia cried out in pain. The little boy in front said sorry and ran off. "Are you okay?" "Did it hurt?" I asked with concern. I twisted my ankle. "It hurts. Help me up." Her eyes were teary. I put my arm around her waist to steady her. "Move it around. See if it's serious." "It should be fine. Just a twist." I helped her sit on a bench. Seeing an old man selling cotton candy from a bicycle, I said, "Wait here for me." "Where are you going?" "Are you going to leave me?" "Wait." I bought a huge cotton candy for 5 yuan and came back. Li Xia covered her mouth in excitement. A crowd had already gathered around. They mistakenly thought I was confessing my loss. Some were even recording with their phones. "Take it, please," I whispered. "So many people are watching me holding this thing." Li Xia took the cotton candy and held it in front of her face. She reached out her hand. "Quick, help me up." I'm so embarrassed. This was the first time I touched her hand. Her fingers were slender, and holding them felt nigh. Under everyone's gaze, she pressed close to me as we walked forward. "Will someone pot that 60 on lie? Confessing with cotton candy? Much cheaper than roses," I teased. "That's not a confession at all," she said disdainfully. "The onlookers will exaggerate it. They might say a bad uncle used cotton candy to lure a little girl." "What kind of little girl are you?" She shot me a fierce glare. I didn't dare say more. Back at the bar, I took Li Xia upstairs. On the left was my bedroom. On the right was landlord Old Joe's. "Why is your place so small?" she asked in surprise. "It's fine. The bed is 1.5 meters. Comfortable enough to sleep on. I don't have many clothes. 1 suitcase is enough. Why would I need more space?" I leaned back and fell onto the bed. "See? The mattress is incredibly comfortable.
Want to try it?
Unexpectedly, Li Xia actually lay down by me. Her head happened to rest on my arm. At that moment, it felt amazing. She turned her head slightly and asked softly, "Am I hurting your arm?" No. I bent my arm and pulled her closer. Staring at the ceiling, I asked, "So, is my bed comfortable?" "Definitely harder than your luxury suite at Dikai, right?" Li Xia lay in my arms and said disdainfully, "Hard. And you still call it comfortable? Sleeping on a firm bed is good for your back. According to Chinese medicine, it prevents spine problems." I gently placed my hand on her waist and held her. "Doesn't a hug feel warmer?" "Why are you hugging me?" she asked verbally, but her body didn't move away, nor did she push my hand away. I shamelessly said, "When a beautiful woman with a great figure throws herself into your arms, it'd be a shame not to hug her." Ouch! Before I could finish, Li Xia's hand slapped right onto my belly. I yelled in pain as she got out of bed. She shot me a resentful look. "Pervert," she said and walked out. I scrambled up and chased after her. I saw her leaning on the wooden railing on the second floor, staring blankly at the abandoned pond below. "What are you thinking?" I walked up to her, thinking she was still mad, already planning how to make it up. "Chin Fen, look how beautiful this pond is," she said softly, surrounded by bluestone paths. "If we plant some irises and rushes, set up some tables and chairs, having tea and enjoying the breeze here in the afternoon would be wonderful." "Great idea. Just thinking about it feels nice." I went along with her. "Why don't you talk to the landlord, old Joe? Open a back door to the bar, add an awning over the first floor roof, put out a few chairs. I'd definitely fall in love with this place." "All right, I'll set it up for you, waiting for you to enjoy it." I instinctively replied, "It's settled then. Isn't the Sky Garden on the 8th floor of Dikai the same? Why don't you hang out there?" "Too many people, all Hoteo guests. It's not appropriate for me to go during work hours." "True. I'm heading back." Li Xia looked at me. "I'll come find you when I'm free. Come with me to the old town, buy some cotton candy, and I'll take you." "No need." She only left 2 words, "Silly." Her footsteps echoed in the stairwell. I leaned on the railing, staring at the pond, thinking that planting aquatic plants might really look nice. The next morning, I was ready to head out early. The landlord, old Joe, was cleaning the first floor. "Got a new job this early?" "No, going to the Donghua flower market to buy some aquatic plant seeds." "Why the sudden interest in that?" "Yesterday, Li Xia and I realized we could use the pond downstairs. Open a back door, put up an umbrella, set up tables and chairs, plant some greenery. Nigh for afternoon tea." Old Joe chuckled. "I feel like you're a young man in lop for the first time. Got a hint from the girl you lie and you're going all out." "Don't talk nonsense. How could she ever be interested in me? The important thing is that you're interested in her. If you are, be proactive. Don't regret it." I scratched my head shyly. "I have no experience. Go buy the seeds and come back. I'll help you renovate." Old Joe's words got my blood pumping, but then I thought of my poor, loser image and felt insecure. Isn't this a toad lusting after a swan? But I went anyway, just to give myself something to do. The next day, just as I got up and went downstairs, I saw old Joe had already set up the umbrella by the small pond at the back door. The hammock chair, and swing were all neatly arranged. The sunlight slanted down, creating a serene atmosphere. I picked up the watering can and watered the plants in the bar. Old Joe lived like a celestial being, watering flowers, reading, painting, drinking. At noon, old Joe cooked noodles with a poached egg. We sat facing each other, feet on the bench, eating heartily. Soup splattered everywhere. Li Xia suddenly arrived. "You two are eating well, huh?" She looked at us. Couldn't help asking, "Want some?" Old Joe casually said, "There's more in the kitchen." "I just ate." Li Xia made an excuse. "Let me go check out the back. Take a look at our little pond." I told her, "Old Joe has set it all up. There's even a bird's nest." "What bird's nest?" She was curious. "You'll see when you go." I smiled and said, "The bird's nest is a hammock. Very comfortable." Li Xia walked to the back door in her high heels, stared blankly at the small pond. "So, old Joe has good taste, right?" I stood beside her and asked. "It's great, just missing some landscape plants." "Don't worry, I scattered seeds yesterday. They'll sprout in a month or so." She rolled her eyes. "What were you thinking?" "When will they grow?" "Buying ready-made ones is much more reliable. In a few months, winter will be here. Even if Kunming is warm, who will sit here? Most people in Kunming don't have air conditioning. It's colder inside than outside in winter. I love sitting outside in the sun." I argued back, but I secretly noted her words. Then Li Xia suggested, "Why don't we open a hoteo in your hometown county? Let your uncle and aunt manage it. It's better than your aunt selling sweet potatoes on the street." "Open a hoteo?" I shook my head vigorously. "Forget it. Too much investment, and the county has a small floating population. No guests, even sheep won't work." "I know you mean well, but we can't invest blindly." She had to go back to work at Dikai. Before leaving, she said, "I'll pick you up early tomorrow. We'll go to the hospital together." After she left, I suddenly remembered it was the day my dad was being discharged. I had actually forgotten. I sat by the window in the bar and lit a cigarette, full of confusion. My job was gone. My life had fallen into a dead loop. Old Joe saw my worry, silently handed me a cigarette and sat with me in silence. Just then, Qin Mu called, bringing shocking news. Nonyo's biological mother has been found, but she's already gone. She was killed by Deng Qiming. What's more heartbreaking, soon after, Deng Qiming committed suicide in the detention center, and Deng Jin's lawyer immediately filed a lawsuit, shifting all the blame onto Deng Qiming. Dead men tell no tales. Something feels off. He was forced into it. I told Qin Mu. "You're most worried about Li Quanming. That group might harm Li Xia." Qin Mu saw through my thoughts and deliberately teased me, but I wasn't in the mood for jokes. I just wanted to confirm Li Xia's safety as soon as possible. I called Li Xia, asked her to come to the bar, and arranged for her to meet Qin Mu. The two women chatted very congenially, watching Li Xia's relaxed smile. The panic in my heart subsided a bit. That evening, Li Xia dragged me out for a walk. We talked about Deng Qiming's case. She also agreed with my guess. It was most likely Li Chuanming's doing. Deng Jin controls Dikai's finances. Too many shady deals. Li Quanming couldn't afford to ignore it. "Let me come back to Dikai's security department." I gathered my courage and said, "I'm worried about you. Li Quanming is so ruthless. I want to be by your side." Li Xia stopped walking, gave me a deep, affectionate look, then suddenly stood on tiptoe, kissed me on the cheek and said, blushing, "Silly." At that moment, my heartbeat went haywire. All the confusion and unease seemed to find a home. Early the next morning, Li Xia arrived on time to pick me up. She also brought breakfast. We went to the hospital together. Qin Xiaojie and Yin Yihua were also there. The whole family was bustling around. Li Xia didn't act like 11io at all. She actively helped pack things. My parents looked at her with pure joy. On the way back to the county to send my parents home, Li Xia accompanied us all the way to our hometown. Then she helped my mom clean and make dumplings. Busy as a bee. At night, there was no place to stay. Li Jiahao deliberately caused trouble and took the room. Li Xia looked a bit scared and whispered to me, "Will you stay here tonight too, Oku?" "I'm a little scared alone." I nodded and accompanied her to stay at the best hoteo in the county. That night, we shared a bed, but always kept our boundaries. She leaned against me, talking about Dikai's difficulties and her own exhaustion. I gently held her. For the first time, I felt how warm it is to have someone by your side. After returning to Kunming, Li Xia gave me a pleasant surprise. She made me the deputy director of Dikai's planning department, responsible for the off-season promotion plan. At first, I was very nervous, afraid I couldn't do it, but she kept encouraging me, accompanied me to meetings and discussions, helped me find my footing. Work gradually got on track, and I slowly emerged from my previous slump. I continued helping Qin Mu with the fake boyfriend gig, and Li Xia was always by my side, accompanying me as I grew, helping me solve all my problems. I was no longer lost, and I no longer ran away. Finally, I gathered my courage. One evening, as the sun was setting, I held Li Xia's hand and said seriously, Xia, I used to not understand my own heart until I met you. I realized what I've always wanted is you. Li Xia smiled and nodded, her eyes sparkling. She held my hand tightly in return. Later, together, we resolved the internal factional struggles at Dikai. Li Chuanming's conspiracy was exposed, and he got the punishment he deserved. My parents lived a stable life in the county, no longer having to work so hard. Qin Mu also found her own happiness. Qin Fen and I didn't have a grand confession scene, but we had the quiet, steady companionship. Every day, we go to work at Dikai together. When we have fry time, we go back to Guandu Old Town to eat Old Joe's noodles, or sit by the small pond, watching the seeds I planted grow into greenery, chatting about trivial daily matters. I used to think life would only ever be dark, until Li Xia appeared, a beam of light, illuminating all my confusion. And now, I am constantly learning, constantly growing. In the future, I will be a big tree, shielding her from all the